I'm constantly like messing with my my mic and stuff, trying to make sure that I don't get too much feedback or anything from the background, which I still end up getting a ton of feedback in the background.
How do I like turn it down?
What, your headset?
Yeah.
Is your headset too loud?
Yeah.
I don't think there's a volume option.
Oh, great.
Am I being too loud?
No, we're good now.
Okay, you just gotta make sure your face is kind of close to the mic. Otherwise, we get a lot of the room.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm constantly sitting over here, tapping and adjusting all the little knobs over there, because I still haven't learned what the best rating is for this. Yeah.
Trial and error, bud.
Yeah, and I need to get the covers, so that way you don't get my breath in your ear every 10 seconds.
So I'm gonna put this side off. That side
So
on.
it's like it's only the only one I was getting breathed in.
Yeah. We'll be good.
Arm is still gimpy. Life on record. Dan Lynch.
Hi internet.
Hi, internet. Once again, you gotta get close to the mic.
Hi internet.
Thank you. I'm excited about this one for a very... Fuck. I don't know where my book is. I had stuff written down for today, but it's missing. I'm gonna commit now at this point. It's where I write down like everybody who's been a guest, what episode they're on, so when I go upstairs and I edit, it makes it easier for me to like kind of figure it out.
Yeah.
And then there's certain guests that I have to write stuff down ahead of time, so that way I'm like, don't forget to ask this question. Don't forget to ask this question.
Yeah.
So so much for having preemptively struck and wrote things down.
Screw it, man.
Yeah, that's
Fucking wing it.
that's what somebody said the one time. He's like, I don't like it when you wait. I don't want to wait anyway. So I actually met Dan when we were in college, and his last name is Lynch, and we lived in Lynch Hall.
Crazy.
Mind blown. And actually, I tell everybody this story is when we met each other, you did not like me.
What?
You did not like me at all. You were an asshole to me for like the first whole year.
Is that why I'm here right now?
Probably. This is your intervention.
Oh boy.
No, I remember I went down to the quad and you were sitting down there with Rich and you guys were watching football, or it might have been, yeah, it was football because it was still earlier in the year. And every time I was in your room, it was like I was Ava.
No, you weren't that bad.
No one can be that bad.
No.
Did you just play it on my fucking carpet?
Oh my god.
That girl was a mess.
She was the worst.
This is so funny.
I wonder where she is right now.
I don't know, but she was Facebook friends with me for a while there, and every time, because our birthdays are the same, it would pop up, and she would be like,
Wait, you have the same birthday as her?
she'd be like, happy birthday, and I'd just be like, no response. And then I think one year as a birthday gift to her, I deleted her off my Facebook.
Best gift you can give her.
I do that to a lot of people. If it's your birthday and I really don't care.
Surprise, we're not friends anymore.
Yeah, I just unfriend you on Facebook. It's like I'm doing good work over here, guys.
And I'm the asshole. Okay.
I haven't gotten a week from the chap.
Yeah. Unreal.
It's so good. But yeah, you were nothing but a turn to me the first year. I think it took till the end of the first year before you actually started to talk to me without giving me some sort of condescending tone or shit talk or something. I know I was
still
a small
talk to you like that now.
Maybe my skin got thicker. I'm not sure.
Maybe.
Oh no, yeah, because I remember we went to the turning point was when we went to a hockey game. It was like the entire floor, and you guys were banging on the glass, shaking it and shit, and y'all were yelling at you picked one guy. I don't even think he was an important player.
No.
And you guys were just yelling his name, like rooting for him, and then you would follow it up with "you suck," and we almost got kicked out that game because they were like, "We're all about sportsmanship here."
Oh.
And you guys were almost gonna tear that glass down.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't remember. It's pretty intoxicated.
I don't remember. Allegedly.
Allegedly, yeah. There's no drinking in college.
We didn't drink in college at all.
Never.
Allegedly.
Never.
We went to a university that doesn't get named. I try not to say like names and stuff like that. Like I get really vague on purpose.
What do you think they're gonna backdate it and like?
No, I just don't want somebody coming back.
They're gonna like expel us.
You could take that piece of paper back if I can get the refund.
Hey, you graduated 6 years ago, but we're gonna expel you now. Maybe they'll write us a parking ticket.
Oh, did you ever get one of those?
Multiple?
Oh, did you pay them?
Oh no, never.
I got one. I freaked out. I was like, no, they're gonna tow my car.
Freaked out.
I didn't know they didn't have the same authority like an actual police officer does.
No.
I was so scared.
I think what they actually did is like because you get like billed per semester.
Yeah.
And they would just toss it on
They
there.
just roll
And
it in
honestly,
there.
the number was so big, I didn't even notice. I was just like, oh, it's a little bit higher than last semester. Big deal. So I just went
It's like
with
when
it.
they give you a $500 grant, you're like, oh, thanks, bitch.
Basically, yeah.
That's exactly what it was.
This really did a lot. Thank you. But no, I was the type of person where if I couldn't find a parking spot, I just didn't go to class. Screw it. If it was raining out, I had to walk too far. Nah, going home.
I had campus safety on speed dial because I used to get like shit shipped to school all the time, and they wouldn't bring it to our dorm because I don't know why. They would bring it to like the other dorms.
It's too much work.
Ours had to go to like custodial services or something like that. So in the middle of winter for like 4 years, because I'm not going to drive all the way. I'm driving. So I would like go over after class and I would call safety and I'd have them pick me up and take me to the dorm. So I didn't have to walk back across campus.
Pick me up, please.
Yeah, because they're right next door. They're like, we're here
so
for
lazy.
you. We're campus safety. I was like, this is safe. It's 20 degrees out and there's ice everywhere. You guys got to come pick me up.
It's so remarkably lazy. But I appreciate it.
We did it after rugby practice the one day. We called them to come pick us up.
Oh, God, rugby.
Yeah, it was so funny. Like, there's 3 or 4 smelly ass dudes just jumping in the campus safety car because they're all just wrecked.
I remember when they asked me to play that. It was Kyle and all them. Jared, who eventually was one of my roommates, my roommate sophomore year on the rugby team.
Yeah.
And I remember going to the first practice because they were like, hey, come to a practice, check it out. It's going to be great. You know, you're athlete, you know, it'd be great. You can come play.
Yeah.
I remember I walked up and this dude's coming off the field holding his face and just blood everywhere.
Yeah.
And I'm like, nope, not playing this.
That's like what happened with Schaefer. Same thing.
Yeah,
Schaefer
I'm
was
like-
going to go and practice with us, and he just like stand on the sideline, and we start going out to the practice. He just disappeared.
Yeah, I was like,
Where'd Schaefer go?
I'm far too pretty to play this game. I'm not doing it. No thanks. I'll just watch.
My cousin Matt plays. I think he still plays now, but we always call him Goomba because he reminds us of a Goomba. But that dude's huge. He's like 6'5". He's got to be cresting like 260, 270.
Were Goombas big?
No, it's his face.
Oh, I was going to say. It's like, we're playing the same game.
It's a true story.
Sure, little fat guys.
I blamed Tim yesterday for this, by the way.
For what?
My arm being broken.
Tim was the one that did it?
No, I blamed him for it because he was supposed to be there. He assured me he would be there. And yesterday, when we played this past Sunday, there's this other gang of guys that plays. They play hardcore on the other side of the park. Well, they ended up coming up on us, and they're like, "Oh my God, let's join forces. Let's play together." Well, so we put down like a couple of rules, and me and one other guy were low contact. And I was like, "Why don't you do your guys versus our guys? That's fine." They're like, "Yeah, definitely." So Tim would have been there. Tim would have been the main offensive rusher. I would have been a middle linebacker. And I wouldn't have got my fucking bicep tendon torn right off the bone. It feels a little better now. I woke up this morning. I thought I broke it again.
I believe the term is tear.
Tear. Yeah. Rupture, rather.
Yeah.
I
mean,
it hurts like a fucking bitch.
Would you rather have had just your arm broken?
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That sucks.
Because the arm they would have just been like, all right, bitch, here's a cast.
Yeah,
But now it's one of those, we're going to cut you open right through your brand new tattoos, and we're going to reattach a tendon to a bone.
We're going to cut you open. It's going to be open forever. It's not going to be the same. It's going to be open to the world.
Don't talk to me like that, bitch. Well, I didn't think about it either because when they have to cut through to go to the bone, there's muscle over that bone that they're going to have to fucking cut through.
You didn't know that?
I was like, what are they going to do? They're going to sit there, they're going to use their fingers, and they're going to spread it. They're just going to open a path to the bone.
Yeah, no.
I realized the other night, I was like, cock. They're going to
Yeah.
cut my fucking muscle open, too.
Yeah, they're going to cut some of it. I mean, they're going to be able to move some.
They're going to cut a lot of muscle.
I mean, there's forceps that they'll use to try and push some stuff across, but yeah, they're going to be cutting some stuff.
Are those the forceps they used on somebody else? Because I'm hoping to get a lawsuit.
No. Where are you going for the hospital, if you don't mind?
I think it's Rochester General.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're good.
Well, that was the debate when we went last Sunday was, she goes, what hospital to go to? I was like, well, it's Highland Strong or Rochester General. I was like, Rochester General's right here. Let's just go right here. Because normally I'm like so conditioned from living in Henry for so long, it's always, you always go to Strong. You always go to Strong. And then I know so many people who work there, and it's just such a busy place. Like I'm certain I probably could have got it this week for surgery, but I got a good
week,
orthopedist.
holiday week?
I probably could have got it because I'm getting it next Thursday. Still a holiday week.
Yeah. You're probably better off at General, honestly.
You think so?
Yeah, I mean, Strong's a great hospital.
More personal care. That touch.
Yeah.
Touch of loyalty.
Something like that.
So I actually want to go back a little bit further. So you were born and raised in Canandaigua, right?
Born in Rochester. I was actually born in Highland.
Okay.
parents raised me until I was like 4. They didn't want me to go to public schools in the city.
Yeah.
That's where they grew up. So
Oh, no way.
Yeah,
Okay.
they wanted to move me somewhere, nicer. I guess, put it that way.
Nicer.
But also like a community. So I
Where
wasn't
dreams
just
are made
going-
of. Canandaigua.
Well, maybe not. But they moved me to Canandaigua when I was 4. Started school, kindergarten there, and I've been there pretty much ever since.
Yeah, I remember when you told me you lived in CDEX. I was like, who the fuck lives in Canandaigua?
That's where dreams are made.
That's where dreams are made.
Yeah.
So what was life like growing up down there? What did you do? What was your... Because it seems like every time I go through Canandaigua, it's like a small village that doesn't want to evolve, and then next to it is this main road that is just primed, just adding shit all the time and getting massive. So
Yeah.
it's like old school trying to fight the new school while they're still playing together.
Canandaigua is a tale of two seasons.
Mm-hmm.
In the winter, this time of the year, ghost town. I mean,
You serious?
Oh yeah, it's a quiet area. It's not really a whole lot going on. I live right on Main Street.
Mm-hmm.
Traffic's not too bad. It's a quiet little community.
Yeah.
During the summer with the lake, busy. Concert season, traffic nonstop on Main Street.
Oh yeah, you got
It's
the lake and the concerts. Holy shit.
Yep, a lot of stuff going on. So, I mean, growing up in Canandaigua was fun. It was great community, great people in Canandaigua. It was nice to be a part of something like that and not just be, a number, in a big city. I knew everybody in my graduating class.
Yeah.
So it was really, really a nice place to grow up.
So did you grow up in Main Street or did you grow up outside of the main village?
Originally, I grew up on Main Street with my parents, and then my parents ended up moving to Farmington, which was just outside of Canandaigua.
Slow north.
But it was still nice being in Farmington because they were part of a big cul-de-sac. Got to meet all the kids there, met some lifelong friends. So this was like back in when I was in middle school, like 6th, 7th grade.
So you got to like kind of step out your front door and you'd be like, bye mom, I'll see you later. And then you go like 4 doors down and she watches you as you go over the precipice to the hill.
Yeah, and it'd be like hockey, football, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So it was nice. But yeah, even when I was growing up as a kid, though, still I was right in everything in Canandaigua.
So what did you do when you were a kid? Like, were you active? Were you...
Yeah, I would say so. Love playing sports. I was always the type of person, though, where I always had a close-knit group of friends.
Yeah.
I only kept to probably 2 or 3 people. They were like my closest friends.
Yeah.
And maybe I'd hang out with some other people, but really it was like day to day I'm hanging out with these few people.
Yeah. So when did they all do the same things that you did? So if
Oh,
you
yeah.
played a sport, you guys all played the same sport. If
Oh,
you guys
yeah.
did an after-school activity, you guys all did the same after-school activity.
Yep. And I was probably more, when I was growing up, more of a follower than I was a leader.
You were just the
Yeah.
quiet guy.
Yeah, you could say that. I was the quiet observer amongst
Yeah.
the group. So whatever they wanted to do, I was willing to do. If they wanted to play hockey that day, cool, let's do it. If you wanted to stay inside, we're gonna watch, Family Guy DVDs. Cool, let's do that instead too.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was definitely growing up. I was more of a follower.
Were you always taller and bigger than everybody else?
Not so much bigger, believe it or not. Like junior year in college, I was like 170 pounds. I was
Yeah.
always like tall and lanky. So I was kind of like the tall, awkward guy.
Yeah.
More than anything, more than like the big guy. So
The guy who could grow a beard in 2nd grade.
pretty much, honestly. I remember, I think the first time I shaved was like in 4th or 5th grade.
Holy crap, dude.
Yeah. I remember I was just like, this is my dad's razor. And I was like, I remember just like seeing peach fuzz and I was like, I gotta get rid of this.
I gotta get rid of this peach fuzz.
Didn't know what the hell I was doing, but I gave it a try.
Oh, when we were in college, I would shave once a month.
You still shave once a month.
Every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Come on, get it right.
Come on, man.
It's so bad.
Never seen you with any facial hair.
The one day, no shave November, you're like, how long did that take? And I was like, 3 months. You're just staring at me. You're like, it's been a week.
Wow, man.
It's too funny. So in school, what were your main kind of interests and stuff like that? Because one of the things that I've noticed about a lot of like really intellectual people is they weren't really attracted to intellectual things when they were younger.
I've only cared about things that, or I've only done well in things that I've cared about. I would say that I'm not a dumb person, but like I was terrible at math. I was
Yeah.
terrible at English. Unless something really piqued my interest, I was terrible at science.
Yeah.
But things like history, I always excelled at because I always found it really interesting. I loved learning about the past, learning about, when I was growing up, like the Revolutionary War, the Civil War. I really dug into things like that, and I really invested my time because I thought it was interesting.
Yeah.
So I always all the way through high school, middle school, all the way to college. If it piqued my interest, I always did well at it. If I didn't care about it, I never put any time or effort into it.
Yeah, I think that's like kind of where in the school systems they try to teach you all the basic curriculum to get you to understand them. When like they do the APs that separate like advanced performance or advanced placement, whatever it is. But I don't think that that's the proper way they should be going. It should be here's the class. Everyone can take these classes. If you're more interested in one of them, you take a different level of it. It doesn't have to be harder, but it's got more information. So if you are the guy who's more interested in history, yeah, you take the basic stuff so you can pass your main core, but you're really into history, boom, here's a history class. There's elective history classes. There's stuff like that give you different perspectives on it.
I would agree to an extent. Education in this country is definitely having some issues. I'm not a big proponent of baseline national education.
Yeah.
If I had the power, I'd get rid of the Department of Education. I think it's a waste.
Yeah.
States should mandate what their education is. There should be obviously some oversight as far as what the states are doing and make sure they're doing the right things, but states should have full control over their curriculums. I think they need to do a better job of obviously providing the baseline things that kids need to learn. But you're right. You need to understand who your students are, what they're interested in, and make education more something that they enjoy.
Yeah.
Because that's really what it's all about. I mean, I don't remember anything that I ever learned in English classes or math classes that were supposed to be things that were going to be very important to me in my life outside of school. But I always remember the teachers that did a good job of making things interesting, making things fun, because it became more about, what we were doing other than, what test I was eventually going to have to take or having to apply this knowledge into whatever when I got outside of school. That's really what it should be about when it comes to education.
Well, you've probably noticed it too that I was talking to my brother-in-law about this. I was like, we're in such an interesting era, especially with children. Like, don't make them crutched by technology. Use it as a way to help shit. And I was like, it's so beautiful now, because let's say your son wants to learn how to make a birdhouse one day. You go online, you look up quick blueprints how to make a birdhouse. You guys are in the garage making a birdhouse. You're not dedicating your whole life to it. You're not like, oh, you can't do it because we don't have time, we don't know how to do it. And then maybe he's interested in birds, and then you learn about birds, and then he just drops it, and he's off to the races, and he's like, I want to learn how to grow beans. Quickly learn how to sprout them and plant it. And it's like you're just at this weird moment where you can either be completely handheld by technology, like you go out in public and everybody's sitting at the dinner table, phones are out, kids are on bullshit, nobody's saying a damn word. Or it could be you're at the dinner table, you're talking, and then your child says something, your wife says something, your husband, whatever it is, and yes, they're Scrabble tiles. And you're just like, holy shit. And you go to the computer real fast, you look it up, you're like, we can do this. Like, we can do this thing.
It's nice in theory. I think the one problem that you have is that kids these days, or kids in general, even when we're older, kids don't give a shit about stuff like that.
Yeah.
Kids care about the dumb stuff. You know what they care about? The popular things in school. What the other kids are talking about, because kids are pack animals. If the popular kids think something's cool, everybody else thinks it's cool.
Yeah.
There's going to be one-offs where a kid's going to be like, hey, I want to build a birdhouse, or hey, I want to do this. And you're right. Now that information's available and applicable, a good parent is going to embrace that and say, hey, listen, let's do this together. Let's learn what this is. But unfortunately, we live in a society where kids are supposed to conform to what they think are what's supposed to be cool.
Yeah, that's one of the bigger problems too, because you're not also thought to be a self-thinker. And I mean, people are like, oh, it's a child, they need to do child things. Yeah, but children still need to learn how to think for themselves.
Yeah.
You need basic survival skills, you need basic apprehensive skills, and you need basic skills on how to acquire shit. Like, that's it. And if you can get those, you can start taking yourself up into it. Like, so when we were in middle school, I was in middle school, I was completely obsessed with like the 20s and 10s monster movies. There was one resource for me to get any information on them. And it was this giant monster book encyclopedia, and I probably read that book like 6 or 7 times. Only resource I had. Nowadays I can look it up and I can tell you who the director is for the Nosferatu film, how many times they've remade it, who the actor was, the guy died, how he died, how he got ready for the role, just all this random stuff. And it's like, that's really cool, like that's really intimate. And when I was younger, that's what I was looking for.
Yeah.
Couldn't find it. So it was just read on the monster, and the monster tells you what, and you go on. But nowadays it's one of those, you can either crutch someone with the technology, or you can help it be a learning tool. Like when we have those really deep questions, we don't go right away and look it up.
No.
We try to figure it out on our own.
No, I get what you're saying. the beauty of the internet is the information that we have at our fingertips at all times. And you're right, it's fantastic. And I think that it leads to a lot of the good discussions. I think it leads to people being more informed, which is good. But I mean, there's definitely drawbacks to what we have at our fingertips these days. Kids with social skills are getting worse and worse. Just for the things we were talking about with your face constantly in your phone. Video games now, kids are more apt to want to stay inside and during a summer day and play video games with kids across the country, across the world, rather than go outside and play with kids across the street. You know, don't get me wrong, it's cool. It's cool as shit to play with people across on the other side of the world and interact and do all those things, but there has to be a balance. And I think that you're seeing more and more with the things that are going on in our world that there's a lack of social skills. There's a lack of social development in people. And I think that's directly related to phones.
Yeah,
like what you're doing
once again,
right
as it vibrates right now. Yeah, I'm always I'm not even the worst because I always tell whoever it is, I'm like, put your phone on silent, bitch. Put it on silent. Yeah, that's because I don't need you opening it up or picking it up unless you have an emergency or something like that. That should be the only time. But yeah, like I keep contemplating just switching to a flip phone. Just so that the only time I can be on the computer is like I have to be on the computer just because it's such a fucking crutch.
Yeah, but if you do that, I'm going to call you a hipster.
Don't call me a hipster. I hate hipsters. Yeah. I don't wear Neff hats and fake glasses and have handlebar mustaches.
Because you can't grow a facial hair.
Well, we're not talking about whether I can or can't do something. We're talking about I'm not doing something.
What? Wouldn't it be funny if you did get a flip phone and immediately you grew a handlebar mustache? That's a thick one.
That's like the only place on my face the hair grows. My eyebrows go down.
Yeah, and then you start listening to Florence and the Machine all the time.
No, please don't. I hate that shit. That's like that new Thunder song that's on the radio. I think it's absolutely garbage.
Don't listen to the radio.
The wife, she loves that song. So does my cousin. So any chance they get, they tag me in it or something like that. He says Thunder easily. Like if you added up the total words to the song, half of them are literally Thunder. So
music these days, man.
It's definitely really good.
It's wonderful.
It's very good. It's
fantastic.
I don't know where we're going with it, but it's very fucking good.
So everything, including music these days, everything's about business and commerce.
Yeah, it is.
You know, I mean, there's no intellectual.
So we're trying to buy stock in the Thunder?
No.
Come on, dude. It's like Bitcoin dropped 30% in one day, man.
It's fascinating to think about. Like, people used to be like, you have a songwriter, and they sung their own songs, and whether they were good or not, who knows, man? Yeah. Bob Dylan, great vocalist. I don't know, maybe, but like those are his songs he wrote. Now you have like teams of people writing songs for people, and they don't know what the hell it means. Yeah, they're just singing it, and some of them aren't even singing it good, and they're putting it through a computer.
I might be wrong with my reference, but did you ever see Singing in the Rain?
No.
Well, so Singing in the Rain it's a musical, but there's a point in it where it's a first talking movie that they're referencing, the first talking movie of all time.
A talkie,
thank you. And the female lead, her voice is awful. So they record the whole thing over, and then they get the female lead for the actual Singing in the Rain movie, and she does the voiceover for the other woman. The other woman finds out, yada yada yada. Okay. But it's that situation right there where she was hired as an actress for her looks. Her voice is dog shit, and then they hire someone to overtalk her. So it's the same thing. You've got writers who can write but sing like shit versus people who write and then hand it off to somebody else.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, this is going on for a long time. It just, every time I listen or I listen to people talk about the music industry these days, it's just like, Jesus Christ. Where's the passion in the music industry these days? And I feel like the people that are really trying and they really care about it, and they're only on YouTube getting their views and their likes. They're not the ones that are singing in front of millions of people. You know, those are the people that are just part of the machine.
Well, that's like, I'm not a big fan of the song, but it's catchy as shit. And this kid did a really good job at being an absolute no one, convincing his parents the Whippin' Nay Nay song. Where he filmed his music video in 6 different cities, had his parents like come with camera crews and shit to like film this nobody, because he was legitimately a nobody at the time. And then you get people and they're like, oh shit, someone's on stage. Oh, who's that guy? He's gotta be famous as shit. Let's go, let's be in the music video. And then all of a sudden he's famous as shit.
Yeah.
He was a nobody, and everybody was like, yo, let's go watch this dude sing. I was like, God, that's so brilliant.
The other one was fantastic. I fucking hated the song, but Rebecca Black.
Is that the Saturday song?
Friday.
Fuck.
Yeah.
It's off by a day.
Close enough. But, like, she was a fucking nobody. I think she's from Canada. Like, nobody cared about her. Like, she was, like, a struggling artist, and she came up with the most catchy song ever.
I don't remember it, I'll be honest. Please don't sing it either.
No, I mean, no. You don't have enough beer for me to do that. But it's like...
Wasn't her voice doggy?
Yeah, it wasn't even that good, but it was so catchy and it ingrained into your head.
Yeah.
Or the Gangnam Style dude. I mean, I think he was popular.
No, he was popular.
He wasn't popular
country,
in America. But that song was popular as shit because it was so catchy. Now it's in your head.
Who's the Party Rock? Those guys, same thing.
LMFAO.
Awful band.
Dude, it's all computer.
Awful band.
All computers.
Catchy as shit.
Yeah.
It's one of those, like, I wonder if there's just someone in this country who's, like, figured out the formula. And then he's like, I'm not going to tell you the formula. You got to hire me.
Yes.
And then tell me what you want. And then he goes through and he writes it, or he does the basic thing. He goes, here's your tune. Just put in some words that rhyme.
You probably haven't seen it. And obviously I'm not going to show you it. But there's a kid. He completely broke down the method in which the Chainsmokers make all their songs.
That's another one, the Chainsmokers.
Literally, he's going to college for music and broke it down and was literally playing like the notes for all of their songs. He's like, it's the same thing.
Isn't that like with Slipknot or there's another band like that where it's always the same strums just in different parts of the guitar.
Yeah. I can't remember. I remember seeing it, but I don't remember the band. But like, if it's not broke and you're making all this money,
yeah,
I can't say that if I was in that position, as much of a sellout as I would be, I would totally do the same thing.
That keeps reminding me of when we were talking about if you could be a famous sports player, what sport would you play? And you're like, golf, man. Like, I never would have thought of that. It's the same thing.
As you get older, like, if you asked me when I was a kid, football all the way, quarterback, be amazing. And then like you get older and you realize like, okay, starting quarterback, it's a ton of pressure. Yeah. If I go out there and I'm starting quarterback for the Cowboys and I play like dog shit against the Eagles, my whole week's ruined. Like I can't go anywhere. I can't read the news. I can't watch TV. Like everybody's gonna be talking about how terrible I played. If I'm just some random golfer and I'm just average, not even a great golfer, I make plenty of money to be comfortable. I don't have to be the best. I don't have to be Tiger Woods. I can just show up and play.
Well, so here's something funny that I did not know. So, like I've heard stories about like my football team, the tight end. He and his family, like I heard that he wasn't allowed to spend most of his NFL money.
Gronk?
Yeah. And I was like, oh, that's interesting.
He's not allowed. He's not allowed to. He's actually a lot smarter than people realize.
Well, I didn't know that his family owned G&G Fitness. So he's set before he even started playing.
But the other thing is, too, he's done very well with endorsements.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of these people, like LeVar Ball, like, it's a persona.
Yeah.
And it draws attention.
$500 shoes, my ass.
But, like, everybody talks about him. He's done a great job. He's done a fantastic job. And Gronk, it's probably part of his personality from everything I've heard and everything I've read. It's the type of person that he is. But what it does is it draws attention.
Yeah.
He gets endorsement deals. He lives off of that endorsement money right now. He's pocketed
He's probably making a ton of
all
endorsement
the money that
too.
he's made with the Patriots. He pockets all of it. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
You know, so, I mean, yeah, if I were to be a professional athlete, I could play golf forever. And then when I'm old, I'll play in the senior PGA Tour.
Or you just teach people.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. Yeah, if I had a choice, if I could do it all over again, I'd never play baseball, I'd never play any other sport, I'd just play golf.
So I did need to get to this. When you were younger, you obviously played a ton of sports and stuff like that. And one of the ways that I met you was through interesting sports. And you went to college for softball. You played softball throughout high school. Baseball. Fuck. Let's tuck your vagina away real quick. I'm sorry. But did you play football in high school?
No.
Okay, that's what I was going to get to. Yeah.
I won't say not allowed to. I was encouraged not to because of being a baseball player and not wanting to get hurt. The only thing other than baseball that I did was I ran indoor track just to stay in shape because they were some of the best workouts I've ever been in. In Canandaigua, we had a pool at our school. They used to make us run in the shallow end of the pool, and then the farther down we got, we would spring down to the bottom of the pool and then off of 1 foot spring back up and then alternate feet all the way down to the pool and come back.
Yeah.
I used to cramp up all the time. Like, help me,
help me.
My legs.
Tom Cruise, help me.
But it was the best way to stay in shape was indoor track. I mean, I only went to like one meet. I just went to all the practices. Yeah, I was a sprinter. I did shot put too. I wasn't very good at shot put. I'm not coordinated enough for that.
What was your indoor events?
I only ran it was the 50 meter. It was the shortest one.
Yeah.
So I just ran with all the fat kids.
So wait, what did you do in the fall season then?
Fall?
Yeah.
Did anything. I just did winter.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I just worked out. Well, see, for Canandaigua, and I can't speak to other high schools, we used to do, baseball started in January. So we would do once a week, we would have practices. They were not practices like official practices, but what you would do is you would just show up. It wasn't mandatory, but you could work out. For me, being a pitcher, I'd throw a bullpen session. I'd work a little bit on hitting, but I didn't hit a lot being a pitcher. I'd do some fielding, and that'd be about it. But it would be a way to stay in shape. And this was a weekly thing. It started in January. Yeah. And went all the way until the baseball season started. So, big commitment.
That's a long time. Plus, you guys played almost to the end of the year. And then you probably did a summer league too?
Yes. It was pretty much almost mandated you play a summer legion team. In summer legion, so your high school season is about 21, 24 regular season games, somewhere around there.
So what is that, 2 games a week, 3 games a week sometimes?
Sometimes, yeah, especially if you have like rainouts or weather delays. So it's right around like 20-ish games for the regular season, but the summer league's over 60.
Yeah. Jesus. Yeah. So you really needed that recovery time in September, October, November.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. That was a lot, especially when you're a pitcher. And somebody like me threw a lot. My junior year for varsity, not only did I start, I pitched out of the bullpen. Yeah. So I was pitching like almost every game.
Oh, wow. Yeah. That's interesting. How did you get into being pitcher? Did you play Little League or something like that when you were younger?
Well, I originally didn't play baseball. I didn't even play baseball in Little League for the most part. I wasn't playing much for sports. I did like soccer. And then I went to 2001. My dad won a trip to the MLB All-Star game. Okay. We went to Seattle. We flew together. It was a good family, father-son trip. We got to meet a lot of like baseball guys, a lot of legends, Hall of Famers. And I was like, oh, baseball is really cool. I didn't end up playing right away, but what I did was I would go out back and I would start throwing the baseball against my parents' stockwood or like wooden fence. And my dad noticed that there were some welts starting to show up on the fence. He's like, okay, he kind of throws. He throws pretty well. Yeah. So they ended up buying me a big piece of plywood, and I ended up breaking the plywood.
Oh, wow.
So my dad was like, okay, maybe we should get you into baseball, and the rest is history. I remember the first year I played was the first year that you could like actually pitch. So like it wasn't like, you know, a coach throwing or hitting off a tee. It was like the actual kids were pitching.
So that's like, it's got to be like, and that's got to be early middle school.
Yeah, it was like 11, 12 years old, right around there. I wasn't like 10, but it was like 11, 12 years old. That's when I started playing Little League. I remember I just threw probably a lot harder than I did when I was older because my arms started to go. But when I was young, I remember one of the first couple of games I was playing, threw a wild pitch, and I hit this kid in the helmet, broke his helmet, and he was bleeding out of his ear.
Holy shit. Yeah. Holy shit.
I was like, whoops. Sorry about that.
Well, Coach, we need better helmets. God damn. Keep talking for a second. Just talk about something interesting.
I don't know what to talk about.
Just talk about something interesting. I didn't take a pee before we started. This is the first time I've done that, and I'm so sorry.
I'm going to check my phone.
Check your phone and talk. Say it out loud. Tell a story. Marcel, get out of there, you stupid bastard.
I don't know who that is.
It's the cat.
Oh.
Come on, Bubby. Come on, Bubby. Come on. Come on. I've got one arm. I can't do this.
Was that the cat meowing?
Yeah. He just dropped to the floor like a lazy bag.
Oh, I saw you said park on the left side of the driveway. I just saw that now.
Oh.
But I did park on the left-hand side.
I like that you parked on the left-hand side. Fuck you. I usually have this facing me, so I have to make sure it's set right. Today is a weird day. Because, oh look, we can see ourselves. Hi, I'm sorry, I'm back from my pee break. I feel so ashamed. That's the first time that's happened in 10 episodes.
It's because I'm here.
I know. It's probably because I drank 2 cups when we were upstairs before you got here, and I hadn't weed yet.
You hadn't eaten what yet?
We apostrophe D.
Weed.
Shit. So, did you check your phone? Was there anything interesting?
There's a couple things.
Oh, that's the feedback from that. I was like, yo, what the hell is that static sound?
I only got it in one ear, so it's not big.
It's the water heater.
Oh.
That's loud as shit.
That's pretty loud.
Well, it probably helps because last time I did the water heater beforehand, so it didn't actually come into the mics here.
You got to have your coffee, though, bud.
In my giant ass mug with Jack Skeleton's face on it.
It's pretty cute.
It is.
You a big Halloween guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Before Halloween this year, we didn't do anything. I was like, next year we got to do something. We got to go to like a Halloween party or something.
Are you gonna like dress up and scare kids?
No. So I spent a lot of time, like 2 or 3 weeks out from Halloween this year, looking up how to do real gore makeup. I was like, this has always been something I'm interested in doing. Once again, technology has it.
Yeah.
2 weeks. That's all I watched was videos on how to do gore makeup, how to make gore makeup, how to do it so it looks fucking real and shit.
You just didn't do it?
I didn't do it because we didn't have plans for it.
You gotta make plans. Take life by the balls.
Grab life by the pussy.
Yeah, sure. Wasn't that Trump's campaign speech?
Something like that.
Yeah.
So you ran under Republican. Are you a Republican? Are you a Democrat? Are you a liberal? I'm sorry, an independent.
So here's the thing.
Gary Johnson, bitch.
No, it's in the United States. In the United States, it's a two-party system.
Yeah, they recognize too because they suck.
As much as I think there's some great candidates in other parties, they're burning a vote. They really are.
Do you think at any point in time we'll be accepting of additional parties?
No.
Why?
Unless, I mean, the Republicans right now, the party in and of itself is pretty bad. They're doing a lot of pretty dumb stuff, and I don't think anything's going to change. I think you're just...
The C party.
It's not going to happen.
You don't think so?
No, I really don't. I think you're always going to have a two-party system. It's what we've had for too long. People aren't willing to make a change. They're just going to continue to go with it, for better or for worse.
I think Michelle Obama should run as an independent.
As an independent, she'd be a Dem.
No, she should do it. I liked Gary Johnson. I don't know if you know anything about Gary Johnson.
Yeah, his foreign policy sucked, though. He doesn't know it.
Fuck. 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
When you're in the United States and you're basically the de facto UN, yeah, you probably should have a good foreign policy. You should kind of know some stuff about some other countries. As much as I like Gary, that's where his the chink in his armor was.
To be fair, though, Trump hired somebody who knew about politics because he doesn't really know about politics. He knows about business. And business and politics are similar.
The Republican Party hired somebody for Donald Trump. See, that's what happens when you get into these party systems. Is once you have the support of the party, they just surround you with whatever you need.
Which is crazy because you'd figure you should come in knowing enough and having enough in your wheelhouse to be able to handle it.
Yes and no. Yes and no. I think what they do is they look for people that they think they can support and get behind, and they just go from there. Because
that's what happened to you, right?
Yeah, they approached me to run.
Yeah, you were scouted.
It wasn't something that I was just like, hey, I want to get involved in politics.
Yeah.
I got enough stuff on my plate. No, they approached me. Something that they asked me to do. To answer your question, I would say that if you were to ask me which one, I would probably say Republican, but I don't necessarily agree with other views. Fiscally, I'm definitely in a conservative mindset, but I'm definitely more of a liberal in terms of social issues.
That's what I tell everybody. Socially liberal, fiscally conservative.
Yeah, and I mean, that's kind of, an oxymoron a little bit.
But that's the independent party.
But again, I'm not going to support an independent party because I'm just wasting my time.
Come on, Gary Johnson. Gary Johnson. I don't even vote.
What is this, sponsored by Gary Johnson?
No, it's just like
on the other side of this.
When you see all like the candidates, a lot of times you just see giant, like obviously like you said, giant chinks in their armor and stuff. But it's some of them just have like they're missing full sections of their armor. You're like, dude.
But they're professional politicians,
and that's the problem. Is I think we need. Like it was nice to get Trump in there just because he's not a politician, but. Yeah. The man puts his foot in his mouth more times than...
That's the biggest gripe that I have with him. I voted for him. I voted for him under the pretense that he was something different, for better or for worse.
Yeah.
I would say for certain things it's been worse, but I would say for his policies, for the most part, I'm in agreement with. I think that many people want to get worried about what he's doing with North Korea and the stance that he's taking. It's a good thing, in my opinion. I think that at some point you have to make a stand with a country like this. They're flirting with something very dangerous. This is a very real threat to not only the United States but the rest of the world. And as a result, you have to talk tough. Yeah. I don't necessarily agree with all the things that he says towards them, but I agree with the fact that you can't just let him keep doing what he's doing and throwing sanctions and just being diplomatic about it, because it hasn't worked to this point.
Yeah, that's how World War II started.
Yeah, appeasement.
And yeah, we want some more of these lands over here. We're going to take over Czechoslovakia.
It's a great accent.
Yeah, when we were playing... Wunderbar. Spitburger.
It's best. Yeah. I was watching that the other night. I was thinking of you.
It's such a good movie too.
It really is. It's a great scene.
That's probably one of the greatest scenes that they could have done because he goes all the way to Argentina to find these men.
They didn't have names.
We didn't have names. They were taken from the Schweinebauer. For anybody who doesn't know what we're referencing X-Men First Class, where Michael Fassbender's Magneto goes down to Argentina to confront the Nazis who were part of the reason his parents died. And then he's talking really, really good fucking German.
Great.
Kind of helps that he's German, I think.
Fassbender?
Yeah.
Probably.
That's like, I like Christopher... Not Walken, shit. He was in Django. He was the dentist. He was also in...
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Totally don't know his name, though.
Yeah. He's awesome. Him as an actor, he's freaking phenomenal.
And Django was great.
Yeah, he was great in Django. He was great in Inglourious Bastards. He was really good in Horrible Bosses 2. Mm-hmm. Somebody who was listening of the 50 people who listen to this is probably shouting it right now.
Probably.
And one day I'll be like...
Maybe if you brought your book, it'd have the answer.
No, don't say that. You're probably fucking right. It's probably in there somewhere.
Get off your fucking
No,
phone.
I'm actually doing something. It's like a first of ever. Well, I got to do with my left hand though. So, shit, it's not flipped around.
What you doing, bud?
I don't want to record. I just want to take a fucking picture.
Maybe you should put it on a picture.
I did. That took forever, dude.
It's okay, bud.
I'm posting for life on record.
Nice.
As my GIMP hand sits on the table. It sucks, dude, because I can't pick it up.
Take my strong hand.
I can get like here. That's where I get to.
Yeah.
So like when I eat cereal and stuff, I have to like bring it here, and then I have to like wait a second, and then I can bring my hand away, and then I can eat.
It's the worst.
It's terrible.
I know I didn't, when I screwed my shoulder up like 2012, it wasn't that bad, but it was probably the closest thing I can relate to. And it was like I couldn't reach the side of my body with this arm, like couldn't move it.
That moment when you have to wipe your butt.
Gotta learn left hand.
Yeah, it was so bad the other day. I was like, damn, this is my dominant hand. And I started listing things, and I'm going to the bathroom, and I'm listing things, and I sit down, and I'm doing my business, and I was like, oh no.
That moment of realization.
I'm missing a hand.
Yeah.
The important hand. The wife's like, I'll help you with anything you need. She goes, just not that.
God bless her.
It's so funny the way she did it too, because I literally followed it up with, I wipe my butt with his hand.
I wipe my own ass.
I wipe my own ass. What was
So
that?
wait,
Big Daddy?
Big Daddy.
You got a hair just hanging here, floating, and it's bothering me. Right here. If I'm you. I'm not your mirror. I'm you. I'm you, not your mirror. There it is. It's so bothering me. So wait, what?
Did I like at least get it?
Yeah, you got it.
Sure.
That's why I put my hand down.
Look again.
Fuck you, dude. I can't grow a nice bristly beard like that.
What was I saying?
Something amazing. We were talking about politics.
No, we're talking about something else.
Facebook, Instagram, Snap. There is coffee cups if you do want coffee.
It's like noon, man. I think it's beer time.
Is bear o'clock somewhere?
Yeah.
I think it's afternoon.
It's Saturday, too.
It is Saturday, so now it's 5 o'clock somewhere.
And I drink my coffee during the week when I work.
Oh, shit.
No, what were we talking about? I was going to ask you, okay. So, I wasn't there for the football game. How did you exactly tear it? What were you doing?
So, I was playing O-line, and obviously we're not used to tackling, so when we did the breakdown for the rules, me and one other guy, I put us both on the blocks. I go, we're light contact. I go, give us a hug. I go, we're down. So everybody else was playing full tackle. So me, stupid me, not realizing everybody else is full tackle, means that I need to tackle people. So I played offensive line and middle linebacker most of the game, and then defensive line. And I ended up tackling, like, the first tackle I made of the game on the quarterback. Nice deep sack, like probably 14, 15 yards. I was proud of myself. But when I landed, I was exhaling. Mm-hmm. So as I was going down, I was going, and I got up. I was like, holy shit. I was like, I don't have asthma. This is wrong. I had to go sit out for a second and get some breath. And then we kept playing the game. And maybe a drive later, same thing happened. I'm exhaling. woo! So I'm like getting in weird shambles, and I'm realizing that I need to get enough leverage as defense on the offensive lineman to get around him to get to the quarterback, because it's taking so much energy of mine to try and play slap hands with this kid. So I'm literally getting to the point where I've got one knee on the ground, one knee up front, and every time he calls hike, and as soon as he's tossed the ball and he's turning to face me, my hands are just coming up and I'm pushing him into the air. So I could get around him and get to the side. So we hit the point, we're doing a stride. I had just done a nice deep sack, and we're going for the next play, and I get the lift, and the kid says something about it. He's like, this kid's getting lift on me. I need somebody else. I was like, shit. So another guy runs over. I get the lift on him. It lands down. I get to the guy next to him. I get him out of the way. So by that time, if we're on the line here, I'm here, there's two guys here. I end up lifting, and they push me this way. So the quarterback scares this way. I end up lifting him, and I get around, and I'm running up to get him, and I have my arm all the way out so I can at least get my hand in the way of the ball. Yeah. And my hand is fully locked, and as my hand hits full stride, his hand comes down and goes...
Knocks you away.
Right on the... hand, like right here. And I just felt my arm go... I just dropped.
Does not sound good.
No, and it was silly. I was like, of all the... Like, looking back at it, of all the things that could have happened that would have done it... Like, that's it. I got my hand slapped really hard. Yeah. Like, at full lock. And it's like, damn. Like, I didn't tear it doing a tackle. I didn't tear it smacking a ball down or something. Like,
something cool.
Yeah, I don't have a good story. I didn't save a fire from this baby. You know what I mean? Like, I said that how that's supposed to be.
Okay.
Grandma's boy.
Yeah.
She goes, Alex, what happened to your hands? I was trying to save this fire from this baby. It's such a good movie.
It's a great movie.
But yeah, so silly shit and tore, and I like crippled, and I ran to the sidelines, and I was like,
help.
No, Jason's like, you good, man? I was like, yeah, give me 1 second. I was like, fuck, it's torn. I stood up, I was like, Jason, I gotta go. I gotta get my wife to take me to the hospital. He's like, what? I was like, I'm gonna leave all my shit, dude. Just bring it back later. That's rad. He calls me. He's like, do you need a ride?
You just panicked.
Oh, dude, I'm gone.
Just running with your arm flailing behind you.
No more pussy shall I be. Yeah, no, I dropped my elbow here, and I'm literally driving like this using, because it's standard. Yeah. So I'm using my wrist the whole way home.
Safety first.
No, I just gotta wrap it into the center console so it doesn't move. Well, when I've had to drive lately, I've had to get like really close to it because the free range was like here. Yeah. So I like have to lean into it to get it forward, which is terrible. Yeah. The other day when it was really snowy out, I was driving like 15 miles an hour. I was like, it is not worth it to me to get into a car accident today. I was like, I'm just gonna go nice and easy. Yeah.
Take your time, bud.
It sucks.
New York State weather.
Yeah. So we got 2 weeks in a cast, surgery on Thursday, 2 weeks in a splinter. I think it's 4. And then I'll have nothing on there. And then it's all just working the range of motion and then grabbing soup cans and flexing it. And
so how long until you think you're back to full strength?
So he said average is 6 months. And I go, what's not average? And he just stared at me. I go, what's not average? He's like 3 to 4. I was like, okay. And I've talked to a couple of the people who've had this surgery and stuff like that. And they're like, yeah, within 4 months, I'm back to benching what I was before, squatting what I was before, and deadlifting what I was before. They said the only thing that usually takes longer is specific back motions that are highly bicep dependent. So T-bar rows, barbell rows, dumbbell rows, stuff like that, because mostly bicep. Yeah. He said they go everything else like, cable pull downs or maybe like hammer strength rows or something like that. You're getting less of it. So you get able to get back on those quicker, but they're like, we have that fear for like 6 to 9 months before you're like, okay, it's fine.
Well, like as your friend, apparently being an asshole, my goal now is to catch you.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
I got time.
Well, I'm just going to make this announcement right now. My goal in 4 months is to be doing 365 pause presses, squatting 545 for triples, and deadlifting 585 for triples. So I got 4 months, including rehab. Okay. So you better come ready, bitch. Okay.
It's an aggressive play.
It's sad though, because I always prided myself on how nice my biceps were compared to everything, and now it's gonna be like I'm a 10-pound guy.
Do you think that it's gonna be like the form now? It's gonna have like one of those weird crevices.
I looked it up and I was trying to figure it out, and I guess it doesn't happen like that. Because the way it stitches in, so like you can't see it when it's fully extended or when it's fully contracted, that the tendon is actually hooked up down here. Yeah. Which is interesting to me because you'd figure you'd see like this
weird, like
it looked like the San Francisco Bridge or whatever the shit it is. You're like, damn, someone's crossing. Oh.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say, like, you think if they're gonna cut through the bicep, like part of it, like you might have one of those weird, like, little bumps.
Oh, the little, yeah. Well, no, that's the difference between having a long bicep head and a short bicep head. So, like, my cousin Chris, his bicep looks like this mic when he flexes. When I do it, it just looks like a bag of flour sitting on my arm.
Yeah.
So, but it sucks because I've seen the way they do the surgery. Some people get it cut right here in the middle, and then some people get 2 cuts, one up here and one down here. And it's like, just do the middle one for me, please. Just do me a favor. Don't cut through Zoom's head. Because he's like, I'm going to have to cut through your new tattoo. And I was like, fuck you.
Just got that.
Yeah.
That sucks.
It does. Well, it sucks too because I have tattoo next Friday that I got to cancel because my cast is going to go up to here, and it's going to be locked in like this position, so I'm not going to get that tattoo. So I'm going to have to call her and bump to like 3 weeks out because I only have the cast out for 2 weeks, which is interesting to me because it's like, does that really heal that fast?
It's probably not going to heal that fast, but it's only needed to be locked in that place for that long, I imagine. And then it comes to the point where you need to start strengthening it.
I guess that makes sense because they don't want your tendon to get too tight. Someone at the gym was saying he had a brother-in-law who had both of them repaired at the same time, and he kept it locked like this for so long that now his arms don't fully extend anymore because the tendons are just so damn tight.
That sucks.
Yeah. Top shelf, bitch.
No.
It's crazy the things that your human body can go through, and then like you can just mess up even more. Like your hips.
Yeah, hips, back, knees, shoulders.
Hips, back, knees. The herniated disc. You sent me that photo the one day. I was like, oh my God, Dan's back. And then you're like, that's not mine. Like,
would
you're
have been
such a dick.
Would have been really funny, right?
The herniated disc. I was like, man, how was he walking around? That's crazy. So the hip thing, that came from when you were a kid, right?
Yeah, from baseball. I dislocated and injured the right pelvis. Didn't really think much of it.
Did it happen when you were pitching or running?
Pitching. Kid bunted on me. It was wet out. I just went to field it. I slipped, planting on my right side. Felt my leg give out. Kind of like whatever. Just felt some pain in it. I think the rest of that season I was kind of limited. And then by the time next year rolled around, it was fine. I mean, I didn't do anything as far as like going to a doctor or rehabbing or doing anything smart. Yeah, I was like, hey, whatever, man. I'm a kid.
I'll bounce back.
And apparently it didn't. Because when I went to this new chiropractor, she was checking everything out, and the first thing she noticed is, wow, your right pelvis is like really tilted. And I thought that was odd, especially given the fact she said my left wasn't. And then immediately draw the conclusion that was probably when I was a kid and I heard it.
When you told me your pelvis was tilted, the first thing I thought about was anterior pelvic tilt.
Thanks.
Have you ever seen that video of like the two distinct angles for hips?
Yes.
And it's always demoed with women models.
It's like, come on, man.
It's super sexist.
Yeah, like dudes don't have hip problems too. Like, come on, give me a break.
You're like, why is that girl walking with her ass out? Oh, anterior pelvic tilt.
It's basically me.
I was in tears. I was like, man, I feel like some guys have this.
Yeah, it's impossible for a guy to have bad hips too.
They could use you for both sides. They just take one side and turn you to the other side.
Are you assuming my gender right now?
I'm not assuming anything.
It's 2018, man. Can't assume anybody's gender.
We still got a couple days left in 2017.
It's 2018.
Oh no, it's with the new.
Yeah.
Oh my God, have you ever seen that Steven Crowder thing, the change my mind stuff? Do you know who Ben Shapiro is?
Love Ben Shapiro.
That guy. Like, I disagree with some of the things that he says, but like he argues so well.
Yeah.
So well. He goes, you're arguing with the facts. And I was like, oh shit. I gotta find more of this guy.
Yeah.
He's very, I don't want to say intelligent because some people get offended when you call them smart or intelligent or something like that, but he's very well spoken and very well read.
Yeah.
Like, that's awesome.
Yeah, no, I love Ben Shapiro. I would say definitely leans more right than left.
Oh, far right.
But I mean, he's definitely a person that calls it like it is.
I love when people try to get to him. They're like, so you didn't have to work and blah, blah. He goes, are we asking redundant questions here?
Let me talk to you about institutional racism. And he breaks it down. He's just like, well, facts are.
Yo, that video was so good.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Like the stats that he's dropping, I was like, nah. And I like when I looked him up, I was like, holy shit. I was like, how do we not know this?
You gotta call a spade a spade. I mean, as much as, you know, there's bad shit definitely going on.
Yeah.
Crime is what it is, according to the statistics. the people that are doing the crime are the ones that are always in the news.
Yeah, it's true.
You know?
But it's crazy that it's not a very aware statistic. Like, you feel like if that statistic was more out there and more people knew it, that they'd be like a little more apprehensive to take negative action.
Yeah, I think a lot of that has to do with consequences of backlash. Mm-hmm. You know, you don't want to say something like that, even though it's a statistic. It's not your opinion. It's just a fact. You're going to get met with criticism. You know, I think people shy away from stuff like that. They're too afraid to take a stand.
Which is where we come back to the have a conviction thing.
Yeah.
That's one of the big things that I say is have a damn conviction. If you have a point, make it and stand by it.
Yeah.
It's not okay to
People are too afraid to have an opinion on something. They just go with the flow for the most part. Too many people.
Well, I had a conversation yesterday with some of the guys in the gym, and they're the guys who have like all the tattoos and stuff. And like, I'm speaking in my normal voice, and then they brought up something that could be deemed as controversial, and they did this thing where they got really quiet. I was like, "What?
What did you just say?"
He's just looking at me. I was like, "Say Christianity." Like, I just like say it. Have a conversation. And I could tell that there was a woman who was walking around who was getting offended by some of the shit he was saying, but it's because she was only picking up bits and pieces of it. Like, she would come do some calf raises, and then she would disappear for like 5 minutes. She'd come back, she'd hear some more shit out of his mouth, and it was probably one of those, like, she's putting it together in her mind, like, oh, this guy's going right to hell, and blah blah blah, and like going on and on and on.
Having the religion talk at the gym, huh?
I have the life talk everywhere.
Man, you're gutsy.
Hey man, this is I'm
it's your journey.
It's your fuck you.
It's your journey, man.
Who's the guy with the crazy afro who did the paintings in the 90s?
Bob Ross.
This world is my canvas, and I'm Bob Ross. Let me just put these happy trees here.
Those aren't very happy trees. There's 2 things in life that you can't talk to people about, and that's religion and politics.
I've noticed that I would say
you can't. You're going to offend somebody. You're going to ruffle somebody's feathers because they're never going to have the same opinion as you.
So you're saying I can't have the conversation because someone's feathers are going to get ruffled?
I'm not saying you can't. I'm saying it's a bad idea.
Yeah,
you remember Sesame Street? Good idea, bad idea.
That wasn't. No, that was Animaniacs.
Whatever,
Time for another episode of Good Idea, Bad Idea.
Yeah, sure.
Good idea, crossing the street. Bad idea, crossing the street in rush hour.
Animaniacs?
Yeah.
All right. It's not Sesame Street? Sure.
Animaniacs is the truth.
I need to brush up on my kids' shows.
They lived in that Warner Brothers tower?
Yes.
What were they? Were they cats or dogs?
I don't know.
I want to say at least she was a cat and they were probably dogs.
Do you think maybe they would just spin it and be something completely different, like muskrats?
Maybe they were like amalgamations.
Chinchillas?
Oh, Jesus.
What if they were chinchillas?
They were just deformed Mickey Mouse.
Well, let's not be deformed. Like,
they were black and white. Mickey Mouse is black and white.
It's pretty racist.
One had pants on, one had shirts and a hat.
You're just looking at their colors.
Well, I'm saying their shapes too, motherfucker. It's like a Rorschach test. What's it look like? A bat. What's this one also look like? A bat.
Yeah, maybe.
I always wondered about the Rorschach test, if it's like meant to be like some deeper meaning. Like, how many people go through, get the test, and they're just like, yes, it's ink. Yes, it's ink. Yes. And the guys are just getting mad. They're like, no, look deeper. It's deeper. What's the magic eye things where they're like, look and let your eyes rest.
That shit's fascinating.
Sailboat.
I wish like you could actually make money learning that stuff.
Yeah.
But like I love learning about stuff like that, about like what dreams are about. It's fucking fascinating.
Oh yeah.
Like it still blows my mind that like when we go to sleep at night, there's something going on in here that literally puts something in our consciousness that we're thinking about.
Alpha waves, beta waves, and theta waves.
It's crazy to think about.
Yeah, it is.
You know, and I'd love to learn about that, but you can't make a living off of being like, I'm a dream expert. You know, come to my office and I'll tell you what your dream was.
Contrary to what you're thinking, there are books where you can look it up and it'll tell you what the things in your dream mean.
But that's all opinion, though. If you look at it, there's
still a thing.
Ones.
You just said you can't do it. You can do it, Dan. Dan, this can be your thing.
Can't make a living off of it.
Dan, if Miss Cleo could make money on you calling in so she can tell you your fortune.
I think I just saw Miss Cleo outside a country suite the other day. Where's she been lately?
She was in jail.
Yeah, exactly, man. You know, you can't make a long-term living off of being a dream expert.
Did you just say a long-term living?
Long.
I think you said a long-term.
Listen,
I'm pretty sure you said long-term.
Whatever.
Oh, shit. No, I'm pretty sure, like, okay, if Tony Robbins can make money off of telling people how to be better versions of themselves, there's no reason you can't make money.
He makes money because his name's Tony Robbins, not because of what he's preaching. He could fucking
but at
sit
one
up
point
there.
he was no one, Dan.
He became somebody and then started preaching.
You're gonna make money for being Dan Lynch.
No, man.
People are gonna pay you for being Dan Lynch.
You're funny.
You're funny. You're funny.
You're a funny guy.
He's gonna have a whole series of books.
No.
You're gonna have animals in your dreams. You're gonna have geology in your dreams. You're just gonna make all these books, and there's gonna be pop-up books too.
Are you not a person that thinks it's a fascinating thing about what dreams are made of?
I was gonna tell you. So I had a dream one time.
Yeah.
Recently, that when I dream, I'm actually tapping into a different me in a different universe. So I am sleeping, another me is living the life, and I am part of the life while I'm sleeping. So every time I fall and I die in a dream, I've really died.
It's fucking deep.
It's the same thing with the multiverse theory, where whenever I make a decision that I'm like, fuck, I really want to do that, but that's not the right decision. If it's one of those decisions that it's like, I'm not going to do it just for my morality, it's like, I think about it and I'm like, I'm sorry, for my morals. I just think about it. I'm like, somewhere out there I made that decision. Go me. Like, so I'm able to just go on and do what's best for me in this life.
It's crazy to think about, though.
But that dream one gets me because, like, so I had a dream 2 weeks ago that I remember a lot of my dreams, and maybe I'm just fucking making them up, but I definitely, like, I wake up and I, like, feel like I was there.
You're not making it up, though, because it was something that was obviously in your head. What did you just come up with a random thought and just make it up? Like, it was obviously something that you remember.
I had a dream that it was Pirates of the Caribbean.
Okay.
I was on the ship.
Caribbean.
Fuck you.
Yeah, you're bragging on me about saying Wong.
The ship wrecked into the side of a giant mountain, and then somehow the mountain transformed when I jumped off onto it into a giant stack of bookcases and tables that were just stacked on each other, like stories and stories and stories high. And you know how in like video games like Halo and stuff, when you try to leave the arena, it's just like the invisible wall.
Yeah.
So that everything was stacked up to the invisible wall. Like I could still see on the other side there was water, but I just couldn't go any further than the water. And I don't like heights. So now I'm sitting like 60 stories high on these tables and bookshelves trying to figure out how to get down. And needless to say, I died because I jumped off like an idiot. So in another universe, they're having a memorial for Pirates of the Caribbean Kyle, who was dying off of bookshelves and tables.
It's pretty crazy to think about. And, like, obviously there's so many interpretations of it. You could look it up, and there'd be a reason for it. Like, one would be, like, an actual real reason why you had that dream, like some sort of subconscious thought, and then you go to another website and be like, oh, well, you had that dream because you have gay thoughts. Something weird like that. Like, it's like, no, you're secretly gay. Like, that's why you had that dream. So there's so many different things, but there's a real truth to why you had that dream.
Yeah.
Like, there's something that you're thinking about on a day-to-day basis.
Do you dream often?
Yeah, all the time. It's fucking weird because you, like, never know what's true and what's not. You, like, wake up in the middle of the night. It's like 3 a.m. You're like, that just happened? Like, was that real life? Because it's so vivid.
Yeah. Like, I need to go back to sleep. I need 8 hours,
like,
man.
And then I find myself, like, spending, like, another half hour, like, breaking down what the hell that dream was and what it was about. And I'm, like, Googling it, figuring out, like, okay, well, there's a bird there, so that means this. It means that, like, you know, I'm having, like, deep emotional issues, or I'm just gay. It's one or the other. Like, there's
Either I'm an asshole or I'm the nicest guy out there.
Yeah, you, like, look it up, and there's so many different, like, websites that'll, like, break it down for you, and you just don't know what to believe. So that's why, like, I wish I was more of an expert. But at the same time, like, shit, man, I don't have time for that. I gotta make money. I went to college. I gotta pay for bills.
I gotta pay them bills. So maybe you can reflect on this then. I tend to think that my dreams, when I'm more active and doing things that cause me to have to think, so like when I'm designing the board games, when I'm working on my invention, when I'm doing this, my brain is more active and I'm developing more problems that need to get solved.
Yeah.
So those dreams, typically, when I wake up, I have figured out the answer to a problem that I've been trying to work on, versus when I'm just more lazy, trying to do things as they come, just gym and work and wife. My dreams go like real dimensional, like just crazy, freaky shit.
So they get more vivid when you're working on something, right?
When I'm working on something, my dreams are always with purpose.
Absolutely. So that's the thing. Like, you are focused on something specifically. When you're just kind of on autopilot, your brain's just able to wander. You know, you're thinking about endless stuff. You're not thinking about it like specifically because you're just going through your day-to-day routine. But your subconscious, a billion different things are going on.
It's still amazing to me that when you dream, you see things.
Yeah.
You can close your eyes right now and think about something and see it in your fucking head.
Yeah.
You can talk to yourself in your head. Somehow you know what you sound like. You see shit and then you dream shit. So what do blind people see?
I have no idea.
What do deaf people hear? Do they have a conscious? They're soulless like gingers.
It's fucked up. But, like, it's so fucked up to think about the fact that you can remember and have memories on things that didn't happen.
Yes.
They weren't real. You weren't really there, but I remember it.
Yeah.
So was it real?
So that to me comes back to the simulation theory. You know simulation theory?
Vaguely.
Essentially, we're in the Matrix. So we are either an upload to a computer, or we are our actual hard bodies are somewhere where our brains are connected to the machine, and then we're living an illusion or something like that. So another thing for me would be like daydreaming and dreams is you're tapping into another part of another reality that is someone else's, that you haven't met, that you don't know in this life, that is also part of the Matrix system. And when you shut down and you're more aware, your whole system loads into another area while your main core is resting.
I mean, it's possible. I'm not disputing it because, I mean, fuck if I know. But I think it more has to do with the fact that we really, it's still at this point, 2017 going on 2018, don't have a full grasp of what everything's going on up there.
No.
We don't. I mean, we have a much better idea now than we did 20, 30 years ago. But, like, these things that we have are very powerful instruments. And there's a reason why we're the dominant species, why we've been able to advance as far as we've been able to advance. And we're not the ones running around the woods right now, and deers aren't the ones driving cars hitting us.
Oh my God, that would be the greatest, most ironic T-shirt ever.
What? I'm getting hit by a car
Yes,
with deer
oh
driving?
my God, that would be amazing.
You're
Why
welcome.
does nobody have that shirt?
If you're going to make it, cut me in on
I'm
it.
going to do it for the Life on Record. That'll be our first T-shirt.
There you go. That's what I'm here for.
I'm serious. I'll do it. I'll put your name on it. I'll just say D. Lynch on the bottom. Just
Perfect.
that'll be the artist's, affliction, I guess, not interpretation.
I want 20% of the profits.
20% of the profits.
That's not bad.
That's not bad.
No.
I'll give you 20% of the profits on that shirt.
Deal. Sounds good, now, so you got to do it.
That was a verbal contract. For people who know what a verbal contract is.
Yeah.
So I wanted to get to this because I remember after college, I didn't really know much about you. And then time passed. I still saw you on Facebook every now and then. I might have seen you a couple times outside of that. And then when I moved back to Florida,
You didn't delete me when it was my birthday.
I did not delete you when it was your birthday. And then when you and I finally, our schedule was coordinated, and I knew you went to my gym and I went to your gym. We started to kind of work out together. And then something happened where we just started to have these really interesting, in-depth, deep, prophetic, profound, just weird conversations, right in the middle of the gym. Yeah. Whether it be about some sort of brain buster, some superhero conflict, or just something that's think about this for a second. I'm going to melt your mind before you bench 315 real quick.
Yeah.
How did that happen to you? In your perspective, what happened?
I think that we knew each other in college, whether you thought it or not. I keep a close-knit group of friends. I was really close with Rich. I was really close with a couple other people. It was just one of those things where I didn't not like you. If I didn't like you, you definitely know. I would have told you. But yeah, go fuck yourself.
It's okay. You like me now?
Yeah, of course. I remember having to line the floors of your dorm room with towels so we could play beer pong.
Yeah, because we would we put a bed up on chairs.
Yeah, on a weekday.
And we had the wall was all done a glow light.
It's fantastic.
Allegedly, with black lights, allegedly.
It's fantastic. But I think what it had to do with is when you talk with somebody, you could obviously see things in common with them. You see that you're like-minded.
Yeah.
And we had a lot of things in common, a lot of things that we could talk about, and that's how you build a friendship.
Yeah.
You become friends with somebody that you have things in common with. It's not a rocket science. Mm-hmm. So that's why we were able to kind of connect and become friends in the gym, is because we had so many things that we could talk about.
That's one of those things that I've noticed that a lot of people have said, though, is a lot of times people who you become closer with are people who you didn't like the first time you met them. And it's because the opposites attract thing. So when you have similar people, there's conflict originally while you're trying to figure them out. So one of my best friends, Steven, I told him the first time I met him, I hated him. I was like, who the fuck is this big 330-pound asshole coming in here, giving people cookies, acting like he's the best person in the world to these people? And then over a week, that dude broke me down. And he flew up here with his family to see me, and he was one of the best men at my wedding. He wrote an awful speech that he had to delete and rewrite because, he's one of the best people that I know.
Yeah.
But up front, I did not like him. I was like, dude, you need to earn that. It's like a sassy fat chick. You need to earn that.
Man, I'm never not going to see that. Wow.
It's true though.
Yeah.
But it's one of those like, I think the reason why you don't like a lot of people is two very, very different reasons. Either one, you have totally different ideologies, or you are almost the same.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
And it's one of those like, you want to be an individual, but you want to be part of the group. So when you see somebody who else is very similar to your individualness or your status rather, you kind of push away from it. You're like, well, there can't be more than one of us.
Yeah, because you immediately are comparing yourself to that person. You know what I mean? Instead of just being friends with them, we kind of live in a world where you want to be like, oh, that person's going to replace me. I got to be better than that person. I don't want them to be around because then my friends aren't going to want to be friends with me anymore. They're going to want to be friends with that person. We're the same type of person. So, I'm replaceable in that sense. Yeah,
which makes sense. So it's one of those like I don't want to say solidarity, but sovereignty, I guess would be a better word for it.
Sure.
Yeah. It's interesting that the brain does that like right away. Yeah. Because I can name of all my close friends now how many of them I was not a fan of when I first met them. And it's probably 60% of them, which is a big chunk of these guys.
So you originally said that you didn't think I liked you when we first met. Did you like me?
I just wanted to be your friend.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, you were interested in football. This was around the time that I was really getting into football. And then listening to you and Rich talk football, I was like, oh, I can learn a lot from these guys. Because I had a lot of friends who were into it, but the way they explain the game, it's like when you go to a doctor's office and they're like, you had a rupture in your distal bicep tendon. I'm like, what does that mean in my terms? Yeah. You separated the tendon from the bone on your lower part of your bicep. But it was like you guys, the way you talked about it is you guys had a lot of knowledge about it. It wasn't just history, but it was also data. And I'm a very data person. Yeah. So you could log statistics, you could log chances and probabilities, and you guys I would just stand there and listen to you guys talk. And I was like, motherfucker, these guys are so smart about this stuff. And it was one of those like, they probably know a little bit more. So when I would hang out in the quad, it was always that side.
Yeah. And that's really
because you guys were also you guys weren't assholes either. No. I mean, I didn't think you liked me, but you guys weren't assholes over there. You guys just kind of did your thing, whatever. Yeah. You had tall guy who was a dickhead. You had the one guy who would leave campus all the time, and then you had the alcoholic. Like they were crazy there.
I like either you don't know their names or you
no,
don't
I do know their names. I just don't want to say them. But if I'm descriptive enough, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
No, I picture exactly every person that you said
in that order too.
Yeah, totally remember it.
But yeah, that was the attractiveness to me. And then there was that point where I was like, oh, he just doesn't like me. And then it was the same thing with hockey because I wanted to get into hockey. And then you guys were talking hockey. And I was
you got to remember, too, everything revolved around the quad and hanging out in the quad.
Yeah, it did.
Was in my room. I was just a follower.
Yeah, it's true. You were.
That wasn't.
That makes sense now.
I was coming from the first floor. I had my own room. I was kind of a guest up there, so I'm not going to lead discussion. I'm not going to be like, hey, Kyle, come hither. Come sit with us. Yeah. I'm along for the ride, man. I'm on that raft, and wherever the lazy river's taking me, I'm going.
Yeah, I'm a stander when I go places. I'm like, do you want to sit down? I'm like, no, I'm a stander.
You're always in the doorway. I remember that.
It's a comfort thing for me. Yeah. It's always been like that.
Because you have control.
Yeah.
You don't have to be in the room, and you don't have to necessarily invest all the way. You can just be on the outside. You can, for better terms, just play just the tip.
JTT?
Just see what it feels like.
When we went to Cheese's Ugly Sweater Party, the first half of it, I was standing the whole time.
Yeah.
It's just a comfort thing. People are like, just sit down, man, relax, take a load off. You're not providing me a relaxing environment, sir.
No, and that's a comfort thing with you. And I think that you should notice by now, though, at this point in your life, when you're standing, you're just drawing more attention.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Someone's like, we can't get through the door. You're in the way.
Excuse me, sir. You're awkwardly standing. Can you sit down?
Right on the floor. I'll just bleed everywhere for you. Yeah. You just got your blood on the floor.
See, that's what you should do is just be really ironic. When they tell you need to sit down, just sit Indian style right in the middle of the floor. Right here?
I can't sit right Indian here because of my hips.
Oh. Can I sit right here? Like right in the spot?
Sit like a weirdo with my legs straight out.
Yeah. Just feet straight out.
No, there was something that occurred to me when I asked you to come on the show and talk. Is it was because I don't even know when this happened, and I think a lot of it happened when I was in college because I spent a lot of freshman year talking with Jameson.
Okay.
Because he was the only atheist on campus that I had ever really met that was a true atheist. Yeah. And we used to have, this is when I thought I was religious, is we would have conversations back and forth, and he would get his side and I'd get my side, and we would have conversations for hours and hours. And that to me that's when I realized that I was a conversationalist and that I was somebody who wanted to learn through talking rather than looking it up myself.
Yeah, it's the best way to learn. Get your fucking phone.
Yeah, it's probably, that's the hospital. That's okay. They'll call back. Yeah. So at what point in your life did you realize that you were more of a conversationalist? Because you'll see it, like, I don't know if you ever worked an office job, how many people there are that actually talk with people. Most of the time it's just, hey, you want to pass me that document?
Well, I'll be honest. I think that it never still hasn't really occurred to me. I think that I've just always noticed that people sometimes gravitate towards me and talk to me more than other people. I still don't necessarily think of myself as a conversationalist. I just think that I'm somebody that's approachable and that's easy to talk to.
Yeah.
Wherever job I've ever had, people have always kind of gone for me for advice and want to talk to me. And I've always thought it was really odd, even if I was just new at something.
Yeah.
I started with Pepsi, and it was like maybe the second or third week of my job. And I had guys that have been there for years calling me and asking me for advice.
Holy shit.
And wanting to just talk to me. And I was just like, at first I was like, it's kind of weird. Like, what the fuck? Like, I don't know anything more than these guys. And then I realized it was more me just talking to them and giving them assurance on things, and they like talking to me and they like feeling better about what they were doing.
Yeah.
And that's when it started to kind of click for me that, maybe I'm more of a leader than I am a follower when I was growing up.
Yeah.
Instead of being like the guy that was just going along for the ride, maybe I need to take more of a leadership stance as far as being friends with people. And that's kind of where the change occurred for me. It was probably maybe sophomore, junior year in college.
Yeah.
And I started to realize that, people like to be around me. People like to talk to me. So maybe I need to be a little bit more open instead of just going along and just sitting with Rich in his room or, sitting with my buddies growing up and just doing whatever they want to do. Maybe I need to decide on what things I want to do.
Well, so I had my buddy Norm on a few episodes ago, and one of the things that he brought up is that he was an observer for most of his life. And I noticed that after that, I was more of an observer. And from what I'm gathering from you, you were more of an observer.
Yeah.
And so from my perspective, this is just my little sample size of people. I've noticed that more of the people who are more reluctant or they're less forceful when they're younger are the ones who develop in a way where they have something to say.
Yeah.
They haven't just experienced it. They've seen it. They've learned it. They've looked at the different parts of it. You could have seen 7 people do the exact same thing 7 different ways, whereas one person will have seen one person do it one way.
Yeah, I just think that being an observer isn't necessarily a mark of intelligence. I don't want to sound conceited with that, but I think that it gives you a sense of who a person is when they're growing up. I definitely was an observer. I think I was an observer because I was looking for ways to fit in better. I constantly felt not necessarily out of place, but not where I wanted to be.
Yeah.
So I would observe to try and get to where I wanted to be. Pick up on social cues, what people liked, what people didn't like, so I knew what to talk about. It was just how my mind worked.
Yeah.
And I think that that's what's helped me in my profession, is being able to observe people and gather what they're talking about to reference at a later point. So I know not to talk about a certain thing, not to reference a certain thing, to speak to them in a certain manner. So I would say that, I could gather how, like, being a follower, especially growing up, you could definitely be more of an observer than somebody that is more of in a leadership role.
It's just an interesting dichotomy or just how the development works. Like, so being in Scouts, when you hit a certain point, they want you to take over, like, leadership roles. So they want you to either lead the troop itself or lead your group of guys or something like that, and have your multiple breakdowns and shit like that. Yeah. And they want you to be it, and they want you to be it early so you can kind of learn leadership. And apprehensively, I did the same thing. I didn't want to do it. And then my second year in, I am an assistant, leader in my small group. And then the following year, I'm a leader of my actual line. And then the following year, I'm the leader of the troop.
Wow.
So I'm like 13, 14, leading guys who are 15, 16, 17, 13, 12.
Yeah.
And then after that point, the whole rest of the time I was always an assistant troop leader.
Yeah.
It was one of those, like, I didn't want to be it. Like, I enjoy it. I was like, oh my God, look at all the power you get. The power. But, like,
immediately thought of Gollum from Lord of the Rings.
Yes, the process. But it was just one of those, like, I didn't want it.
Yeah.
And I ended up doing it, and it was because everybody else wanted me to do it. So it's like, you don't really understand at the time, and I still don't understand as an adult why the hell they were like, dude, do it.
Yeah.
And then it occurred to me one day, it was one of those, like, you're relatable.
Yeah, you're easy to talk to. It's hard to have that self-awareness when it comes to stuff like that, and just know that you're that type of person. I think something needs to happen in your life to give you that idea or that thought that that's who you are. I think it'd be pretty conceited if you were just like, oh, I'm definitely somebody that's really relatable. People like to talk to me. If you just knew that off your hand, I think you'd be a dick.
Well, it's a necessary apprehensiveness.
Yeah.
So when you know that you have to be apprehensive or you are apprehensive, it kind of forces you, no matter what, whether it's a moment that you need to be or you don't need to be, you're always double checking and triple checking and making sure that it's the right thing to do. Yeah. Even if it's like, I'm going to cross the street. You know you're going to cross the street, but then you're sitting there going, well, there's a car coming down the road right now. He looks like he's going 45. We're in a 35. The street's X distance. Like you're running it through your head. You're like, do I need to be apprehensive? Should I do it? And then that comes to those times where like you're driving and you're waiting to make a left-hand turn. You're like, fuck, I could have made that turn. Because you just have that little apprehensiveness in your head.
Yeah, you sounds like you're a deep thinker when it comes to driving.
I'm a deep thinker when it comes to everything.
Everything? See, I'm thankful that there's certain things in life that I'm not that way in. I definitely think too much sometimes, but when it comes to day-to-day stuff, I'm able to shut it off. It feels great.
It sucks. Like at my new job, I've been thinking of ways to optimize the time on the car, so I can take the car as quickly as possible, and then finish it, and I still have enough time allotment in case I still need to do extra stuff.
Wow.
So like they teach you how to do the car. So you do the car, you do the run through, and it's one of those, okay, I understand how this works. And then instantly your brain goes click, 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 click. Things are not running optimally. And then you run back through and you're like, all right, I can make this faster. I can make this more efficient. If I can train myself to do this properly, I'll have my system down and everything will have gotten taken care of every single time, as opposed to running the old system where it involves like 6, 7, 8, 9 laps around a car. I can do the same thing in 3 laps.
Yeah.
And cover the whole bases to the point where I was getting there, and obviously this hurts, so now I'm slowed back down, but it's just one of those, like, it just instantly goes. It's the same thing like when we're at the gym and there's 3 of us. How can we do this most efficiently? Well, the weight change is going to take orders like this. You need to have the next strongest guy in line here. We're going to bump up over here. We're going to make sure your differences are here. We're going to actually change these gaps here. I don't need to have those plates on. Let's just use these rebalances because it'll be quicker to change them off and on. And it's just, the brain's is always doing stupid shit on me.
Yeah, that's...
Pump the brains, the brakes.
Yeah, I mean, I can relate to it sometimes, but it sounds like you're definitely on another level.
I think you do it all the time. I see it in your eyes.
It's really romantic that you look into my eyes.
In your eyes, the life you live, your eyes.
Who sings that?
I don't know, but every time I hear that song, I think of marsupials having sex.
What?
There was a Disney movie where that song was playing. The In Your Eyes song.
Okay.
It was one of like the early 2000s ones, and it might have been Tarzan, I want to say.
And
but there's a sequence where all like
the
lemurs and shit, they're jumping through the trees to get to each other, and they're crawling up to private parts of the trees. And as a small child in 2000, I knew what they were doing. And as an adult, every time that song comes on, I know that it's leading to Tarzan fornicating with Jane and marsupials banging in trees going, ooh, 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 ah, ah, ah.
Maybe they're just dancing, dude. Maybe they're just sharing bananas.
Maybe you're just being ignorant. Sharing bananas, he says. Take this plantain, girl.
Maybe.
Wrong side of the country.
Maybe, man.
Well, yeah, it's ingrained in there.
Yeah.
You gotta wonder too, when you're referring to the brain thing, I was remembering like that I've had dreams from when I was a small child, and somebody said like as you get older, the dreams will change, memories will change, and stuff like that. And your brain can put you in a situation that you weren't part of it.
Yeah. I
remember them the exact same way from the first time I remember them.
Yeah, you're going to remember the dreams the same way. And especially if it was something that, like, kind of shocked you or kind of left an imprint on you. But, yeah, I mean, dreams completely are related to your subconscious. They're the thoughts that you're not thinking of in your head. So there's something right now that's in your head that you're not consciously aware of.
Yeah.
And it's going to come out in a dream, you know?
What do you do with it?
I don't know, man.
What if there's a way to archive your dreams?
Like save them?
Yeah.
That'd be a day where it happens, I would imagine.
It's like I was talking with the device. I realized that there is a device. It's called a fucking headset.
Yeah.
That I could sync to my phone and I could just talk into it.
It's definitely a new thing. It's new technology.
I wanted to make it more complicated than it was. Use something that uses brainwaves that hooks to my head and it just sends it through like Bluetooth to my phone.
This new amazing technology.
It's like Spock. It's telepathy to my phone. Mm-hmm. Oh my god, that's what we'll call it. We'll call it the telepathine.
There's just got to be some way that you could just...
Yeah, it's called hire someone to walk behind me and write down the shit that I say.
Well, that...
I'm a squire.
If you could like save what goes on in your head,
yeah,
and save it to like some sort of disc. And then, because you imagine if people were able to study this shit, we could definitely come up with more of a firm grasp on what the fuck's going on in our heads.
Do you think we'll hit a point where like you can go for a sleep study and they hook you up to something and they have a display, and in the display,
without a doubt,
do you think someone's gonna be watching your dreams? They're gonna be like, "Holy shit,
this guy's fucked.
This guy needs to get put down now."
This guy had a shitty childhood.
Oh, there's his uncle again.
Yeah, this guy's definitely gay.
It's always uncle. You're so bad. That's so fucked up. I did need to ask, where'd you start to like comic books and stuff? Because we've had so many superhero conversations, and it's one of those, like, to me, like I never know where people fell in love with comics and
people never they look at me and I think there's a preconceived judgment that I'm not that type of guy that would like comic books. I fucking love comic books.
Yeah, buddy.
It's my dad. My dad's probably been the biggest influence on my likes growing up. Believe it or not, I was a big Captain America guy because that's like his favorite. And then I like came to the realization, I was like, this fucking guy, if I get a lucky shot off, I could fucking kill him. Like, what kind of superhero is that?
He's a street level hero.
Fuck that. Iron Man's way cooler. So
as Thanos stands right there.
Fuck, can't wait for that movie.
It's gonna be amazing.
Yeah, can't wait, and definitely going to see it with my dad. But
I can't wait for the Venom movie.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be pretty cool too. But no, I would definitely say like sometime early, like elementary school, that's where I started like comic books. I was never a big collector. I was just somebody that liked to read. I would read it and move on, get something else.
Did you watch the animated series?
Oh, hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
X-Men was the biggest series that I watched, probably.
Did you rewatch Spider-Man?
No, I watched a lot. It's on Hulu?
It's on Hulu.
Son of a bitch. I watched that a lot, too.
I binge-watched that one and the X-Men animated series.
I think that's why, at least now, I'm more of a Marvel guy than DC, because I don't really watch DC stuff.
There wasn't very many good ones. Like, there was the Batman animated series, there was the Superman animated series, and then...
But even as a kid, I was like, man, fuck Batman. He always has some sort of answer, some sort of bullshit for everything. There could be a fucking asteroid hitting Earth and be like, nope, I got this thing in my belt that just gets rid of asteroids the size of Texas. Like, here you go.
It's a good thing I brought my anti-merry-go-round spray.
Yeah, it's like, come on, man.
Adam West was the shit.
This is bullshit. And, like, Superman's bullshit. And his whole premise to the comic book is bullshit.
Yeah.
There's a lot more realism with Marvel, in my opinion. I mean, I get it. Thor, God of Thunder, it's bullshit. But, like, for the most part, there's some level of realism to all the main characters in the Avengers.
Marvel has more street-level heroes.
Yeah, and it's definitely more militaristic, I would say, too. And it just, there's more of a real feel to it, where there's a lot more gods and, like, mythical people, DC, and
DC's got all the gods. They've got duplicates of everything, dude.
Yeah, I've never really been down with all that bullshit.
Well, so what I noticed is that with DC, they have a lot of street level characters, but their street level characters do ridiculous things all the time.
Yeah.
And with Marvel, I felt like what they did is like, so they'll give you the Fantastic Four. They'll give you 4 heroes. Okay, I want to learn about these 4 heroes. I'll watch and I'll read the Fantastic Four. The Avengers, for an extended period of time, you're going to be X group.
Yep.
DC, you go to the Justice League, it's like, hey, we're 7. Nope, we're 8. We're 9. We're 150. And you're like, whoa, you need to pump the goddamn brakes, dude.
Well, and the thing is, when you create these characters in DC that are, like, undefeatable, then you have to create villains that are fucking undefeatable. And it's like, what's the point? What's the point in all this? Like, you can't ever win. You can't ever lose. Like, it's just kind of whatever.
It's one of the reasons I enjoy the Smallville series that I started, is because like he's getting all of his abilities. He's slowly learning them and shit. And every single episode, somebody's got a brick of kryptonite to smash him in the face, and you're like,
how's kryptonite that accessible? Let's be honest here.
So when he lands in Smallville, he's carrying with him radiation from the planet that exploded, and the meteor rocks that followed him land all around Smallville.
Okay.
So that's why there's so much kryptonite in Smallville itself. And then people in this TV series interpretation was they're affected. Certain people at certain times were affected by the radiation.
Okay.
So, but that's why there's kryptonite everywhere.
Yeah, I guess. It's always fucking bullshit.
Well, it's like I'm a big fan of...
Superman's undefeatable. He's amazing, but kryptonite completely kills him and wastes him, but it never actually kills him. Like, the only time he ever actually dies is Doomsday, and he doesn't stay dead. He comes fucking back.
No, because of the radiation from the Yellow Sun. I found out... So, remember when you were telling me, you're like, well, they had to have known that Earth would have been amazing. Fucking Jor-El was on Earth like 50 or 60 years before Clark was sent to Earth.
See? There you go. He's like, oh, this place is fucking awesome.
I'm gonna go have sex with white women. Americans.
White women? Racist.
Yeah, I know. I instantly said, I was like, shit.
Racist.
But yeah, no, he came back like 50 years beforehand, and then he finally... So they must age really slow on that planet.
Maybe, probably. I mean,
that doesn't explain why Clark ages so fast on Earth and then just stops aging.
Yeah, that's kind of bullshit. I think it's more of a comic book writing thing.
Probably.
To be honest with you, I think they just don't want to have a superhero look too old and unrelatable.
Because comics.
Yeah, because DC.
Because DC.
I mean, think about it. Like, okay, Superman died, but he really didn't stay dead. But like, if you really look at it, compare to Marvel, DC guys never really die. They never really go through major, issues, major flights.
Yeah.
Cap got fucking shot in the head.
Cap's died 3 times. Steve Rogers? Yeah.
He's dead.
Yeah, he's dead.
I mean, Logan, they've had some really, fucked up shit happen, like with Wolverine. There's constantly stuff in Marvel that kind of gives you the idea that these guys can definitely be killed.
I think it's more the fact that they hand the mantle off more frequently in Marvel.
Yeah.
So, there's been... I want to say 4 different Iron Men.
Yeah.
Or it might be 5. So War Machine was Iron Man. Tony Stark was Iron Man. Pepper Potts was Iron Man. There's the new girl.
Yep.
She's Iron Man. And then I'm missing someone else. But that's 5 people.
Well, that speaks to my point on realism. I mean, especially with Tony, his biggest vice is alcoholism. He's constantly dealing with problems in his personal life, which causes him not to be Iron Man. Also, given the fact that he ages, I think it's great that they do stuff like that. That he can't constantly be this guy that's fucking flying around in a tin suit fighting people. He has to have other people do it too. But yeah, I mean, you go and you look at something like the Old Man Logan series too. It's fantastic how realistic it was, and a major character like the Hulk was fucking killed.
Yeah,
it was killed in a really gory fashion. Marvel constantly for me has always been the comic book series that definitely has been more attractive in the sense that it's more realistic. Even though I get it, it's comic books, it's never going to be realistic, but I could definitely see it happening a lot more than I can ever see DC stuff happening.
So the comparison here, as you were saying stuff, and you mentioned characters dying and shit like that. So Abomination, right? Do you think that Abomination and Doomsday were a comparative purpose? Because I would say, in a way, other than flight and heat vision and stuff, the Hulk is extremely similar to Superman. Ridiculous speed, can jump super duper far, almost nigh unbeatable, and it's radiation that gives him his powers. Superman, same sort of story, and then you get the development of Abomination, you get the development of Doomsday, and those to me are 2 of my favorite villains. Fucking god damn Doomsday, holy shit.
I mean, the only difference I would say with Superman Hulk is I think you're looking at the fact that Bruce Banner is still Bruce Banner at sometimes, and Clark Kent is still, a big, massive guy just wearing fucking glasses.
Yeah.
That's really the main difference. The Hulk can't ever really assimilate into society when he's at his true form. So he's kind of an outcast.
Except when he's Joe Fix-It. And then he becomes a bouncer.
Joe fucking Fix-It. But, you know what I mean, though? The Hulk can never be a normal person.
Yeah.
Because that's... Whenever he gets mad, he turns into a fucking raging
Tell that
beast.
to all the bodybuilders out nowadays.
Yeah. Okay. But Superman can still have a normal life with Lois. He can still be relatively normal and live a normal life. I think that's the major difference between the 2 characters. But I definitely see some definite parallels between those 2. And to speak on your point with Abomination and Doomsday, yeah, definitely very similar characters, and they're built similarly in the sense that they're supposed to be the hero's opposite for the most part.
It seems like a constant. There's always that one. Oh, I mean, then you can even go as far as to say Superman's real opposite is Bizarro.
I fucking hate that.
That was the craziest
So
thing to me when you realize that Bizarro Superman is just Superman from another dimension. You're like, come on, dude.
This is fucking dumb.
Yeah. Well, so I've been trying to figure this out because there's multiple different strains of kryptonite, right?
Yeah.
So the only thing I can assume is that it's because they were different base minerals that were affected by the radiation.
Correct.
So there's the green kryptonite, which weakens them. There's the red kryptonite, which makes them super crazy and whatever spread.
Isn't that what created Bizarro?
I don't think so. I think it was blue kryptonite.
Maybe. See, it's too many of them. Too many to keep track.
The black kryptonite's my favorite. So, in the tattoo here is going to be Black Suit Supergirl. Because when Lex Luthor's fighting her, he has this giant gauntlet on his robot. And he's got 5 different strands of kryptonite here. And he's got the green, he's got yellow, blue, red, and black. And as he's fighting her, he's like, let's see what these do. And he opens the black one up and he punches her. And he punches her so hard that the negative part of her comes out. as her normal side is down, and Black Kryptonite pretty much makes them like no holds bar, doesn't fucking matter, gonna kill you. You can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
And it's like, so what are the other kryptonites, and where the hell did you find those? Like,
Seriously.
unless he made them, I can,
Hey, can't put it past Lex.
Yeah.
Lex makes everything.
It's interesting though that at one point he takes over the Superman mantle.
Weird. Again, weird. Why do it?
There's a lot of characters like that. Like who's the robot that takes over the Superman mantle? Remember he was fuck.
What was it, robotic Superman?
He was cyborg Superman.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about, but it's dumb.
Because we had this conversation about it, and I hated him. Hank Henshaw.
Yes. Hank was actually kind of cool. I'll give you that one. But Lex being Superman makes no fucking sense.
Why?
Literally, that's Lex's purpose, was to defeat Superman. So why become him?
So, I've never really understood this because I'm not a very big Superman fan just because the nigh unbeatable thing is just like, come on, get over it. But if Lex knows who he is, why doesn't he expose him?
I don't know. It's a good question. I mean, I don't think that's the purpose. I think the purpose is that with Lex, he has this superiority complex, and he doesn't want to ever accept the fact that Superman is, like you said, unbeatable.
Yeah.
He's not from this planet. He's better than everybody on Earth, essentially. And Lex wants to take him down a notch.
Yeah.
Similar to the whole Batman versus Superman aspect, where Batman wanted to show Superman that he was, in fact, vulnerable.
I want to make a god bleed.
Yeah. Batman talks like that. But with Lex, I never understood why he took up the mantle, because the whole purpose...
I thought it was from guilt. Because I thought he pretty much killed him, and then he was like, well, he goes, society needs Superman.
That's so convoluted, though, because, again, he's supposed to be the bad guy. Why does he have guilt? Why does he have guilt for being a bad guy?
Batman was killing Superman in the new movie, and then he goes, Martha! And he's like, oh, I'm so sorry.
Cinematically, though,
our mom's names were the same.
Cinematically, though, DC movies are shit. I mean, I can't speak on Wonder Woman. I haven't watched it yet. But I really can't. I mean, Suicide Squad sucked.
I think Disney just needs to buy the DC franchise as well. They could probably do it so good.
Disney has the money. But, Man of Steel wasn't that good.
Let's just get James Cameron to do it.
Dude, too bad they make an Avatar.
I don't care about Avatar.
Should.
I don't.
It's about Earth, man. It's going to be like our planet.
It's not.
We're taking all the resources.
It's not like Earth at all.
Yeah, it is. It's symbolic.
It's symbolic, but I feel like when you have certain directors and shit like that do really good jobs, you shouldn't be handing the really good work to shitty fucking directors.
What are you talking about? Avatar?
No, I'm talking the superhero movies. These are
Snyder
ridiculous, iconic, and people love these. And I heard so much shit talked about the new Star Wars movie. Did you see it? Yeah. Is it good? Everybody's talking so much shit about it. I'm like, how can a Star Wars movie be bad?
It's not awful, but it's not good.
Really?
That's not.
Why? Do you feel like they're just pushing them out too fast?
No, I understand where the director Johnson was trying to go. I think they're trying to go in a different direction, because you can only milk the whole Chewbacca, Han Solo, Millennium Falcon, Leia, Luke Skywalker thing for so long. You have to develop new characters.
Yeah.
You have to develop people that you give a shit about, especially kids. Me and my dad went to go watch the movie, and 2 rows down from us, there was a whole row of kids.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, these kids probably don't give a shit about Luke Skywalker.
No, because they don't know who he is.
They really don't give 2 shits about, Chewbacca to an extent. Maybe they've seen these movies, maybe they haven't. Maybe they're just kind of new to all this. So they're going to be the ones that care about the Finns, the Reys. There's a new character, Rose, that's kind of a love interest.
For who?
For, ironically enough, Finn.
I thought you were going to say Ray. I was about to be like, wow, they're getting ballsy. Go Disney.
No, there's a triangle going on now.
Oh, shit. Wait, does Ray like him?
Ray definitely likes him, but they threw in a thing where Poe was like, hey, what up, Ray?
Who's Poe?
Poe's the X-Wing pilot. He's fucking sweet. He's got cool hair.
Was he in episode 7?
He was in Force Awakens. He was in the beginning scene where he was on that planet and Kylo captures him. And then Finn rescues him.
Yeah. You're right.
Poe's a really good pilot. And he's definitely a Force user because of the way he's able to fly.
Yeah, but everybody can be a Force user.
I think that he's going to be somebody that they reference more, though, because of him being a Force user. And you're right, though. I'm not going to give you too many spoilers, but there's a scene at the end where this kid is at this horse stable. And, it's them talking about the fact that, the rebellion could possibly be over. What are we going to do? And like there's a kid, he's like sweeping up the horse stable, and like he uses the force to get the broom in his hand. It's like a little subtle thing. It's like cute and everything, but it like shows you that like there's others out there.
Well, do you think those are descendants of the Jedis who fled and hid during the?
Yeah, that's what I think they're aiming at, is the fact that like, you know, it's the changing of the guard. The old guard's leaving. We're going to start developing these new characters, and I respect the fact that Johnson did that. I mean, I think that Force Awakens was probably a better movie than Last Jedi, but I think that it was a very safe choice that Abrams did. He kind of just stuck with the script, fucking, you know, introduced you to a few new characters, but also had a lot of the old characters. Yeah. It was kind of status quo. Johnson definitely took this in a different direction. He could have probably done it in a little bit better way, and it could have probably been a little bit more serious. I think he tried a little too hard to be comical with some of the scenes. But I think that ultimately The Last Jedi, how it's going to be perceived, is going to have to do with what they're going to do with the next movie and how Abrams does with that one, because he's going to direct the third one.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
So are you part of the same kind of gang that I'm part of, where it's like we wish that they would have turned 7, 8, and 9, the books, just stuck to the books and finished the series?
No.
Why?
I'm not the type of person where you got to stick to the books.
No? No. I mean, I felt like you were so pressed for 6 movies. You did them like the books. You might as well just lock the series out and then go do what you're going to fucking do.
What is this, Twilight? We got to stick to the book? Is this Harry Potter?
Like, when you make 9 core books and you do 6 out of 9.
I don't think you have to. I'm fine with it, honestly.
It bothers me, man.
I mean, were you upset with Logan, the movie, that it didn't stick to the script?
I was more upset that they chose to cast X-23 as a 10-year-old girl, because her bones are laced with adamantium, which means she cannot grow anymore, which means if we see her again and she's any bigger, no.
Because movies, man.
Fuck you.
Because movies.
Her ligaments just get way bigger. She's got really short, awesome bones, but these ligaments, they're just so huge.
Yeah.
Because I thought she was supposed to be part of like Stryker's program, and that's when we really find her. It's like she's an assassin or something.
She's not part of Stryker's program. It's an offshoot.
Offshoot, yeah.
In Mexico, of course, because everything bad happens in Mexico. But yeah, her and a bunch of other
the ball's got 10 feet higher.
But her and some other hoodlums are in this Mexican hospital, and they're like experimenting on them and shit. And they make her into a mini Wolverine, and I totally get it.
Some crazy assassin.
You're right. Like, it's bullshit. Like, she's never gonna be able to grow. Like, it's fucking metal. But like, it's movies, man.
They treated her like she was a feral child in that movie. She's like, I don't talk to anybody. You're like, come on, bitch.
She definitely does talk. She just talks in Spanish for the most part.
She's like, I'm gonna front on Wolverine. That's all that was. That was just a hard front the whole time.
Pretty much.
She's like, do you know me well enough, Dad? Me? I'm sorry, not Dad. Me, because it's technically him with just a vagina.
Fuck, dude.
I'm serious.
Fuck.
What? Why is that fucked?
Dude, she's like 10.
But it's him as a girl.
I know. But like, she's 10.
So she's like talking to him. She's like, you're 50. Shut up. You look like you're 50. Sorry.
Logan was definitely a little bit more cultured and civilized than her. Like, she was like shoveling food by like her hands.
Yeah.
And he was like, hey, use this fork.
I loved Lev Schreiber, by the way, as Wolverine, as a Sabretooth.
Oh, God. I wish they could have done something with him and Logan. It would have been great.
I think he's such a great actor.
Oh, yeah. He's underrated.
And it was great. Like, as the movie progressed, you got to see him get more crazy. His fingernails just got massively long, and you're like, this guy's getting twisted as shit now. He
got twisted as shit in the beginning opening scenes when they showed him in Vietnam.
Yeah,
like, he lost it then. He was just killing his own fucking comrades.
Well, once again, we bring up the Sabretooth thing, is he's one of the few characters to have had adamantium put on and taken off more times than anybody else, like multiple times.
People don't like to hear it, but he's a better character than Wolverine.
What is it? He had it put on twice and taken off twice, or put on 3 times and taken off 3 times?
I think it was put on twice, taken off twice.
Because the one time it was taken off by Magneto.
Yes.
And then I don't remember who did it the other time. But it's like, holy shit.
Yeah, he survived it.
Because he did it to Wolverine, and Wolverine was pretty much incapacitated for such a long time.
He became feral
Wolverine. Yeah. And then I still love Wolverine versus Galactus, where Galactus is like, oh, you're the unbeatable one. And he turns his bones into rubber, and you're like, oh my God.
Thanos.
Thanos, sorry. Thanos.
Which
sits right there.
Which would be awesome if they did that in Infinity Wars, but it's not going to happen.
I'm hoping they bring in some of the characters.
They're not bringing in my dude, Hugh Jackman, just to be like, hey, I'm here. It's my first time in a Marvel movie, and just done.
as much as I liked Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, I really wish they would have stuck with the script. They would have picked somebody who's really short, really stocky, really muscular, like Danny DeVito on steroids.
No.
I'm the Wolverine.
Honestly, that's one of the ones that I think that they really got right with Hugh Jackman.
I don't think he's too big. He's too tall. He's too macho.
Man.
Wolverine was more like everybody's a suspect at all fucking times. It didn't matter. And he's like...
Chris Evans can't be Captain America because he's already Human Torch.
No, because it was Fox Studios and it didn't count.
It definitely does count because I remember him in a movie.
Damn. Well, Ben Affleck was...
Batman.
And...
Oh, Daredevil. Fuck, that was an awful
Different
movie.
universes, though.
That was an awful movie.
When you break Michael Clark Duncan's knees, you break my knees.
Yeah. R.I.P. Michael Clark Douglas.
Yeah, R.I.P. Michael Clark. Every time I say someone who's passed away, you always do that. R.I.P. man.
Yeah. He's in the big jail in the sky now.
Come on, boss man. He's just got his mouse. He's like, damn, I'm stereotyped my whole life. Pigeonholed.
Hold my hand, boss.
Oh, my hand. Oh, yeah, because didn't he have kidney stones or something? And he cured him, and he's like, bugs. Tom Hanks, right?
Yeah.
Tom Hanks had the... He's like, oh, I can't pee. And Michael Clark Duncan's like,
I'm pretty sure.
Grab him right by the pussy.
Pretty sure that's not how it went at all. But I'm going to go with it. I think it'd be great if it did happen like that.
That movie is, like, not underrated, but I just felt like it was too long.
Yeah, I only watched it like once or twice. I love me some Tom Hanks, but the movie was too long.
What got me, though, is that's a Stephen King movie. It's not really a horror movie, really.
It's a Tom Hanks movie.
It's a Tom Hanks movie.
Tom Hanks is in it. It's a Tom Hanks movie.
Damn.
Yo, man, Tom Hanks made me watch that movie where, like, he was that foreigner in a fucking airport.
Which was actually not bad.
It was a great movie. But it was a horrible
freaky
concept.
As shit. You're like, yo, who is letting this homeless motherfucker live in this airport?
But, like, think about there's the general concept is boring as fuck. This guy's stuck in an airport. Yeah, it's a movie. It's a good movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, but only it's because of Tom Hanks.
They put Catherine Zeta-Jones in it, so everybody's going to watch it.
If it was anybody else, that movie would have sucked.
It's so true, though. Mm-hmm. But once again, he did really good at that movie.
Yeah, I felt bad for him. I'm like, yo, send this dude home.
Yeah. Well, he couldn't go home because of the war, but it's like, at least put this guy up in, like, a one-star hotel or something.
No, get him, like, an embassy suite
Give
or
him
something.
some food stamps or some shit.
Fuck, help him out, man.
They're all so rude to this guy. Like, there should have been protocols in this country for that situation, but there wasn't.
Yeah.
Just help him out. Help a brother out.
It's like he's a piece of luggage.
Didn't he have to teach himself English, too?
Bro, I haven't seen that movie in probably a year or so. But he had to do... Basically, they finally let him go home.
Well, the war stopped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like a 10-day war or something.
Catherine Zeta-Jones is like, wait, you live here?
Yeah.
What kind of badass are you? You live in an airport.
They, like, went to dinner, which was so cute.
Like, they have a
I think it was more than 10 days because, like, she, like, left on a business trip and then fucking came back and he was like, yeah, I'm still totally here.
No, she was a flight attendant.
She was a flight attendant.
It was a long time. It was months.
Yeah, she, like, came back. She's like, yo, like, you need to, like, go home or something.
Yeah, no, it was months.
Yeah, that's right.
I can't remember where it was like near Croatia or something. One of those countries
over there. It was a made-up country because they didn't want to.
Was it made up?
Yeah.
Oh, that breaks my heart. I was like, man, this is really happening to Tom Hanks.
I'm almost like 90% positive it was a made-up country.
Poor inner movie Tom Hanks getting stuck in an airport. He could have probably chose a better airport to get stuck into. He'd been like, I'm flying out to other airports, maybe LA.
What was he stuck in?
I want to say like Jersey or something like that.
Newark is a good airport.
Not Newark, the other one. Was it in JFK? Might have been JFK.
I don't know. Can't remember. I've never been to JFK.
I did want to ask about your running for town council. So, like, you said that they approached you, right?
Yeah, sure.
What was your platform? How were you running? Were you all word of mouth? Like, it just seems so. Like, I don't know anybody else who's really
ever ran for politics before.
Like, I know of people who are local and stuff, but like.
So basically, they approached me. I was obviously a Republican. I ran as under the Republican Party.
How did they find you?
Just word of mouth.
Just
honestly.
a map.
My landlord is involved with some people with the Republican Party. She's talked to me. She's talked to me about issues in the community. Asked me my opinion. I gave it to her. So she invited me to like a Republican Party in the local community. Mm-hmm. They talked to me. They asked me about what my thoughts were as far as things going on.
Yeah.
And they immediately were like, "Oh, you're the type of person we want to have run. You know, it'd be great." So I went for it. I mean, shit. You know, You only live once, right?
Yeah.
I still have signs that say, Dan Lynch for city council.
Hang them on the wall.
My name was on an actual ballot.
If you give me one, I'll put it up down here.
All right, I'll give you one.
I'm gonna start putting stuff up from everybody who comes on the show.
Yeah, I got one. I'll give you two.
Fuck yeah.
But as far as what I ran for, I would say my platforms were probably one. The city of Canandaigua was definitely short-staffed on firefighters, full-time firefighters.
Oh, really?
There's definitely some volunteers and some good volunteers. But the thing with volunteers is they have to be supported by full-time firefighters. Yeah. We had a fire in our community, Nolan's. It's burnt to the ground. Oof. There was some things that happened where the firefighters weren't able to get in. We didn't have enough on staff. We used to have 12 full-time firefighters. I believe now we're at like maybe 8.
Is that for the whole village?
Whole city of Canandaigua.
The whole city of Cedags. Wow.
Yeah, Canandaigua's not a huge city.
Yeah, but that's still like, if you get 2 fires, man,
there's a lot of people.
That's it.
Yeah, so they definitely, I feel like, are short-staffed on the fire department, so I wanted to work to fix that. I wanted to get more firefighters on staff. We're currently having an opioid crisis in Canandaigua.
Like the heroin?
Yeah, we're losing a lot of young kids. Losing a lot of young kids to it. They're able to access it for $10 a bag.
Where did it come from? Like, I don't remember heroin being really prevalent when we were younger. Maybe I'm unaware, but...
No, it definitely wasn't. I wish I had an answer. I think if we had an answer, I think we'd be much closer to stopping it. Yeah. But it's definitely getting into communities at a rapid pace. We're seeing kids die younger and younger.
That's crazy.
Use it at a younger age. So I definitely wanted to, if I was elected, work to fix that.
Yeah.
And then 3, just general trying to improve Canandaigua and bring more commerce to the area. On our main street, we have plenty of storefronts that are vacant. We really haven't had a lot of new and exciting businesses. And I think that part of the reason is our own codes and policies that we have in the city of Canandaigua kind of hamper those things. So I wanted to bring some new ideas to the community to try and reinvigorate our main street, bring some more money to our area, and unfortunately, I wasn't able to win. I've been already asked to try and run again.
Yeah, buddy.
Whether or not that happens or not, we'll see. But it was definitely a nice experience.
It's cool that you did it all on a budget. You did it the Dan Lynch way. You didn't do fundraising or anything like that. You did it all through word of mouth. You did it based on who you are, and you did it based on your platform. Yeah. You didn't need to go put money in anybody's pockets or anything like that. And that's so, like, for getting that close for someone who's like, you're not really in the spotlight. No. Nobody really knows who you are, but just based on your platform.
Yeah, that's really what it was. I started my new job like 2 weeks before the election. That kind of hampered me as far as being able to go door to door and talk to people. I spent almost a week in Buffalo training. Yeah. So I think that's part of the reason why I wasn't able to win. Yeah. But I was able to secure 236 votes, which was, more than a lot of other Republicans, because Canandaigua, as it is already a very liberal city. Yeah. So it was already kind of a tough hill for me to climb. So I'm proud of the race that I ran. I was professional. I didn't slander my opponent or didn't slander the opposing party. So it was definitely something I was proud of how I ran. And the results are what they are.
Did you get to run a debate?
Oh no!
Oh come on! You gotta get the debate next year. I want to go to the debate.
It was. It was something where I had some questions that I answered in the newspaper. It wasn't anything direct as far as an actual debate.
And then I remember you were talking to me about that giant hotel or something like that. I finally noticed it's up. Is it working? Is it done? Is it complete?
No. They haven't even restarted construction on it yet.
Because there's another building there that wasn't there when I used to work out in Canandaigua, and it looks like a giant apartment complex. That's huge.
Pinnacle? Yeah, the Pinnacle project.
It's so big.
It looks really nice. They're having issues filling the bottom spot with vendors. They're not getting businesses to take those spots up. There's actually supposed to be more.
It's because of price?
Yeah, it's too expensive. They want too much for rent. But if you look farther down on Lakeshore, there's a lot of empty space still. There's still more buildings that are supposed to go there.
Holy crap.
That was only phase 1. There's 3 phases. So they haven't started phase 2 yet. I'm not sure when they're going to plan on starting that. But they're really doing a lot to try and build up the lake area of Canandaigua.
Well, they're not going to. They'll never recruit the money unless they can make people use that space. So you need to incentivize businesses to come in and start up.
Part of the thing is, if you're going to charge crazy amount for rent, they got to have a reason to do that.
Oh,
and with Canandaigua, it's really busy in the summer. It could be busier, in my opinion. And I think one of the things that I would do if I was in a position, I would open up our lakeshore. Right now, we only have a certain amount of space available for beachfront. You have to be like a resident of Canandaigua. You get like a little keychain. You go in there, you pay $1, and blah blah blah, and do whatever. I would open it up. I would make it completely public. Just say, have at it. There's no lifeguards. We're not going to pay anybody to be here. You're coming at your own risk. We'll put signage up saying that there's no lifeguards on duty. We're not responsible for anything that happens. But I would open up, like literally right by Lakeshore, where all the businesses are. I'd open that whole area up to a beachfront.
Yeah, because that's like if I had to pay to park for like the pier, either pier, I wouldn't be going to the piers ever or anything like. There's a lot of these things that if you make them free, you can stimulate business just because people will come, they'll have money.
There's not a lot of places that you can go to for something like that. Where you could just go with your family and your kids and spend a couple hours on the beach on a nice day, on a nice summer day. And then if you're doing that,
going to Lake Ontario to go swimming.
No,
you're not going to Durant. Ugh.
And if you do that, though, let's say you do that. You take your wife and your kids, you go to Canandaigua, spend a couple hours. You're on the lake. What are you going to do afterwards? You're going to go out to eat.
Yeah.
You're going to go buy a couple of things from the grocery store. You're bringing more money into the area that otherwise wouldn't have been there.
You're also passing through the awesome little village, and it's like, oh, look at these kitsch stores.
Yeah. I mean, one of the things that I wanted to do, I wasn't a big proponent of the hotel project in general.
Yeah.
We have a hotel right now, the Canandaigua on the lake, that I think that if this hotel does go through, they're going to have some hard times as far as trying to stay afloat. There's only so much business that you can have. I was more of the person that wanted to do something different with the area, with the building. I think a convention center would have been fantastic, especially around the lakefront.
Oh, yeah.
We could have done graduations, could have done holiday parties for businesses, could have done public markets on the weekends.
Yeah, and if you do it closed, you can do it all year round.
Absolutely.
Versus Flick's
Yep.
auditorium that's only summer and sometimes fall.
You can do concerts.
Yep.
You can have a multi-purpose convention center because, again, you're giving reasons to people to come to Canandaigua.
Yeah.
Let's say, hey, I live in Penn. I really want to go to Canandaigua because either I'm selling stuff or I want to buy stuff at the public market.
Yeah.
I'm going to go to Canandaigua, and you know what else I'm going to do? I'm going to go to Wegmans, or I'm going to go eat lunch, or I'm going to go eat dinner. You're spending more money in Canandaigua.
Yeah, because it's right there on the way out.
Yeah, you're spending money in the community that you otherwise wouldn't have been spending.
It's a good way to do it. That's a really good idea.
Yeah,
There's not very many, I would say, like surrounding towns in Rochester. That, like Henrietta has the Dome Arena.
Yep. And
I can't really think of anybody else who has something like that. I think Pittsford, one of the P's might have one, and Greece or Gates might have one, but like Henrietta's got the Dome, and everything goes down at the Dome.
Yeah.
Concerts, New Year's Eve, events, vendors, whatever the hell it is, like that arena is always being used for something.
See, you're not going to be able to necessarily tap into a lot of the Rochester market with some of that stuff, but if you could do a public market, or you can do different events or different festivals, there's lots of arts and crafts shit that goes on year round. If you can do that in a climate controlled environment like you would at a convention center, you're going to gather people from all the surrounding counties in Ontario, Wayne, out to Seneca. People are going to come from all the areas.
Well, you got everything from like East Rush to like whatever's just south of Sea Dags all the way over to Geneva.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to really draw a ton from the Rochester area, but all the surrounding areas from Canandaigua, people are going to come from all over.
Yeah, and there's a ton of people who don't want to go to Victor. There's a ton of people who don't want to go to Pittsford.
Well, that, but also you're giving them a reason to come to Canandaigua because there is nothing else like that. There's something unique going on. And I think that's one of the things with talking to some of my constituents in Ward 4 that Canandaigua...
You use the word constituents? Yeah,
politician.
So political.
That they wanted to see is Canandaigua do a better job of differentiating themselves from other communities. And there's lots of things that you could do. Something as big as what I was talking about, and then another person was like, we have our Main Street. It's a very iconic looking Main Street. You can, when you're driving down, you can see the lake, see all the storefronts. Do something where our crosswalks have them light up as people walk across.
Yeah.
Be something cool. Some people, reason for people want to come to Canandaigua, just check it out. Something little and simple as that.
Yeah.
Well,
that's when I used to hear people refer to Canandaigua, I always thought it was like a little snobby. But then when I started to go there, it was one of those, it's small town feel in a developing area. And that's the constant thing down there is the small town feel no matter where you are. Yeah, you might have the big roads of traffic and stuff like that, but you go into the Walmart there, the Wegmans there, whatever it is, it's just small town.
Yeah, it's definitely, I would agree with that. You're not going to get that same type of feel in a Henrietta or really even a victor.
No. It's a different breed of people altogether.
Yeah.
And I would say it's more Florida mentality where it's, just relax.
Yeah.
We're here. There's a lake there.
Take a load off.
Yeah.
And kick your shoes off.
It's nice. It's relaxing.
Yeah.
You got to give it to towns and things that can establish themselves with that sort of just welcome.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming.
Come as you are.
Yeah, and it's really hard, and it's once again really interesting that you were so close in a Democratic town to run as a Republican on the ballot and get right there as a first timer.
Yeah.
And that's cool. Hats off to you for being able to try it out and being interested enough in it, or being like, well, maybe I do have something to offer. That's cool as shit.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, I think that I would definitely recommend more young people that are interested in politics to get involved. I think that it's important. I think that the only way that you really are ever going to see change is by being involved. I think that if you're not happy with what's going on in your community, or what's going on in the world at large, the best thing for you to do is be a part of it. Get involved.
Oh, agreed. What did you go to college for?
Sports management.
Okay, I was thinking poli-sci history for some reason.
No. Oh. Yeah, I fudged that one up pretty hard.
Yeah. Huh, interesting. Sports management.
It's fucking useless.
Yeah, what the fuck is sports management?
Fucking useless is what it is. It's a concentration in the sports business arena, which is next to impossible to get into unless I want to throw on a fucking mascot uniform and throw t-shirts into a stand.
Oh my God, please do that.
No.
Please do that.
I have bills to pay.
I have bills to pay.
That's so the
funny.
part where I knew I fucked up.
Yeah.
The part where I knew where I was never going to get into sports management is senior year. I was sitting in one of my electives that was designed for my my course. I can't remember what the class was, but what they did was they brought in a kid that was working for the Bills.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this kid graduated last year. He's in your same major. This is what you're going to be. This is who you're going to be. Kid comes in, looks nice enough. He's wearing a shirt and tie. I was like, okay, cool. He's talking to us about how he sells season tickets for the Bills. So I was like, I don't know if I want to do that. He's like, yeah, it's really the only job that I can find. I'm really excited about it. I work for the Bills. My office is in New Era Stadium. It's a lot of fun. He's like, yeah, I only make $8.50 an hour, but
shit.
But I really like what I do. And I'm sitting there, and at the time I was working full time for Pepsi. I was going to school full time, and I'm sitting there. I'm like, yo, I make over $16 an hour right now. What the fuck? I'm not gonna just take half the money just to do something as part of my degree. This ain't gonna work. So sure enough, I just stayed with Pepsi. I just stayed with sales. And, for the most part, other than a couple of years where I kind of deviated and tried a couple of different things, sales has been what I've done ever since then. There's that attractiveness you buy from the person, buy the product. Yep. You have to buy into the person that's selling the product rather than the product.
That's one of those other things I noticed is there's lots of jobs, but it's about getting a job that pays you enough. And everyone's like, oh, there's so many jobs. It's so flush with jobs, but it's so I have a friend who worked for Verizon, and I thought that when they transferred over to the company that bought the contracts out because they closed on the call center, that they got to keep how much they earned at Verizon. They didn't. And he told me how much he was making because I knew how much he was making at Verizon, and I was like, holy shit, a big pay drop.
Yeah.
And it's so depressing. You're a grown-ass man.
Well, and I mean, I've never been the type of person where money defines me and defines what I do. Mm-hmm. But you have to address the elephant in the room that money makes the world go round.
Oh, yeah.
It's
for sure.
Bottom line. I can't be who I want to be or do the things that I want to do if I don't make money.
Yeah.
So therefore, I have to have a job to facilitate that. Now, I do enjoy what I do. I like the fact that I'm not in the same spot every day. I can be on the road. I can enjoy a beautiful day if it's nice out. Roll my windows down and listen to the radio. I like to be around people. I like to talk to different people. So sales has always been what's been very attractive to me, that type of work. Mm-hmm. I would see that going forward. That's probably what I'm going to continue to do throughout my life, throughout my career. But honestly, if I'm not happy, that's really what I've learned as I've gotten older, that happiness is the most important thing. And if there's ever a day where, I'm doing the job and I'm just miserable and it's just something that I don't want to do anymore, I would have no problems just quitting and starting all over somewhere else.
Yeah.
It is what it is. I'll figure out a way.
I look at a job always as a means to an end.
Yep.
Because it's one of those, this is the first job I've ever had where I make money. And for me, it's one of those, I was happy without money.
Yeah.
So This is just another way to make life a little bit easier.
Yeah. Like I said,
but there's so many people out there who are driven. Just they want the income, they want the money, they want this, they want that. It's all about your success. It's all and you're like, where's your fucking smile? Give me a goddamn smile, bitch.
I immediately thought of the Joker when you said that. But no, I completely understand where you're coming from. But there's people out there that are driven by money, or driven to do things by money, but it's more of a status thing than it is a money thing. They don't want that security. They want to be able to flaunt what they have and who they are. And it's really a personality thing.
Well, then there's the people they're always preaching success, and it's like, if I need to know, I'm going to ask you.
Yeah.
Because obviously I'll notice that you don't have to tell me you're fucking successful. I see it.
There's a lot of things that when you're having to show me that you're successful and you're having to prove to me that you're successful, I'm not going to buy into you. I'm going to tune you right out.
It's like the people who say stay humble, and you're like, bitch, you're not allowed to call yourself humble. That just takes the humility right out of it.
Yeah.
And you're like, stay humble.
Fuck you. Stay humble, and being humble it's not supposed to be words, it's supposed to be actions.
What you got to do is you got to hire somebody every time you write a post on something that they have to be the first comment, and it says #stay humble. There you go. There's your humility. They're like, thanks, man. I know I'm humble.
Yeah.
It's crazy though, but you see the difference in the cogs when you have people who they're living the rat race, and it's like, there's going to be a point where you're going to be way more successful than I am because you're spending all this time getting involved in the rat race. But there'll be a point too where you'll look back and you'll be like, fuck, I just wasted 15 years.
There's a point in your life where you realize though that it's not about a comparison, not about thinking about what the other person has. It's more of the idea of just bettering yourself and being the best version of yourself that you can be. The best Kyle, the best Dan. And really, it doesn't matter what anybody else is doing because that's them. That's their life. That's their journey.
Yeah. That's part of your prerogative, too.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. Growing up, I was a competitive guy. I mean, I was an athlete. I would say I'm still competitive when it comes to certain things, but you realize that there's certain things that are out of your control.
Yeah.
You know, there's certain extenuating circumstances that I have no control over. I can just focus on what I have and who I am and being the best version of that guy.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of times a lot of the people who get caught up in the rat race or something like that, they're missing something.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying we're all put together, but they're missing something that they deem as being a very, very big thing.
Yeah.
And that, to me, they're trying to find that thing or resolve that problem versus people who are more accepting. They're like, shit happens. It'll find itself. We'll figure it out. I'm not like, I don't need to figure it out this second. It'll happen.
Yeah, compensation.
Yeah. It's a good way to think about it.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those, like, where's your enjoyment come from? Well, when I'm 50 years old and retired, there's my enjoyment. Yeah, but you've just lost your 20-year-old body, your 30-year-old body, and your 40-year-old body.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And what about all those times that you missed out on? I mean, there's no guarantees in life.
Oh, yeah.
Let's be perfectly honest. I mean, you see it all the time, and it's very easy to think that life is going to guarantee you by the time you're 70 or 80, but there's no guarantees that either one of us are going to make it to that age. God forbid, anything can happen. Mm-hmm. You have to live your life. I mean, I'm not going to sit there and say you have to live your life like today's the last day you're living, because that's
a terrible way to think about it.
That's a very morbid way to look at it, but you have to understand that, like,
it's also frivolous as shit.
You have to understand though that nothing's guaranteed in life.
No.
I can't wait and just be like, I'm going to get to this later in life.
Yeah.
No, that's not the way to look at it. I might not be able to invest everything into everything that I want to do right now.
Yeah.
But I at least want to try and start working on some of that.
Well, it's like you were telling me yesterday. You're like, just make sure you have a list.
Yeah.
And then as you're going through, reflect on your list.
Yeah, and if you want to prioritize the most important thing that you have, and there's a likelihood that most important thing you're not able to accomplish right now, that's fine. Do whatever you can for the first thing and move on to the next one.
Yeah, because you just otherwise spend all your time invested in this one thing that's not going to resolve at this moment. Mm-hmm. And it sucks because when you, obviously in life, you look back and you're like, fuck, I wasted so much time on that. Whether it be a relationship, whether it be a job, whether it be a thing you wanted to accomplish, you're just like, damn, I could have done so many other things in that time.
That's really, for me, the most important thing is when I'm older, hopefully when I'm older, and I'm on that deathbed and I'm looking around, I want to be able to just go back and think about all the things that I've experienced and the things that I've done and be happy with that and be content with that. And it's not going to matter to me what jobs I've had or what kind of money I made. It has everything to do with did I live my life to the fullest extent?
Yeah.
You know, that's the ultimate goal.
When I die, it's not going to matter because I'm not going to have a funeral or something. They're going to put me in a box. They're going to turn me into a tree, and I'm going to hopefully I have enough money when I die for my headstone to be a vending machine. And then the proceeds from the vending machine go to just refilling it. It'll give people incentive to kind of come in. I'm wallowing in sorrow. I'm going to get some chocolate.
So wait, you're going to be a tree?
Yeah, I'm going to have them turn me into a fucking tree.
Are you going to be the giving tree?
I'm going to be a peach tree.
You're going to be the giving tree?
I'm going to be a peach tree.
I have nothing left to give.
I have a stump, bitch.
That's like the saddest
It's so depressing.
fucking book ever.
Yo, that dude was probably on some hardcore antidepressants when he was thinking about that. He goes, I'm just a tree and I have nothing left.
Shel Silverstein? Yeah.
Isn't that the guy who did the Falling Up book?
Maybe. I can't say that I'm a huge...
Those were kids' books. Those were sad as shit.
The Giving Tree is a kid's book, and it's like, it's super deep that, like, you know, you can look at it like, if you're constantly giving to people, you're not going to end up with anything.
Have you ever lamented or reflected back upon things that you read when you were a child and you're like, holy shit, I can't believe somebody let me watch that, read that, or learn that?
No, I can't say that I have, just because, like, I'll be brutally honest, I don't really remember retaining a lot at school.
Yeah.
I was just more just getting through it, just doing what I had to do and just move on.
Okay, I'm gonna point back to Ren and Stimpy. Did you watch Ren and Stimpy?
Yeah, of course.
Oh my god.
That cartoon was mindfuck.
And our parents let us watch that shit.
I don't know so much a lot. I mean, my mom probably had no idea what the fuck was going on.
She's like, he's using a saw with his ass.
Yeah.
You're like, what? And then they do drugs because they're always fucked up in that show. And you're like, it's a kid show.
I remember that was fucked up, but I think the cartoon that was more fucked up, and I'm like trying to reference certain things that happened, but I was probably more of a fan of this one, was Rocko's Modern Life.
I thought you were going to say Drawn Together.
No. Rocko's Modern Life was fucked.
I don't remember it as much.
There was like moments that even when I was a kid, I remember just being like, what the fuck am I watching right now? Like,
yeah.
There's some shit going on. Like, at a later date, I'll be able to pull and reference some things for you. But it was like, that show had some warped shit. I mean, even to a more common extent, SpongeBob has some fucked up stuff.
Yeah, I guess SpongeBob has some really funky shit. I don't really watch SpongeBob. I never really did.
Dude, you're missing out, man.
I
watched that shit religiously in college.
I watched Food Network and Scary Stories.
There would be times where I would get caught up in a SpongeBob marathon and look and be like, oh, fuck, I missed a couple classes already. Like, oh, I better get to school.
Ask Rufio. All we had on was Food Network or Scary Things. We would watch like those haunting stories and shit.
Can you at least cook well?
I can cook well.
All right.
Yeah, I can't. I'm no Bobby Flay, but
kids' food has to be healthy.
I can throw shit together.
There you go.
It was just one of those that was mindless enough, and we just enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And then during the night, if you left the TV on, you got to see a ton of infomercials.
See, when I was in my dorm with Jared, I was with sophomore year, we would always watch South Park and see. And then when we had this conversation about, oh, Family Guy's super rewatchable. Dude, I've seen every episode of South Park multiple times, and they're always funny. It's always good.
I don't know.
It's so easily accessible. It's on SouthParkStudios.com.
It's
an easy plug. And South Park Studios is uncut.
So is Hulu.
Okay, well, I didn't know that because I don't have Hulu.
Bitch.
So I'm super well off like you.
Fuck you.
But
I'm so well off. Hulu gives me commercials because I can't afford the premium.
Well, like, it's so much better when it's uncut. Like,
it is.
Kids swearing. It's fucking awesome. But
I feel like with some of their jokes, though, they do them so deep that like you can't reference them like offhandedly. But with Family Guy, you can always reference you can always reference Herbert.
Dumb humor, intellectual humor.
Say bitch.
And if you're intellectual, like we're supposed to be,
Cow.
dude, like the whole Japanese thing with Tweek and Craig being gay is amazing. Like the girls were literally just drawing them kissing, and they end up being gay together.
Yeah.
And then, like, all the songs that the guys from South Park are able to make. Dude, they literally won a Tony's Award for fucking Book of Mormon. Like,
if Book of Mormon comes to Rochester, I'm going.
That's how talented those guys are.
I want to see
even the Tweek and Craig song that I sent you, hilarious.
Tweek and Craig!
We must honor.
I think the reason they'll never come to Rochester is because, like, the site for Mormonism is near near us.
Dude, those guys will totally do it.
I bet you the Mormons would be so accepting. They'll be like, "Why don't you use our hillside and do it on the hill?"
I know a couple people that are Mormon and I've watched it. I thought it was really funny.
Really?
Yeah. Like
damn it! I want to see it. I wish it was online or something.
Super accepting of it. They're just like, you know what? It's funny.
They should just do the movie Book of Mormon, like the live action movie. They done Orgasmo and they did Basketball and they Team America. Oh my God.
Basketball is probably. I like baseball better than Team America.
Wow, that's big.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Hey, I'm a
Team America is really good.
Oh, no doubt about it. I think that basketball, though, there's so many different layers to it that makes it hilarious.
Yeah.
But just like...
I think they were also so early in their career, they didn't really know where to go.
Well, no, they had Al Michaels in the fucking movie.
Yeah.
But just the whole, like, even like something so simple as how they were treating Squeak. And they're just like, is this my bed? Oh, no, this is the dog's bed. Like, this is where you sleep. They're like, or when he was like... I swear to God, if you guys make fun of me 6 or 7 more times, I'm out of here. Shit like that's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, but in Team America, you had...
All right, we're going to get puppets having sex, or like...
We're going to get in my limo. I know what this is. When I get in here, I'm going to have to suck your dick, aren't I? No, we're just going for a ride. Now suck my cock.
Or like he's coming out of the bar and he's puking everywhere.
Oh my
he's
God.
Like, get out of the street, you fucking bum.
You fucking bum.
You gave up on life, didn't you?
They have the metaphor between genitalia and beeholes.
Yeah.
They were so good with that because you could, the guy's talking like that.
Yeah. Freedom costs $1.05.
I'll give it to South Park though. Their rendition of Canadians.
Oh my God, their square wheels and how they look weird.
Wheels and their flappy heads, their beady little eyes.
I'm not your buddy, guy.
He goes, as his tradition. Yo,
As his
that
tradition.
sequence gets me every time.
Yeah.
Because it's just he puts himself into the royal pudding. You're like, where did they get pudding from? And why is he ripping her arms off?
They have so many of those most random like references.
How though? How?
Or like when they're like, oh, you didn't know that every morning at 8 a.m. all Canadians face north and play Scott Mangione? Like
Chuck Mangione.
Chuck Mangione, right. It's like the most like crazy reference. Like where the fuck did they come up with that?
Was he Canadian?
He was from Rochester. Which is basically Canada.
No, we're not.
Yeah, I looked it up. I was like, who the fuck's Chuck Mangione? I was like, he's from Rochester, New York. I was like, oh, God damn it.
Shit.
Yeah.
I bet you my old neighbor can tell me Chuck Mangione stories. He used to be really big in the music scene here back in the 60s and 70s, 70s and 80s.
Guaranteed he knew Chuck Mangione then.
That's crazy. I want to get him on. I'd love to talk to him because he has all these like insights when he used to like book people to play gigs and stuff like that around town back in the 70s and 80s. But he's like, nah, man, I'm just a quiet, laid back. I was like, dude, I want your stories. I want them on record. Bro,
I hope he talks like that.
He's very apprehensive. No, he's very like he's very passive. Like he says what he needs to say, and that's pretty much it. But he's very funny.
Does he have a name, like a nickname, like Cool Cat? Or
Cool Cat. I wasn't around in the 70s and 80s. I wouldn't know. That's so stupid. Now, you at one point mentioned that you have family in Tennessee, right?
No.
No. Where?
He made that up. Georgia and Florida. Georgia and Florida.
Florida, fuck.
Yeah.
Because I remember at one point you were talking about like you were just gonna pick up your balls and leave.
Take my ball and go home.
Yeah, and go move down there because it's just you and your parents up here, right?
Yeah, and I mean they're probably due to move south eventually too because they're sick of the cold up here. As am I.
I did. You don't have siblings, obviously.
No.
Where your cousins live?
Down south for the most part. I've got a few up here in upstate New York, but for the most part, all my extended family is either in Georgia or Florida.
So how was it growing up in a household where you're the only child?
It was fun. I mean, a lot of attention gets paid to you. All the affection and all the praise definitely goes to you, but at the same time, all the focus is on you sometimes. There could be pressure. And they could definitely focus on you a little bit too much just because you're the only kid around. But all in all, I mean, I felt like I had a great childhood.
Did you get away with murder?
Nah, I mean, I could have, but I didn't commit murder, so I got lucky there. But no, they were able to punish me as need be.
Yeah.
They walked a fine line of being my friends, but also being my parents. But yeah, I was very fortunate. I had a good childhood with them.
Because I always wonder, like, what is it that causes a family to just be like, we're going to do one child, or we have one child, or something like that?
Yeah, truthfully, I don't know. It could be a lot of different factors. I think that at some point, I think my parents wanted to have another one, but it just never really happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. But,
Did you ever wish you had like a sibling?
Early on, no.
No.
I was really happy being the only child, but as I got older, I kind of wished that I had that experience, and also I had somebody else to kind of take the focus off of me.
Yeah.
But
Scapegoat.
yeah, pay attention to him. Not me. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is.
Way to assume it's gender.
2018. I screwed that up.
Screwed that up. It's because it's just an interesting dichotomy. I was reading an article about how kids in one-child families typically grow up faster. It's because they don't want to be the only child in the room. They want to be part of the adult conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. I would definitely agree with that. I always found myself, as I got older, kind of, interacting more with adults than kids, just because I felt like that was what I was used to.
I always got along better with adults too, even though I had 3 siblings.
Yeah, I would always talk to my parents. I'd be on their level. So I felt like when I was going to like public events or like family functions, I would want to talk to the adults because that's what I was used to. I wasn't used to like being a kid and talking with other kids.
Even though you had a close group of friends or something like that, but for you it was still
Yeah, because honestly, as much time as I spent with them, I probably spent more time with my parents.
Yeah.
I was always very close with them. They were just as much my friends as they were my parents.
Tell me about your parents. Like their stories, like where did they come from? What do they do? I know your dad works for Perry's now, but I remember like I only know very little about your parents, and I enjoy learning about where someone came from.
Yeah, I mean they both grew up in the city, like Monroe Ave area in Rochester. They met early 20s ish. They both worked at a grocery store. They ended up having me. They moved out to Canandaigua because they didn't want me to go to school out there. My mom's probably the most giving, most nurturing person I've ever met. My dad is like an older version of me. Loves all the same things that I like. He's influenced me in a lot of different ways as far as my likes and interests. I would say that he's right up there as one of my best friends.
You think he imprinted on you when you were younger?
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, like I said, as much as he was my dad, he's probably one of my best friends.
Yeah.
I talk to him every day just about the Cowboys.
That's beautiful.
About dumb stuff. So, very fortunate. My mom works at Windstream. She's in customer service for them.
Mm-hmm. What's Windstream?
Communications company, similar to like E10 except they do more like business to business than they do personal stuff. And then my dad is territory sales manager for Perry's, so he covers from like Darien Lake out to Syracuse.
It's a big market.
Yeah,
it's huge.
Yeah, I mean it's similar to what I cover for my job, territory wise. So I definitely feel his pain when it comes to that. I mean you have to be a lot of different places at the same time.
Yeah. It's a lot of responsibility too.
Yeah.
But always being able to pick yourself up and provide, that's always important.
Absolutely.
Now, when you said you and your dad had very similar interests, I'm gonna reflect on a very sad moment for me is when I found out that you sold your muscle car. And what did you have?
I had a 1987 IROC Z28. Yeah, it was that was a purchase back in the day.
Did you buy that yourself or was that a gift?
No, bought it.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Roof blew off while I was driving it, exploded. Computer went on it.
The roof blew off?
Yeah, so the T-tops.
And exploded.
So T-tops, glass.
Oh, yeah, the pop tops.
Yeah, so I was driving along when my buddy was driving at the time, and we're like, what the fuck's that noise? Like, and we look up. As soon as we look up, one flies out and just explodes because it's made of glass.
Oh, yeah.
And then we're going like 80, 85. Explodes everywhere. I go back, we pick up the remnants of it. I'm pissed because like half my roof's gone now.
Yeah.
And my buddy's like, oh, I'm going to make him feel better. And he does a power slide around my corner heading back to my place. We didn't check the other one. The other one was unlocked too, and it slid right off and exploded. And I was like, you got to be fucking kidding me. Like, there goes the other half of the fucking roof.
Oh, shit. That's awesome.
So, I mean, honestly, the T-tops are worth more than the fucking car. How much I paid for it.
Yeah.
I mean, they're like about $1,000 a pop.
So what got you into the IROC then?
Oh, I've always been a big GM guy. Yeah. And honestly, it was cheap. It's like $1,500 I paid for it.
Wow, that's not bad.
No, it had some issues. We had to completely do a tune-up on it when I bought it. I remember we did the tune-up. We thought it'd be a good idea to do it late. It got dark.
Oh, shit.
And anybody that doesn't know for tune-ups, it's all wiring sequence. And my buddy, it was his job to do all the wiring. And he takes everything off of the motor. And he doesn't remember the firing sequence for the wires. He just rips it off. So we have to do trial and error to figure out what the sequence is for all the wires.
Holy shit.
Which takes a while. And it was late. It was probably like 9:30 at my buddy's place, at my buddy's parents' place. Finally got my car started, and his dad comes out. He's like, "Turn that fucking thing off. It's too goddamn
Oh my
loud."
God, no. Did you have like straight pipe or something on there?
Yeah, oh no, it was cammed. It had a really aggressive cam.
Shit.
It was so aggressive that it would idle itself to sleep.
Bum,
If I'd left it on, it would just turn itself off.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Did you do the cams or did you buy a cam?
Bought it like that.
That's
it
nice.
was heavily modded when I bought it. That's why I had so many problems.
So what made you get rid of her?
Didn't have a roof. The computer wasn't working on it.
Yeah.
There's some fuel issues. Didn't have the time or the money, so I sold it for like $350 as is with no roof, blue tarp and everything.
You ever think about buying another nice car?
Yeah, actually this year I'm looking at something in the summer. I've got my car.
So I can stop making fun of you for driving a base Ford Focus.
Hey,
You
man.
could have bought an ST.
Hey man.
That's all I'm saying. You could have bought an ST.
Hey man, it's easy to drive when there's traffic, and it gets me 37 miles to the gallon.
Fuck.
For what I need it for the job, it's the perfect car. I just wish I wasn't such a large man getting into a small car.
I told Carly, I was like, watch out. I was like, you're going to get a good laugh when Dan gets here. He drives a Ford Focus. And she's like, does he fit in that? No. Without missing a beat.
No, I don't fit at all.
That's so good.
Yeah.
That was like, I always wondered how I was able to fit John, Vinny, Brett, and Schaefer into the RSX to take them to the club one night.
No.
I still have no idea how that happened.
No.
Because we all know Big John weighed north of 300 pounds. Schaefer
Easy.
weighed 280.
Yeah.
Vinny weighed 2, and Brett weighed like 220. And
Yeah.
I fit all of them in the car with me. Took them to the club the one night, and
No
I still
idea.
don't know how I clown card that shit.
No idea, honestly, because RSXs don't even have back seats really.
No, I had to like drive with my chest on the steering wheel.
Yeah.
That's so funny though.
Yeah, no, I miss my truck, but the only benefit I would say to the Focus is that my payments got cut like in half.
They're tiny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I saw Kia Soul Electric the other day, and I was like, holy shit. Yo, the makeup with the gas, your whole monthly payment is like dog shit. I'd like the legroom in those things. Holy shit.
Well, I've told my friends though that the Focus is the last gas-powered new vehicle I'll ever buy. I'm going Tesla when I go buy my next car.
You think they're going to get that nice common consumer car out soon?
I would rather just get a used Tesla, like one of the nicer ones.
Yeah, but you're going to miss out on the ability to get better fuel economy, I guess. Miles per charge.
But you gotta think about it though, like how many miles I actually drive. There's not gonna ever be an issue.
Now, do those make up for the fact that you have to use your house electric to charge it? Or does your electric bill go up just as much as it would cost you to spend gas?
Not as much, no.
No?
Definitely not.
Because I always wondered about that. I was like, yeah, it's nice that you're not spending money at the pump, but if you're putting $60 in a week and you got 4.5 weeks in a month, I was like, if your fucking electric bill goes up, $200.
No, it's not gonna be that much. It would be substantially higher than what it is now, but yeah, for what I would be doing and what I'd be using it for, that wouldn't be that bad.
Well, that's like CJ.
And then you gotta remember too, sometimes when you're out in public, there's charging stations. I can just be like, yeah, I'll go charge my shit right here.
Yeah. Well, a lot of like so when I was in Buffalo for my new job, there was a whole strip along the one road, and I was like, holy crap, I didn't realize this was a thing yet.
It's becoming more and more of a thing. Tesla's probably more and more acceptable as far as a car. I see more and more of them even in this area.
Yeah.
There's a lot of cool features with it. They do the updates. I mean, they're pretty much like cell phones. With how they do, like even some of the older Teslas have the autopilot feature now because all you do is you run an update, just like you would run an update on your Android or your iPhone, and then it comes with the update. So it's fascinating. I think they're doing a lot of really cool stuff. I don't know if you've seen the stuff that they're doing with the semis, 18-wheelers.
No.
They're coming out with 18-wheelers.
Holy shit.
They're guaranteed up to 1 million miles. Yeah.
How can you guarantee 1 million miles?
If anything goes wrong, up to 1 million miles, they'll fix it full price.
The charge on that has to be insane.
Yeah, it's they go for 500 miles though. On full charge.
Wow, that's crazy. Holy crap.
The other thing though is that biggest thing with trucks is brakes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Brake wear. They use the kinetic energy from the brakes to power into the motor.
So does Prius.
For a semi, though, it's a little bit different.
That's crazy because you got 18,000 pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that's cool though.
And that's, like I said, one of the biggest wears that they have on those. And now if you're transferring that energy to the motor, that's nowhere virtually on the brake pads. You're never going to have to replace them.
Yeah. Oh, that's so CJ's got solar panels on his house.
Yeah.
And I think he's getting a battery or he has a battery that he can store the overflow energy in, so that way his electric bill's even less.
Yeah.
And it's like, if you can figure that out, and you got an electric car and you've got a battery pack on the back of your house that stores energy to plug into, all of a sudden you're charging your car for free.
Yeah.
Because the sun is providing for the battery there, and you're like,
easy as that, man.
that's great. Like that was he did it really well after college. He bought the duplex, and I was like, so do you own half the house? He goes, no, I own the whole house.
Yeah, I'm gonna rent the other one.
And then he rents the other half, and then he does the wireless service for the house, and he charges the people, and then he makes money on it because he works for the ACN, and then cell phone service, and now the solar panels, and then he gets a giant write-off at the end of the year for eco-friendly shit. And it's like, I figured it out.
Yeah, he definitely did good as far as all that goes. He's very smart.
Because I keep hearing people talk about like income properties and buying a duplex and doing the maintenance on it, and I'm like, I hadn't even thought of that until like now. Like,
believe me, I've thought of that. It's just more of a means for me. More than anything, student loans, biggest deterrent right now for me.
Yeah.
Big pain in the ass.
Well, because CJ has that shit under control.
Yeah.
Like insanely under control, and it's like he knew more than I knew back then, way more, and he's able to just expedite it, and he's gonna get to the point where he's just got a double-sided duplex that he's renting out, and he's making good income on it, and he can stop working the bank and just gamble.
And there's another fact to it where if he has enough money, he can always leave the duplex, get his own place, and then rent out both of them.
That's the goal.
Yeah.
That's what he wants to do. I think he said he wants the mortgage to get down low enough, though, so that way he can make profit on one side.
Yep.
That'd be cool.
Very smart.
Because one of the guys who was here last night, he was talking about that too. He's like, I want to pay cash for one and then have it as an income property.
Yeah.
And then after it hits a certain point, buy a second one and start. And I was like, man, there's so many people are into this. It's like, if I knew enough about maintenance, I could totally get behind it. But I don't know shit about shit. I've got a leak in the bathroom there because...
YouTube it.
Well, there's a second... So the way that this bathroom works is there's a second sub pump system, and there's supposed to be a gas relief valve because there's actually blades in there. So when you flush the toilet and everything goes into the second sub pump, it's actually sealed. Yeah. But there's blades in there that shred everything so it can go out into the main lines. But there's supposed to be a shutoff valve that until you flush the toilet or water pressure builds up in the drain, it stays shut. Yeah. And then it opens up and lets it through, and then it goes closes back up. Well, I don't think there's one because gases are coming out along the edges of the toilet, and it's making it smell funky in there.
Yeah.
So I gotta figure that out as a guy who doesn't know shit about shit.
Good luck with that.
I was gonna say the house lights flicker when we have the washer and the dryer on.
That's
too.
Ghosts.
It is. No, it's definitely ghosts.
Yeah.
It's definitely, fuck you. My last house was haunted. I was there like spackling walls and shit, and I could hear noises in my garage, and I was like, there's no one in the garage because it's locked. And I didn't open the garage door because I'm a little bitch. But that house was haunted-ish. And then fucking Adam comes over with me, and I got my music on or something, and I'm spackling, and I hear, I was like, I didn't hear shit. And I like, wait a second, I was like, motherfucker. And I come out of the room real quick, and I look around the corner, and there's Adam. And he's got his mouth on this hole that goes to the wall, and he's whispering shit through the wall. And he's like, you're an asshole.
What a fucking dick.
Yeah. Did you ever have any haunted shit happen to you in Lynch?
No.
No?
No, I had spiders. That's about it.
Did you ever hear the story about Matthews? He got really drunk, and he fell asleep. He woke up the next morning completely naked, and his window was open.
Huh.
Yeah, that's one of the greatest stories ever.
It's yeah.
It's not as good as the girl who got peed on.
Yeah, that's.
Do you remember that story?
Yeah.
That was so funny. She like just peed on her. You're like, oh no, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
You didn't have anything happen to you? Did you ever see anything happen in the dorm or anything like that?
No. Everything was. I mean, I'm not somebody that picks up on a lot of that stuff. I kind of out of sight, out of mind.
You never saw the figure that would stand at the third floor window.
No, it's bullshit.
You never saw the figure in the basement.
It's bullshit.
You never heard the walking or the sounds of the creaking, right?
It's bullshit.
So, okay, I was looking for Redhead one night, and I took the stairwell near my room. So I took the stairwell all the way down, and I looked, and at the other end was Redhead, and I was like, fuck, I need him. I was like, yo, Redhead. And he opens the door, and he turns, and he smiles at me. And I'm like, bro, wait. And I like run. And the distance between the two, there's no way he could have closed the door, ran up to the next level, ran over down, and then took the stairs back down to the first floor. By the time I cleared the corner, the halfway distance on it, he's down the stairs. So the door had literally closed. It'd been like 2 or 3 seconds, and he's standing right next to me. He's like, dude, stop yelling. It's fucking 10:30. It was Redhead. Andy and I saw it. It was both of us. Not losing my mind.
Yeah, I think you guys are just full of shit.
Andy used to shout Chinese in his sleep.
That I believe.
I asked him the one day, I was like, Andy, do you think in Chinese or English? He goes, both stupid. Yeah. I was like, I hadn't thought of that.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't think of that either. I'd imagine it'd just be your dominant language, right? So if you're like bilingual, it'd probably just go back and forth, but...
Could be.
Yeah.
Well, so we had the incidents on the floor where CJ's printer would turn on and off on its own and print shit out.
I remember that was fucked.
Joe Monin had this little girl standing at the foot of his bed with long dark hair. And then their door opened. It was ajar. She would appear in the hallways in the middle of the night and disappear.
That's weird.
We had, Andy had this series of time where he would speak Chinese in his sleep, and it would get louder and louder and louder. And I could make up like a little of it because he taught me a little. And the one night he like sits up and he screams in Chinese, and he starts to laugh. And as he falls back down, as soon as his back hits the bed and the bed shakes, every single thing on the wall fell off. Everything was tacked and taped up. All the tacks, all the tape, everything fell off the walls. All the black lights, all the pictures, everything.
No, man, that's weird.
Like, took my head out. I was like, fuck this shit. And I went back to bed.
Yeah, like I said, the only thing I had on the first floor of Lynch was spiders. I get like spiders in my room all the time, and I fucking hate spiders. So I don't know. Maybe I would trade ghosts.
Did you leave the windows open all the time?
No, it was just on the first floor, and that place was old as fuck, and it was like there was probably creeks and crevices everywhere for spiders to get into.
I didn't get spiders on the first floor, third or fourth year.
I don't know, man.
I didn't have any spiders.
I don't know what to tell you. I clean my stuff all the time. I got bit by those spiders. There was a day I was already pissed off about all the work that I had to do. It was like 11 o'clock at night. I look over, look down at my arm. There's a fucking spider like on my arm. Kill it. And I'm like, I hate this. And I just started throwing all the shit in my room looking for more spiders, like knocked my bed over, threw the mattress, and I just like my whole room was just a mess until 3 a.m. I didn't even sleep that night.
Fuck, I'm just so strung out right now.
Yeah, I'm just like, I can't deal with this.
That's terrible. I don't know anybody else who was talking about how the spiders and stuff. Were you by like the bushes or something?
Yeah,
so
I was right by the front.
Could have been just the bush. Did you hear the story about the girl who got punched through her window?
Yeah, that was fucked.
That was crazy. There was also I think it was the same girl who got sucker punched for a cigarette.
Yep.
By those guys who had just got out of prison or something.
Yeah, and I remember like hearing about that.
Right outside the door.
This girl got punched, and you guys all got to watch out. And I was just like, well, I mean, no offense. I don't think anybody's just gonna punch me. Like,
yeah. You're a big scary guy.
Not that big.
So I'm gonna tell you a story. So when we were in school, I brought a buddy of mine back to college with me one night. I was just like, fuck it, let's go. Let's get drunk as shit. Okay. So we came back. I think this was senior year. I got so inebriated. And I told him at one point, I was like, hey man, if you go outside for a cigarette or something like that, take my ID card so you can swipe and get back in the building. He's like, okay, cool. He forgot my ID card, he forgot his cell phone, and he forgot something else. And I wake up to campus security standing in my doorway with him, and he's like, dude, just tell him you know me. Tell him you know me. And I'm like waking up, and I was like, Justin, the fuck are you doing? And the security officer looks at me and he says something, and I was like, dude, I told you to take my ID card. And I just right back out. Justin tells me later, he's like, dude, I argued for 15 minutes with you before you said my name and acknowledged that you knew me. You kept saying, I don't know him, take him away. He's not my friend. I was so blasted.
Jesus
He's
Christ.
like, campus po was about to take me and put me in the office. He goes, they thought I was breaking into the building and shit because I couldn't get in.
Nice going, bro. You almost got your friend screwed.
Yeah, it was so funny because I was like, what the fuck are you doing? That's almost as... when Chris... So, 21st birthday, they took me to that... What was the bar? So when you went out of campus towards the fall side, if you made a right, there's that little town.
Lewiston?
Is it Lewiston?
That's where I live.
Okay. So, did you ever go to Mike Matthews' place?
No.
Okay. Well, you would go out of the part of the school near the water. You drive down the road a little bit past like the bridge entrance and stuff, and there's the little town there, and there's that little bar there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that bar. 21st birthday, they took me there, and we had been drinking something. I can't remember what it was. Patron, sorry. And CJ's like, hey man, happy birthday, blah blah, buying you a drink, man, blah blah blah. I was like, all right, man, not Patron. Okay. Seconds later, he brings me Patron.
Of course.
And I'm standing there, I'm like, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God. Bang. hit it. And I go and I sit down in the chair, and he's like, "What's wrong, man?" I was like, "I said no Patron." He goes, "No, you said Patron. I heard you say." I was like, "Shit." I'm sitting in the chair. They're playing pool or something, and I just go, "Bruh!" Like just right over the edge of the chair.
Oh,
and
God.
Seabax comes over and he opens up he goes, "Got a little drunk there, buddy?" And he grabs a napkin for this 3-foot wide pool, and he takes this napkin and he drops it on there. He goes, "Don't worry, buddy, it's happened to the best of us." He goes, "We should probably get out of here." He picked me up.
What's weird is I could totally picture like Chris saying that.
The
And,
way
like,
he did it too.
His like exact voice.
You know, because the best part is he just opens up the napkin and just puts it on top.
It's all better now.
He goes, "We should probably get out of here."
Yeah.
That was one of my favorite moments of Chris. I was like, "I said no Patron, man. I said no Patron."
Seriously.
It's happened to the best of us, buddy. We should get out of here.
It's okay, buddy.
That dude was very funny.
Chris, yeah.
Yeah, he was very interesting, like with some of his humor and shit. He made a good choice with his career path too, because I think he does readings for like documents and stuff like that for new prescriptions, pharmacy stuff.
I think so,
'Cause
yeah.
he originally wanted to be a pharmacist.
Yeah.
Because I had him in my bio classes and stuff like that the first 2 years there, but
Very smart kid.
very smart. Him and Sean was really smart too.
Yeah.
That was before I understood the purpose of math, because he was like, "Everything is math. Math is the only thing that is definite." And I was like, "I don't know what that means. What the fuck you can do with a math degree?"
Yeah, fuck math.
But yeah, that's another guy. You're like, I just didn't get it at the time. Sometimes I felt like before college I should have taken like a couple years to figure out what I wanted to do, and then I could have made better decisions.
Maybe. Hindsight's always 20/20 though.
Yeah, I also would have gone to a 2+2,
Yeah, I would have done the same
because
thing.
that's a lot of fucking money.
Yeah.
It didn't even get cheaper as the years went on. They're like, "Oh, we're gonna give you more money," and then you look at it, it's the same exact cost. It's just the price of the school went up for the year.
Yeah.
You're like, I am on to you bitches.
Fucking bullshit.
Could have gone to RIT. RIT would have just cost us twice as much.
True, I would have just done community college and then gone to Niagara though.
Yeah, 2+2. That's what Shafe did. Because
Yeah.
when Shafe came in, I think he did one of his years, senior junior year split in high school, and then he did his freshman year for his second year. So when he came in as a sophomore, he was already 2 years in,
Yeah.
and he did 2+2.
Yeah.
So it was one of those like, damn it, somebody should have like.
I wish somebody would have told me.
Yeah, you can't know though,
But
because they don't teach us that shit.
no, you gotta kind of figure it out on your own for the most part.
Well, I did. I wanted to get this kind of on record as this was one of the more interesting conversations that we had that kind of took an extremely long time, and I don't think we ever fully resolved it.
Uh-oh. Hey,
It was, if we could take...
I'm gonna take a piss break
Go.
before we get into the big one.
Go run pee, because this is how we'll wrap it up.
Intermission.
I'm going to open my notes so that way I can...
You have it?
No, I'm going to open my notes so we can imprint it, and then I can screenshot and I can load it.
Okay.
Because that's how this shit works. Yeah, so what's going on is him and I had a conversation one day about if you could take active athletes in any sport across the world, and you wanted to make the ultimate NFL team, offense and defense. So you'd have your linemen, let's say 3 or 4 wide receivers on tap, 2 quarterbacks, 2 running backs, a fullback. Your tight ends, pick 2 of them, and then your defense, so you could run, your basic 7, so either 4 linemen and 3 backs, or 3 linemen and 4 backs, and then your corners and your safeties. Who in all sports across the world would you pick to be on this team, and why? And we had pretty similar ones, but it was one of those like, this is just too fucking good not to like immortalize. And I had this question on Facebook a while ago. Nobody really answered it or anything like that, but it was very, very, very like, it took a lot, because I thought it was going to be super easy and I was just going to pick active NFL players, and somebody did that, but you're looking at it, you're like, there's so much more depth that can be attained for this. So I just wanted to get him, because we had such a good conversation about this, and I'm actually going to write this down just because it's so good. And then I'm going to take a screenshot of it and I'm going to post it on, I'm going to put this magic deck away. Holy shit. That's pretty much what my notes is. My notes is like dozens of magic decks that I want to build. Yes, because I build magic decks. Fuck me, right? So I'm going to title this Ultimate Fantasy NFL Team. If I can write shit right. God damn. If my thumbs would work. So I was given the synapse of what this is. Offense, defense. And I'm going to post this online when we're done on Instagram and stuff. So I was explaining that it was the composition of the ultimate active athletes, offense and defense for the NFL.
So non-football players playing football.
They can be football players, but I think there's better.
Best
do you want to
position?
say non or just in general?
Whatever you want to do.
Okay, so we'll say both because I guarantee there's athletes in other sports that we could pick down that would play. So we're going to have 2 quarterbacks. We're going to have O-line. You can hear her barking, can't you? X5. Darla upstairs. And then we'll do 2 tight ends. We'll do... every time I write tight end, it writes test. Don't tell me what I want to write. Wide receiver, running back, fullback, right?
Sure.
So it's 2 quarterbacks, 5 O-line, 2 tight ends, 4 wide receivers, 3 running backs, and a fullback. And then defense, do you want to run 4-3 or 3-4?
4-3.
So what would that be? 2 defensive tackles, 2 defensive ends?
Yep.
So DE, DE, DT, DT. I wrote ST, and it's going to keep it too. And then we'll do MLB, and then 2 outside linebackers.
Yep.
OLB.
3 corners.
You going to do 3 corners?
Yeah.
So CB, 2 safeties?
Yeah.
Shit. CB. And then safe. Darla, please stop barking. All right, so let me actually write O-line multiple times just because then I'll know as we're getting through this, as I post this, that this is awesome. All right, so I think quarterbacks, we both agreed Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers.
Are we sure that we still want to stick with Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah, absolutely. I think he's the most prototypical quarterback that you could find. I think that this is a position that you have to stick with football, just with the knowledge. It takes far too long for a great athlete that can throw like a pitcher to learn how to play football.
You think?
Absolutely. It's too hard. You got to learn the concepts. You got to get the timing down. I fully don't believe that you can possibly put a guy that was just a good pitcher and make him a good quarterback like overnight.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got our starter is Aaron Rodgers. We've got our backup, Jimmy Garoppolo.
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Tom Brady. So just to get this clarified too, this is just active athletes in any sport in the entire world as of this exact second. So it doesn't have to be further than a year, like this year right now. Tom fucking Brady. TFB.
I think it's really funny if we're putting Tom Brady's back up.
Oh, just because. Fuck you.
Aaron Rodgers is more athletic. I think he's a guy that if you put Aaron Rodgers on the Patriots as a team right now, I think they'd be better. As much as I like Tom
That's
Brady.
a fucked up statement, dude.
As much as I like Tom Brady, come on.
What if we put Aaron Rodgers on the Browns?
I mean, they'd be better. It'd be the same thing as Tom Brady. They'd be better, but it still wouldn't be good.
Sam fucking Bradford.
Lay off Sammy's sleeves, man.
So for our offensive line, what do we got? We got our center. We got offensive tackles.
Let's go left tackle first.
So LT, RT, left end, defensive end, offensive end, and then I'm gonna write them differently. And then center, right?
Yeah.
See. All right. So left tackle. That's our blind side. Come on.
Yeah.
We said Eddie Hall for center, right?
No, I wouldn't want to put somebody that tall as center because your quarterback's got to see over him.
Okay, so who do we need that's a strong man that's not 6'5"?
Well, left tackle, I'm fine with having a guy be very tall.
So that would be Hofstra Bjornsson.
Yeah, is he athletic enough though? I think he is.
I think so here's the predicament that we fell into. We had to make the stipulation was if you're not just throwing them in at this exact second, you're giving them an off season to train.
Yeah, I think that he's athletic enough though to kick out and be able to stick with some of the athletic defensive ends in the NFL. I think he'd be okay. And he's strong enough to where if he gets his hands on you, you're done.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
So yeah, I'd say Bjornsson could be a left tackle.
And then put Brian Shaw next to him.
Shaw at right tackle.
You think you want Shaw at right tackle?
Yeah.
Okay.
Brian Shaw at right tackle. At right tackle, you can be a little less athletic than left. I think.
Just because the one's not blind side.
Well, there's usually more of a running game to the right side, so he's going to be more of a run blocker. Mm-hmm. He's obviously going to pass block at times, but you're going to run to that power side. So you can get away with usually being a right tackle a little less athletic.
Okay.
So I would do Shaw at right tackle.
So I'm going to say left end is going to be Eddie Hall.
Guard, you mean?
Yeah, the guard, left guard.
Yeah, I can do that.
Just once again, you need a strong guy who can kind of hold shit up.
Absolutely.
Mr. Hall. And then on right guard.
Right guard.
Once again, we need somebody who can hold the fort down, but not somebody who's so big it becomes almost impossible to see through him in case something happens.
We need somebody big and athletic.
My first thought goes to either A, another strongman, or B, somebody who plays ruck in rugby.
They're not big enough, though.
You don't think some of the rugby guys are big enough?
Guards in the NFL these days are well over 300 pounds.
So we do need another strongman. So we could use like Savikas or something.
He's old.
We just put Tom Brady as backup to Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, but quarterback and playing line are different. I feel like.
Terry Hollins.
If you want to put Savikas as right guard, we can do that.
Well, we want the best. This is the ultimate fantasy NFL team. This isn't just the people that we want. This is who is the best people out there for that job.
Active right now?
Mm-hmm.
I'm probably thinking for center and guard, I'm going to go with NFL guys.
I mean, we could use sumo wrestlers.
Yeah,
they're usually not like over 6 feet tall, and they're huge.
I just worry about them being athletic enough.
Just to hold somebody back?
It's not just holding somebody back. When you run block, you have guys pull and kick out on blocks.
Mm-hmm.
They got to be able to move.
We're about to have one of the most athletic front, wide receivers and running backs in the league. I'm not worried about somebody being able to block for more than a second before.
Do you have a sumo wrestler that you would have in mind? Because I don't know jack shit about sumo wrestlers.
Neither do I, but that was my first thought. I was like, there's got to be some sumo wrestler who's really good at a center who can just pick somebody up.
You're just going to put it right guard, generic sumo wrestler?
Just write it generic sumo wrestler at right guard.
I'm going to stick, though, that center needs to be a football player. Because centers call out coverages.
Yeah, they're yelling and shit. They're waiting. They're calling the snaps at the QB. They've got to have almost as much knowledge of the offense as the QB does because they can warn the QB or they can also be the reason the QB changes the play.
I'm going to go with one of the best centers in the league, and it's a biased comment, but Travis Frederick.
I knew you were going to say that.
Travis Frederick with the Cowboys.
Of course you are.
Hey, man, he's one of the best.
Yeah, every time you watch him fucking squat on the ball, you're like, this guy's calling shit. This guy knows. He knows. This guy's for real.
So we got our offensive line. We got our quarterbacks.
Yep. Tight ends, 2 of them.
LeBron James.
You going Jabron Lames?
Yeah.
And then I think it's the Blake Griffin.
Yeah, at tight end.
Yeah.
They're both a little on the big side as far as they've got some weight to them. They can block. Super athletic. Impossible to cover in the red zone.
They're huge. They're just big fucking guys, too.
Yeah.
It's getting someone to match LeBron James for the ability to block and catch specifically. Oh, my God.
Those 2 guys at tight end would be great.
Oh, for sure. So now we're playing with the wide receiver game.
Okay. How many we got?
We got 4.
Okay.
So I remember at one point you said Usain Bolt. I'm going to disagree with Usain Bolt for the strictest fact that I don't think in an offseason you can get him good enough to be able to catch.
How do you know he can't catch?
I'm just saying based on his history and what he does as an athlete, I wouldn't put all my eggs in a basket on having one of the fastest men alive to be a wide receiver just so he can get out there and then drop the ball constantly. Because we can attest that in the NFL, there's a lot of passes that are brilliant passes and guys that train to catch that ball.
Yeah.
No fucking shot. And they don't get it. It touches the hands and it just goes through.
Okay.
So I'm voting no on Usain Bolt, strictly for the fact that I don't think an offseason is enough time to give an athlete of his caliber the ability and the frequency and I don't put my faith in it.
Okay. So I'm going to let you go with one first, and I got one already queued up.
So wide receivers. I'm going with... Who's the black kid on the Clippers? Shorter. He played with Blake Griffin for a while there.
Chris Paul.
He's
on the Houston Rockets now.
Houston
for
Rockets
everybody that's
now.
watching the NBA.
That's my fucking bad. I'm sorry.
So Chris Paul.
I'm gonna say Chris Paul. I like his
slot
speed.
receiver?
I like his It's
not
like
very
some
tall.
sort of that's why I
fine.
don't want him to be super tall. I just want him to be fast. I want him to be aware, and I want him to be nimble.
Well, I'm going to go with more of a matchup problem. Kevin Durant. 6'11". He's probably only about 215, 220. He can run. He demonstrates the ability to be able to catch the ball with alley-oops.
Yeah.
So I have no problem with his hand-eye coordination.
He's huge. That's a big mismatch. Holy shit.
6'11", almost 7 foot.
How fast is he?
Fast enough.
You just going to play him on the outside?
Oh, yeah. He'll be our outside burner.
Julio Jones, bitch.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I hadn't even thought of that. So if we got 2 more wide receivers that we're dicking in.
The old dickin'.
The old dicking in. Because I got one running back already, Carlin Isles.
Yeah, I completely agree with that.
Because Carlin Isles is a fucking freak. And then another running back that I had would be that the guy from the All Blacks. They're one of their wings.
I'm going to go with something that's going to be a little controversial, especially because these guys are active people in the world. They still exist. And I still think that if they both played in the NFL today in one game scenario, it'd be fantastic. And that's Randy Moss and Kelvin Johnson.
You think they could still play now?
Absolutely. I know Kelvin Johnson can. I think Randy Moss probably could too in one game.
So you're saying for the ultimate fantasy team,
Yep.
we're throwing in a retired guy and a guy that retired like 10 years ago.
Randy Moss retired like maybe 5 years ago.
5 years ago. I like Randy Moss. I have his jersey.
Still really good
just
shape.
because he's one of my favorite wide receivers who's ever played the game. I'm going to give you Randy Moss.
Yeah.
And then you're saying Calvin Johnson, give him enough offseason, quarterback like Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady.
Go look at how old he is. He's only like 32.
Yeah, he's still a baby in the NFL times. I could totally see him coming back and just wrecking shit.
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay, so we'll go Chris Johnson.
Calvin Johnson.
Shit. C3. And then, so we still have another running back and another fullback. I'm going to look up the wings for fastest players in rugby.
I'll go with fullback.
Who do you think for fullback?
Brock Lesnar.
I thought we were going to play him on defense.
Nah. I think we're going to get bigger, more athletic guys on our D-line.
I think Brock Lesnar can make a fucking sick fullback. You're probably right on that count.
In
He's huge.
Short burst scenario, if we get him to play around 250, 260, in a one-on-one scenario, I think he can maul people.
That's so scary.
Yeah.
He's what, 6'5"?
6'3".
Jesus, that guy's huge.
6'3", and he probably wrestles in the WWE at like 275.
Wow, Carlin Isles doesn't even crack top 10 anymore for fastest rugby players.
You got some dated information, bud.
That's-
Fake news.
Well, so the
Good
other guy
news.
would be Tekudzwa Norwegian from the U.S. team.
It's too long of a name for a jersey. I don't want him on our team.
You don't want Nguenya?
No, it's too long.
Singwenya, Baba Zizi, Baba. Look it, it's Nguenya. Nguenya.
I'm going to go with the other running back, being a guy that's in the NFL right now.
Okay, this better be a good answer.
Alvin Kamara. Alvin Kamara is fantastic.
Over Lev Bell?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Defend.
Have you watched Alvin Kamara play football lately?
Viable. Have you watched Lev Bell play?
Absolutely. He's fantastic. I would say, though, that with his running style, being very patient,
Yeah.
we're going to need a guy to hit that hole because our guys aren't going to hold up for very long because they're not football players. They're more of just quick burst athletes.
So you're saying Lev Bell only does as good as he does because the line holds as much?
The Steelers have a great offensive line. And it's
Same thing with the Cowboys.
Yeah, it's a blocking scheme.
That's a really big statement to say that those guys aren't going to be able to hold it long enough for
I
him to
think
break
that
a
Alvin
gap.
Kamara is a better athlete than Le'Veon Bell. Pure athlete, and he's more slippery in terms of not being able to get tackled.
Well, I think the big thing is like, so Carlin Isles I could see being a receiver back.
Yeah.
So we need somebody who doesn't have to worry about running out catching the ball. We just need somebody who can shove the ball in their gut and they can go.
Okay, so you don't want Alvin Kamara then?
No, because I think we need the two totally different dichotomies.
Then Ezekiel Elliott, because Le'Veon Bell is a receiver. I mean, he runs the ball.
Yeah, but so does Zeke.
Zeke doesn't catch the ball nearly as much as Bell does.
I'll give it to you for Zeke for one big reason, because Zeke is restoring my love for the Cowboys.
You're welcome.
But I do have to point out something, that we put Calvin Johnson and Randy Mawson over Antonio Brown.
Yeah, I would agree with that, and I understand it. But my rebuttal to that is that those guys are fucking 6'4" and 6'5" and can still probably run. I'll take those matchups.
Even over a guy who's active in the league right now.
I'll take those guys as a matchup nightmare all day.
You think? Damn.
Because you match them up, okay. You got to think about for what we're talking about with this football team. You're going to put a guy like Chris Paul in the slot, which is fine. He's probably a bit of a matchup nightmare. He's going to be super athletic and shifty. We got a big, doofy guy in Kevin Durant running around out there. Who are you doubling? I mean, are you going to double Randy Moss? You're going to double Kelvin Johnson? Like, one of those guys is going to be one-on-one, and I'll take those one-on-one matchups with those guys with their size any day of the week.
The only concern that I have so far with our wide receiver core is we have one guy out of the wide receivers and the tight ends and stuff like that, other than Carlin Isles, that can really play slot, do like inside slants, like real quick snapshots, real quick checkdowns, and that's Chris Paul.
This ain't the Patriots, bro. We don't need to be having fucking bunch of slot guys.
Check down, bitch.
Yeah.
Come on, it's all about the check down. We all know that.
You got a receiver in Carlin Isles. You've got Chris Paul that can work the middle of the field. You have two tight ends that are probably going to be working the middle of the field. They're going to be running deep. I mean, LeBron maybe once in a while could run deep, but he's going to probably work the middle of the field most of the time. Same with Blake Griffin. They're not that fast.
Yeah. So, what's wrong?
We had to see a meter in here. The RG&E guys here.
Oh. What's the meter say, Booberg? He's gonna look. Oh my God, stay live. Yes, this is happening. She just comes in, she's like, shh. Thank you. I chose the best place to put the table.
Yeah, you did.
We're just going to pretend like this didn't happen. That's probably the best couple minutes ever.
It's good radio right there.
All right, I'll give you your takes on who we got. I mean, I have a ton of faith in Carlin Isles as a running back, and especially as a receiver back, and then Zeke enough that they can be safe check down options or play action, as it were. And if you have enough threats down the field, you make the opponent kind of pick who is our true threat this game, and it's hard when you have that many big fucking guys.
Yeah.
Especially guys who are quick. Shit.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go to defense in no particular order. I know we had Cain Velasquez in there. I think he was a defensive end.
Yeah, we did that. I think we originally went with Brock Lesnar at the other defensive end, but I think we can go somebody bigger and scarier.
You think? Who do we have that's bigger and scarier than him? Alistar Overeem.
You know who would be a big athletic guy that could probably play some defensive end?
Mike Tyson.
Boogie, basketball player for the New Orleans Hornets. Yeah.
You want to put a basketball player as a defensive end?
Yeah, he's super athletic, man.
Is he big enough?
Bro, he's like 7 foot, like 280.
Is he fast enough?
Yeah, of course. You got to remember, he's not running 40-yard dashes. He's running just sprints.
That's... So he's trying to push around another...
DeMarcus Cousins.
Why DeMarcus Cousins?
Because that's the guy I was trying to reference. He's 6'11", 270. So he's
Big guy.
plenty big enough to play defensive end.
I just don't think he's heavy enough for that height, though.
He's defensive end.
All right, we'll go DeMarcus Cousins. So DeMarcus Cousins and Cain Velasquez.
Sure.
That's such a weird dichotomy.
Yeah, I mean, Cain Velasquez is an interesting one, but I mean, dude, he's got the build to be like a defensive end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah, he seems big enough.
Yeah, he'll be fine.
So who do we got as our tackles?
Tackles, I would say very big
guys.
Big, thick guys. I mean, we've already used some of the other guys.
Some other strongmen we can throw there.
Yeah, you probably have more of a knowledge of some of these other guys that aren't as popular as me. Because we've already used Shaw and Hawthorne.
Hofpour, sorry.
Yeah.
Hawthorne Heights. That's strongman. I can find this. It'll tell me who the tops are. I think Eddie Ho. This is the first time that we've really been on phones during one of these, by the way.
Yeah, it's needed, though.
It is, because there's so many things we can reference and compare to. List of strongmen. I just want list. I don't want ability. List. Active. I feel so bad. Oh, God, shit. That's the U.S. Famous strongman, top well-known. So we need two really big cocksuckers. World's Strongest Man results. There you go. So, his name is Zydrunas Savickas. Yeah, Zydrunas is getting old, isn't he?
Yeah, he's getting on the older side. I don't know if I'd really go for that.
No, yeah, I think he's just too. He's too up there. Oh, Jesus. I wish they would give me their ages or something. I don't want to have to click on all this shit.
Right.
Oh, damn it. Who's the strongest man alive? God damn it. Look up the strongest men real fast. I gotta go take a piss again. Fuck. Keep talking. Say it out loud.
Strongest man in the world.
Oh, damn it. I went to sleep. Shit.
Jean-Francois Caron. It's gonna be our guy. Canadian. 6'2", 320. Sounds about right. Nick Best. A little on the older side. Probably not gonna go with him.
It's just so embarrassing.
It's okay, bud.
my tiny bladder. I never have this problem. I can assure you. Usually I'm the one who's like, no, I'm just gonna sit here and talk to myself the whole fucking time.
Okay, man, I forgive you.
Oh, God, that hurt.
So I got one.
Who do you got?
It's a power lifter. He did okay. I can get the results. Uno momento, por favor. He's from Canada.
Yeah.
It's Jean-Francois Caron. He's only 35, so it's not super old. 6'2", 320.
That's a big bitch.
It's good size.
If we're gonna go powerlifters, we should go with that kid who just broke the youth record.
I don't know who that is.
Well, we got to put Larry Wheels in here then. Well, I can't. Well, he might be fast. I'm thinking of the big kid who just broke like the squat record and stuff like that.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. I'm not sure who he is.
Squat record. I think he broke the U.S. record. I hadn't even thought about that. 17-year-old kid squats 930 pounds.
17?
Jesus.
It's pretty young.
Oh, here's another kid, Jose Pena, but he's not who I'm thinking of. Holy shit. Texas high school kid breaks record, squats 1,005 pounds. That was in March.
Wow.
Are you shitting me? Who the hell are you? He's 6'1", 340 pounds. This kid's name is Joseph Pena from San Antonio. Oh my God, please play that. Play that. Holy shit. Play that. Come on, bitch. Oh God, here.
Oh, I remember this.
God damn. He walks it out like it's nothing. Who are you?
It's a lot.
Wow, dude.
Okay.
I just pooed myself. That's insane. Joseph Pena. Let's put him in. Holy crap. Doesn't matter if he's fast. He's got to throw somebody down.
Yeah, I'm into it.
I'll try anything once. I'm going to label him at the end powerlifter. That's funny.
Yeah.
DeMarcus Cousins is basketball. Cain Velasquez MMA. Just so when I post these, it makes it easier for me. I'm going to label him as pro wrestler.
Brock?
Yeah, Brock.
Yeah, it's probably the best one.
NFL, Carlin Isles, rugby. Chris Johnson, NFL. Kevin Durant, NBA. Randy Moss, NFL. Then I'll come through and I'll fix this later so it looks nicer. NBA, Blake Griffin. We have a lot of NBA players in here. I remember we talked about this last
Best
time.
athletes in the world, man.
Look, yeah, Rob Gronkowski came from basketball. Travis Frederick was NFL.
Yep.
And then sumo wrestler. I don't know. Some generic ass sumo wrestler. World's Strongest Man. Brian Shaw, World's Strongest Man. Form Bjornsson, World's Strongest Man. Tom Brady, NFL. I still think that's interesting that of all the other athletes, we had to like purposely choose our football players, quarterback, to be football players.
I got another guard.
What do you got?
Hakuo Sho. He's a sumo wrestler, 6'4", 353. He's only 32, so he's young.
Hakuo Sho?
Yeah.
How do you spell that?
H-A-K.
Yep.
U-H-O-S-H-O.
Hakuro Sho.
Sure. That's the way to pronounce it.
Yeah, fuck yeah, we'll take him. That's a big dude.
Yeah, he's good. He's pretty good.
All right, so we've got our defensive ends and our defensive tackles. We've got our middle linebacker, outside linebackers, our 3 corners, and our 2 safeties left.
Who's our middle linebacker? I would say it's got to be a smart football player. It's in the NFL right now. Luke Kuechly.
Think?
Yeah.
Why Luke?
And it's either him or Sean Lee, and I don't want to pick another cowboy and be a dick.
Are you saying that there's not other good middle linebackers on any other teams?
Those are the 2 best. Please name me one that's better.
I can probably do it, but they're going to be Patriots.
Patriots? Are you serious?
No, our team is a safeties team.
Yeah. I mean,
what about? Oh no, because Seahawks are also safeties.
Bobby Wagner's good, but if you look at the analytics, Kinkley and LaShawn Lee are both much better.
So I guess we're going Sean Lee then. I'm sorry, Kinkley.
Yeah, you can go with Luke Kinkley. I think he's a little bit better than Sean Lee. I would trade, if given the opportunity, I would trade Sean Lee for Luke Kinkley.
That's a big statement.
Yeah.
I'll take that. I like that. Honesty. It's sexy. So we've got our outside linebackers. We got 2 of them.
Yep.
And then, so we need people who are fast enough that can guard wide receivers and tight ends, but aware enough that they can watch the ball and have good hands, because I don't want shitty inside linebackers who potentially just going to fucking run into people. I mean, we can, but we just have to have really good corners.
I would almost say that these guys also have to be football players.
Think so?
Yeah.
You don't think there's any other sport that we can pull people from that we could train them over?
On off season, to be good and be better than NFL players? No, probably not.
Really?
Yeah.
Even compared to rugby players, mixed martial artists?
You might be able to get some rugby players. That's actually a fair point. MMA guys, no, there's no way.
No? Nothing even comparatively sumo wrestlers?
To be better than an NFL guy as far as making reads, you make similar reads in rugby. So we're like, okay, that's the ball carrier. I got to go tackle that guy. So I could see rugby being something that could translate to be for an outside linebacker.
Well, there was one that I was thinking of, and it was hockey. A good, a really good center in hockey.
Yeah.
You might be able to get one, but you'd have to get one who's big enough and fast enough.
They're not that big.
No.
Most of the hockey players are right around 200, 210.
Because they just look big because they're on like 4-foot skates.
Yeah. I'm looking up right now some rugby players.
Yeah.
I got one.
What do you got?
Can't pronounce his name, but...
What do we got? We got, oh, shit, yeah. Fuck, no, yes. That guy's awesome.
6'2", 243. He's from Tonga.
Yes, those Tongans are sick as shit. Yeah, he's scary. There's a couple of those guys on Tonga that are just ridiculous. And he's young as shit, too.
Yeah.
What the fuck? How do I spell your damn name, bro? Oh, I already spelled it wrong.
Oh, yeah.
Taloop Falatois.
Oh, yeah. That's our guy right there.
Yeah. You gotta love those rugby pitches. These guys are fucking crazy.
Find me another rugby guy.
Yeah, because if we can get fast enough, unaware enough, that's it. Because he's big, 6'2", 230, 240.
Yeah.
There's a dude on the All Blacks, or he might be another Tongan. I think he's just a hair taller, but he weighs close to 250. But he's fast as shit. Well, that's what really gets me with a lot of these rugby guys. They're big and they're quick. It's like you when we ran the 40s. Like, holy shit, no one could have saw that you would have run the second fastest 40 of the day. And that's not even meant to be offensive. It's just because you're so big. But you move like a train.
Big and athletic. I got a guy, and I'm picking this guy partially because of his name. His name's Richard. We're going to call him Dick Hibbard. He's a rugby player, 6 foot, flat, 247. He's all tatted up, too.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
That's our guy. That's our other. He'll be our weak side.
He'll be our outside linebacker, one of them.
Yeah.
Rugby. It's nice that they're quick, too.
He's got luscious locks.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does. So now we still got triple corners and 2 safeties left.
Okay. I would say 1 safety should be a football player. I think the other 3 or the other 4 that we need to come up with could all be athletes.
Mm-hmm.
One of them should be a safety in the NFL right now.
So we'll peg our NFL safety right now then.
Cam Chancellor.
God damn, I was going in the same direction with that. I was gonna go with the Seahawks.
Thomas?
No, either way, it didn't matter.
Yeah.
Earl Thomas would have been a good, but after he got injured, right now he's still injured.
I like Cam, just for the fact that this big physical guy as he is,
And he's fast.
he can tackle.
He's fast too,
Yeah.
and he's so aware.
Yeah.
I think that dude, like the loss of Earl Thomas, really hurt them. But definitely having Cam Chancellor still there and how good he is, that dude is on another level.
I remember too who we went for our other safety,
Yeah.
Mike Trout,
Who's he play for?
baseball, Anaheim Angels.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. We did hit. Yeah. Because you defended that really well.
Yeah, because this guy's used to tracking. You know, he can be your ball hawk. He can catch. I mean, obviously he catches with a glove, but he catches a much smaller ball.
How do you spell his last name?
Just Trout, TR, out. He's big, so you don't have to worry about him getting trucked or anything. He's young. He's 26 years old. He's about 6'2", 235. He's a big safety, but he's fast. He's also one of the guys that's usually tops in the league as far as stolen bases, so he can run. So now we need 3 corners.
So since we grabbed a lot of because originally before we just said we didn't care if our linebackers could catch or not, but the fact that we got Luke Kinkley who can catch, we've got 2 rugby players who can definitely fucking catch.
Yeah.
Our corners, I think the biggest concern should be speed. We need fast, resilient guys that can go every single play and watch whoever the deep threat is.
Yeah, I can see how that's a thing. I got the first one though. He's fast. He's also very tall. I think they can help us out as well. Kawhi Leonard,
Defend.
6'7", 230.
Do you think he's fast enough though? He's probably about as big as some of our defensive linemen.
6'7", 230. No.
Yeah.
Let me see. If we got some speed. Because there are 40-yard dashes.
I was gonna say because the cornerback position, I could see us using like a track and field star, us using like people who are just crazy speed athletes.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if I can
Just
get some
climb
numbers on
everywhere. Somebody who's like on an American Ninja Warrior.
it. Right.
My bad, camera. Sorry. Just blew it on the camera.
I'm still saying it. I can't find a 40-yard dash, but he's fast, dude. He runs the floor.
All right, spell him. Spell it out.
Kawhi.
Kwhia.
Leonard.
Kawhi Leonard.
I mean, this is a guy that runs, with LeBron James, with some of the best athletes in the NBA. I have no reason to believe that he can't run with some of the guys in the NFL.
So that means out of our nickel, we've got an NFL player, a baseball player, which fucking awesome, and then we got our basketball players. And then we need 2 other guys. Definitely, it doesn't matter if they're aware or not. They just need to be able to cover like a fiend.
Okay.
Is there anybody else in the Major League Baseball who's really quick and really aware?
Well, I was going to say, if you want to worry about guys that can run, I would say we didn't want to go with him as a wide receiver because of his ability not to catch with Usain Bolt.
Yeah, there we go. I was waiting for that one to come back.
6'5".
He's a big dude. Can run. Definitely can run.
Good luck getting away from him to where he's not tall enough to make up for ground.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, he can't cut for shit, but who cares? You get him covering the outside? Yeah.
I'm sure he can cut.
Track and field. TNF. I'll just use the ampersand. I did say ampersand. So then we have one more cornerback, and we obviously need a clutch. We need one person who rounds off the team. So when you look at that defense, you're like, fuck, we can't do anything today.
I got you.
I got you queued up.
I'm going to go with, you're probably not familiar with him. He's probably going to end up, we have our two corners that are taller on the outsides. This will be your guy that's going to be covering in the slot.
Okay.
Billy Hamilton.
Who's he?
He's a baseball player for the Cincinnati Reds. He's 6 foot. He's only 160 pounds. However, if you want speed, in 2014 he stole 56 bases. 2015 he stole 57 bases. 2016 he stole 58 bases. And last year he stole 59 bases.
Wow.
Yes. He's stolen probably more bases than anybody in the MLB.
He's obviously fast and very aware.
Over his 162 game season, he will average 73 stolen bases.
How big is he?
He's only 6 foot, but 160 pounds.
Oh, so he's light.
He's light, but if a slot corner, we're worried about him covering people. He's definitely on the lighter side. It's a little bit of a concern, but if you want a speed guy,
I mean, but also with the size of our linebackers and stuff, those guys are pretty big, so the slot's going to be hard to deal with, especially when you've got big bodies like Luke Kinkley. You got our two rugby players just hanging out right in the middle. Those are not small guys.
Yeah, and I would say that Billy Hamilton might be the fastest athlete in the world. Might be.
Even more so than Usain Bolt.
Possibly. There's a video of him scoring like Billy Hamilton. He did something stupid. He stole second and got all the way to home.
Holy shit.
Yeah. It was ridiculous.
How? That's crazy.
He's extremely fast.
My mind is blown. Wow.
I would say that that's a good round out, though. Billy Hamilton.
So, to bring this all together, for our ultimate fantasy NFL team of all active players now, and even though we're making the exceptions for two retired guys, we're going double quarterbacks with Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady. We're going left tackle Hopthorne Bjornsson. We're going right tackle Brian Shaw. We're going left guard Eddie Hall. We're going right guard Hauko Shaw. We're going center Travis Frederick. LeBron James and Blake Griffin on tight end. Wide receivers are Chris Paul, Randy Moss, Kevin Durant, and Calvin Johnson. Our running backs are Carlin Isles and Zeke Elliott. Our fullback is Brock Lesnar, which I still think he should be playing defense, but who am I? Our defensive ends. Who are you? We got Cain Velasquez. We got DeMarcus Cousins. We got Jean-Francis Caron. We have Joseph Pena. Our middle linebackers are Luke Kinkley. Outsides are Talup Felita. We got Richard Dick Hibbard. Our corners are Billy Hamilton, Usain Bolt, Kawhi Leonard. Our safeties are Mike Trout and Cam Chancellor. This is gonna get posted, and I really hope this stirs some shit.
Yeah, hopefully.
Just for round out purposes, let's grab one more cornerback because I had 4 wide receivers. I might as well have 4 corners if we're doing a list like that.
Sure.
I was gonna say maybe one more middle linebacker, but yeah, we'll go one more cornerback.
So make a run.
Let's go with a golfer.
No.
A bowler. A tennis player. Oh shit! Who's that swimmer?
Michael Phelps.
Big ass arms, Michael Phelps. He looks like a goddamn orangutan.
Yeah. I wouldn't do that.
No, I wouldn't do that either. I don't think he would be fast enough, or his sport is so solo it doesn't even matter. Somebody explosive, somebody who we're using as a backup, someone who doesn't need to be relied on every single play, but somebody who can get in there, crush the distance. I'm either thinking another baseball player, or I'm thinking another rugby player. There's a guy on the U.S. team. I can't remember his name.
For what?
For our last cornerback.
No, I was going to go with another speed guy.
Who?
I got him. Christian Coleman.
Okay.
He's 21 years old, 5'9", about 160 pounds. Might be the fastest guy in the world in track right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's American.
Oh, shit. That's good. That's good. That's good speed. Just 2 of our corners are track and field guys.
Yeah, and the 60 meter, he ran 6.45.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it's fast.
That's really good.
It's really fast.
That's scary fast. What did the NFL guys run for their 40s most of the time? Between like low 5s and upper 2s?
Depends on the position. For corner, under 4.5.
It's so fast. So fast. That's so fast. Holy shit.
Yeah, he's like the best track and field athlete in college right now, Coleman.
Yeah, so he's coming up too.
Yeah, so if we put that guy and Billy Hamilton as your two kind of inside corners, with the other two guys on the outside.
Have you been following any of the college football this year?
Yeah.
Yeah. The Alabama lost middle of the season, and that just drives me nuts.
Last regular season game.
Yeah, last regular season game. Sorry. Yeah, like that just wow.
They're still going to be in the college football playoffs, though.
Yeah, but they're not going to be in the BCS.
Yeah, they are.
Are they really?
Final four teams.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh, because they won that first round, right?
Well, no, because they won all the games the rest of the year, and there wasn't a team worthy enough, apparently, to beat them and knock them down below the Final Four spots.
So who's the Final Four this year?
It's Clemson, Oklahoma,
Alabama,
and Georgia.
Georgia made it in. Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't see them coming up like that this year.
Georgia, yeah, Jake Fromm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I saw Clemson coming back up again, especially. They've been looking fresh the past couple of years.
Yeah.
Isn't there a quarterback from Clemson who's going in the draft this year?
He's not going to the draft this year. He's only a freshman. Kelly Bryant.
There must have been a guy last year or something.
Yeah, it was Deshaun Watson.
Yeah. Because I didn't really watch much of the draft last year.
Yeah.
I just did. Like, the year before, I watched everything. I knew everything about every single one of these guys. But last year, it just didn't. I was like, whatever.
Yeah, no, I'm actually going to the draft this year.
Oh,
My dad,
shit.
It's in Dallas.
Have you noticed anybody who's, like, really outliers this year?
Baker Mayfield's going to be the one that's going to be the one that everybody talks about.
What's that?
Him, Lamar Jackson, just because they're short.
Oh, yeah,
smaller.
Lamar. Oh, fuck yes. I can't wait for Lamar Jackson to come in the NFL.
They're shorter, smaller guys. They're not your prototypical quarterbacks. So the question is going to be, are they going to translate to the NFL? Or are they going to be somebody that comes in and can play well right away, like a Russell Wilson? Or are they going to be Johnny Manziel?
Well, like, that's... I really had hoped. Like, I'm not a Bears fan. I don't care much for Mitch Trubisky. But the fact that he played one season, didn't play all the games, and then he's like, I'm going to the NFL. Like, Doug, spend one more year. Master your craft, dude.
Money.
Yeah, but they did it, and now he's part of the NFL, and he's getting shit on.
He's doing not great, but it's not horrible.
It would have behooved him to have waited the extra year.
What if he goes back and breaks his neck, gets paralyzed?
You can say that about anything. What if?
So you have
But
to...
what are the odds of that versus going in mastering your craft?
How much better can he be than being the second overall pick?
Lamar Jackson waited a year. He waited that extra year, and he was all the talk the first 5 weeks this last season.
We'll never know, though, where he would have gotten drafted if he went last year. With Mitch, I would understand if he fell to like late first or early second.
Yeah.
There's no higher place he could have gotten picked in second.
It's still a very starved league.
Yeah.
For quarterbacks.
It's getting better, but yeah, there's definitely a huge need.
Breaking my heart when you told me the Patriots backup was Brian Hoyer.
Hoyer Destroyer.
Dude, I'm so upset right now. Like that. Either the Patriots are going to make him a really good quarterback and he'll go start somewhere like the Jets or something.
He's too old. It's for this year only. I think they move on and they grab somebody in the draft next year.
Yeah, especially seeing as Tom's getting to the point where they don't want to hand the reins off from Tom to somebody who's a first year. I mean, they did it with Tom, kind of, but, you know, that's a freak incident.
Yeah.
I mean, even guys like Aaron Rodgers had to wait under the wing for a little bit. Not everybody comes in Russell Wilson ready.
They did that, though, because they had Brett Favre.
Yeah.
So it was kind of a good situation.
Same thing, though, like with Garoppolo going, like, damn, I can't fucking believe that we let him go.
Yeah.
Or Jacoby. I didn't like Jacoby. I thought he could have done a lot better, but, man.
He's tearing it up. He's doing okay for the Colts.
Yeah, they both went, and they're both doing good. I think maybe Belichick fixed the you do really good on the Patriots, and then you go somewhere else and you suck a D. I'm thinking of, I think he played for the Vikings.
There's a bunch of guys that he trades away.
The quarterback who played in 2000, and I think it was 8 when Tom ran out for like 6 or 8
Matt
weeks.
Castle?
Yeah, Castle. Yeah. That dude, fuck, man.
Yeah, I mean, even when they traded Logan Mankins away.
Yeah, another one.
He sucked when he went to Tampa Bay. So he does it all the time. I mean, I understand why they did it with Garoppolo. I think that definitely means that Brady's not going anywhere for next year.
No, they're gonna have to keep him at least for another year, which I don't have a problem with. I mean, he's playing well, he's playing good. And
Tom fucking Brady, man.
He's still winning games.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still looking so forward. Like I was a big Cowboys fan, especially when I met you. Like, you kind of made me a Cowboys fan as well as I was a Patriots fan. But it kind of faded away as I realized that they were like the Buffalo Bills.
Get the fuck out of here.
And then I was like, they're never gonna win. They're never fucking win. And then I get Dak and now like Zeke in the same year. I was like, I can get behind this team. These guys are killing it.
They did win a lot, not like the Bills. The Bills never win.
Well, and then you guys got Jalen Smith back, a bunch of other guys.
The Cowboys probably are making the playoffs this year, but I think that going forward, they're going to be in a good shape.
I think you guys on the whole need more wide receiver talent.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think that the defense needs to mature a little bit. They'll get better. They've got some good guys in the secondary.
They're going to mature. They're still so young.
Yeah,
but on your wide receiver core, you've got Des Bryant.
Yeah,
that's it.
They're not doing a very good job separating. I think that Witten is still a serviceable tight end, but he doesn't separate like he used to.
No.
And Dak needs these guys to be open.
And then your slot receivers don't get open.
Yeah, Cole Beasley's not had a good year this year.
No, and that surprises me because half the time I'll look at him and he gets a pass to him, he should have caught that shit.
Yeah.
Like he should have been able to close that gap because it looks like they run with no intention.
Yeah, they definitely could use some help at wide receiver. Stuff I think one of the positions they're going to look at in the offseason. But, whenever it's proven, though, whenever they have Zeke in the lineup, they're a team to...
I think the only other thing that really is a big worry is your defensive seven.
It's doing okay.
Do some trades, do some mixes around. Got to shuffle it around. You got to figure it out.
Sean Lee and Jalen, the defensive line, they need a big plug in the middle.
That's
a
the
true
big
one
thing.
technique to go in the middle next to Malik Collins and with those defensive ends that they have. I mean, they were doing much better than earlier in the year with getting pressure. That was when they had a true one technique. But Brian Price went down with an injury.
Yeah.
So they had to kick Malik Collins over to the one technique, and he's more of a three. He's not a guy that can take up 2 blocks. He's a penetrator.
Yeah.
So, they've struggled ever since that happened.
Were you guys 4-3 before that happened and then switched to 3-4?
Still been 4-3. So they still go with 4 linemen, but what they've been doing is you have a one technique that's really his job is to kind of take up the 2 blockers, guarding your center, and frees everybody else up to basically be one-on-one. They lost their true one technique. They kicked over this guy, Malik Collins. He used to be their 3. He's used to being one-on-one, just penetrating, trying to disrupt the quarterback. Now he's having to take on 2 guys, and he's not good at it.
Well, that's the other problem, too, is like when you've got guys like Jalen Smith and the other middle linebackers, like they now have to come in and pick up the extra guy every single time. So you lose 2 of the guys in the middle, and then the nickel isn't as structurally sound as it should because now the middle of the field is missing one more dude.
It all starts up front.
And it's noticeable, too.
Yeah.
Because you've got to bring those guys up, and they've got to put pressure on the quarterback. They've got to get the crunch time going, and then you lose one when it comes to a run play, which is why the run play's just been eating the Dallas defense up all season.
Yeah, they struggled against that big time, and then once that happens, they start bringing the safeties up. That's when they get killed in the passing
Somebody's going to get it down the field, because the corners just can't keep with it every single play.
Yeah, well, they're young too. They're having to find their way in the NFL. They got some good ones though. Chidobe Awuzie is good. Jordan Lewis is going to be good. They got a few guys, like Xavier Woods. So they'll be better. They'll be a much better team next year. The biggest thing is they got to keep Zeke out of trouble.
I'm heartbroken with the Browns though.
Awful.
Like, it bothers me because they've spent so much time over the past years, and they've been getting trades, like amazing fucking players coming to that team, and they can't put it together.
Yeah.
And it's not like they haven't been given things. They've been given tons of handouts, and they have not been able to commit and win. And they're this close all the time. And it's like, you look at the roster. The roster's not bad. They got Isaiah Crowell on running back. They've got some really good defensive players, good safeties. They got good defensive ends now.
They're not that bad, but they're not that very good either.
No, but
in the NFL, you're either one or the other. Either you're very good or you're very bad. And honestly, I think really it comes down to coaching. Hugh Jackson is awful. He's only won 1 out of his last 27 or 28 games as a head coach.
Yeah,
and that's an awful statistic.
That was like when Lovey went to Tampa. I was like, they're going to do so much better with their defense. Lovey's a really good defense coach. And then what happened? Their defense was like ranked like 27th in the league the whole season. You're like, what the fuck happened, dude?
Yeah, and Hugh Jackson's an offensive guy, and their offense kind of sucks. So, I mean, I get it. I'm not too optimistic if I'm a Browns fan. They might win this week against the Bears. Like, they got shot.
I think they got a shot against Trubisky.
Yeah. But if they don't win this one, they're fucked. They're going 0-16 again.
It's so sad.
Not again, but
because they won 1-15 last year, right?
Yeah, but basically 0-16.
I'm about to lose a bet. I said every year for the next 7 years they're going to add 1 win to their roster, and it's just getting to the point right now where I'm just so sad I'm about to lose that bet.
Well, I'm hoping actually they do win a game because Hugh Jackson said last year that if the Browns went 1-15 again this year, like they did last year, he would go jump in a lake. So he might be jumping in a lake if he wins the game against the Bears.
Yeah. That's not good, especially where they live. Oh, geez, it's going to be cold as shit.
Yeah.
That's what gets me, too, is like how quickly a team can change in one season. Like we were talking about with the Rams, is how like the Rams were like a 3, 4, 5 win team for the past 5, 6, 7 years, and now all of a sudden this year they're a mercenary group of team. And you can look at their wide receivers and you're like, they got Sammy Watkins, and then they got a bunch of other guys who you're like, we know that they're good athletes, but they've never really shined or anything like that.
They have a lot of cast-offs from the Bills. Robert Woods is another one that's from the Bills, along with Sammy Watkins, but they also went and they grabbed the offensive tackle, Whitworth, I believe. He's been great for them, but honestly, it all comes down to coaching. I mean, Jared Goff was lost last year in the NFL.
For sure, yeah.
Didn't know what he was doing, didn't know where he was going, and McVay's come in and he's been a great coach. He's led them to where they are right now. I think that they're probably the favorites in the NFC.
Well, if somebody tried to argue with me that, like, Philly is so much better this year than they were last year, and I was like, no, if you look at how many wins and losses that they've had, they've always been an almost 500 team, and now they're at the point where they're over a 500 team. When you take a team like, a team who's a 250 team, and all of a sudden they're an 800 team, you're like, holy shit.
No,
that's a big jump for a year.
The Eagles are very good. Their defense has improved. They've got some better weapons where a guy like Nelson Aguilar and Zach Ertz aren't like focal points. They're kind of ancillary guys. Bringing in Alshon Jeffrey was a great acquisition for them. Carson Wentz is awesome. He's going to be a fantastic quarterback for the next 10 years. Oh, yeah. So, I mean, as much as I hate the Eagles, you got to respect them.
Because that's your division.
Yeah, they're going to be good for a long time.
Because what happened with fucking Washington this year? I thought they were going to be fresh early in the year.
That whole organization's a mess.
That roster looks so fresh, though.
It starts at the top with Daniel Snyder. He's one of the worst owners in the NFL. It's sad what he's done, and I agree. I thought Terrell Pryor was going to come in and have a good season. I really thought that they're going to have a high-powered offense. They've had some injuries, but I definitely think their coach, Gruden, Jay Gruden. He's going to be on a hot seat this offseason. I wouldn't be shocked if he gets fired.
Yeah, it sucks too because his brother is really.
His brother's coming back.
You think so?
Yeah.
Where do you think he's going?
I wouldn't be shocked if he goes back to Tampa Bay. I think they might pull the plug on that Dirk Cutter already. Might be time for them to move on. They might not think he's the right guy for Jameis Winston.
Well, I thought Gruden said he didn't want to come back just because it was so stressful.
ESPN, though, has been cutting people left and right. They're having issues with money. One of their highest paid employees is John Gruden. It would make a lot of sense to where they're like, listen, we're not going to fire you, but we want you to leave and take a coaching job.
Yeah.
That's possible. He's not old.
Yeah.
So I think it could happen.
Yeah, because it's crazy at his age how much notoriety he built as being one of the greatest coaches of his generation. Just
won Super Bowl.
So fast.
Yeah.
So fucking fast, too. Just, holy shit, just blew up. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, I think I don't think it's athletes that are the starting point for the league. I think it's coaching. Yeah,
absolutely. Because athletes can only do so much if they're not pointed in the right direction and they're not doing the right things.
That's like, look at the same thing like when we go play football or something like that. It's like, okay, we're going to do dicks out routes. Get open. You're right check down. Just keep your eyes open. Versus when we take a step back and we go, all right, we're going to run this scheme with this. We're going to do these plays. Run the option like this. Good. I know where you're going to be. You know where I'm going to be. And then 3, 4, 5 plays, you're running them consecutively, and you know. Versus, do I have somebody who's about to streak all the way down the field, and I got one guy standing here with his thumb in his tuchus that I wasn't aware that he's there until I ran to the side and then see him, and then realize there's actually a guy who's going to smack me here. As opposed to standing, looking down the field, you know there's a check down, you know there's a streak. You're watching for both the options, 2 coverage up top, got it, check down. And it's the same thing, and it's not like everyone's like, oh, it's just this game. It's easy to teach. It's just a game. Yeah, it's easy to teach. It's not easy to master.
Yeah, absolutely.
And when you're in that level, it's got to be mastery. Mm-hmm. And it depresses me when. Have you ever thought about how many guys who play sports or girls who play sports who are really, really, really good who don't end up making it?
Oh yeah.
To the professional leagues.
Oh, absolutely.
It's such a crazy number.
Yeah, it's a very large portion. And it has to do with a lot of things. I mean, injuries, just commitment, luck. So, I mean, it's absolutely. It's sad, but, I mean, it's part of life.
How do you feel about them expanding the NFL?
Expanding? You mean
yeah,
the XFL?
The chats of them, of Europe getting teams, of Canada getting teams, and adding teams to the 2
not gonna happen.
Conferences, even though they said by 2022.
Mm-hmm. I think if they're going to do anything, they maybe add like 1 or 2 teams, probably 2 teams, just keep an even number. I just don't see it happening, though. If anything, I would see them moving a team from a current franchise, from a location, move it somewhere else. I think they really want to have a team over in England.
Yeah.
Like they really want to eventually have a team in Canada.
They want a Toronto team, yeah.
It is what it is.
But that's what gets me, though. You can't just add 2 teams, because where the hell are they going to go? They have to have a division.
Yeah, they would reshuffle the divisions probably.
So you're going to have a division on each conference that has 5 teams.
Yeah. They used to do that before.
Did they really?
Yeah. They used to have one that I think they only had 3. They had one that had 5. They had to reduce from reshuffling. It used to be messed up.
That's crazy.
But, I mean, with the NFL, if it gets them more money and if it's good for their business, they'll figure out a way to make it work.
It would have been nice when they did the reformatting if they had kept divisions closer than they are now. Because
Yeah.
like when you look and you've got Dallas, and then you got Washington, Philly, and who's your fourth?
New York.
New York. They're all together.
Well, the only reason for that is TV ratings.
But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, if you're going to do AFC, NFC, you need to have teams that are bulked up together, east, west, north, south, and then have them all make sense.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I mean, the only thing that they really did that, though, was that back in the day, the Cowboys were the most popular team. They created a fan following. And obviously, you have Washington, you have Philadelphia and New York City, some of the biggest major markets on the East Coast. It became just built-in rivalry.
Yeah.
And that's really how it stayed. But no, I completely agree. I mean, if you're looking at it from a geographical standpoint, the Houston Texans would make a lot of sense. The Saints would make a lot of sense to be in a conference with the Cowboys or the Chiefs as well. I think you would have some new rivalries that would be cool. But at the same time, the NFL is never going to change something that's already working very well. And the Cowboys are consistently the highest-rated team in the NFL as far as...
They change shit all the time, though. Isn't Las Vegas getting a team?
The Raiders are leaving. They're leaving Oakland. They're going to Las Vegas. And it has everything to do with the new stadium. I mean, Oakland's dragged their feet for a long time about getting them a new stadium. They just don't have the money. Yeah. Where Las Vegas is like, here you go, $1 billion.
You want a stadium? Fuck it.
Yeah. And I mean, I think the NFL's finally... understanding that, listen, gambling's not going away. It's definitely an elephant in the room, but just not having a team there is not going to prevent people from gambling or players on your team from gambling. That's stupid with today's day and age with the internet. Having them there is not happen. Yeah, if they're going to gamble, they're going to gamble. Yeah,
because I mean, I don't think that should really affect where a team can be. I mean, yeah, it's like one of the biggest hubs in the country for gambling, but who cares? At the end of the day, I think it should be you put teams in places where they're going to be profitable.
Absolutely.
And you give a Las Vegas team, holy shit.
Yeah.
Instantly, you're going to have a sports team for that town in the middle of nowhere. Yeah. But it's like if the NFL did expand and add more teams, I think one of the big ones is Alabama needs a team. Don't say it. Don't say no. Don't shake your head on me.
College football's too big there.
Because if Alabama got a team, I would be the first one on that train. Woo woo!
College football's too big there.
Because you got to think about how many places that could use a good team.
Not Alabama.
So you're completely getting Alabama, Mississippi, Missouri.
Yeah.
What about Montana?
No.
North Dakota.
No. It's the same thing though. Like Columbus is a huge city in Ohio. It's major. It's just right up there with Cincinnati and Cleveland. Yeah. And Ohio's a big football state. Along with Pennsylvania. Oh yeah. You're never going to be able to have a team in Columbus with Ohio State. There's people who are too loyal to Ohio State football. So let's say the states got 4 more teams. Where do you think they would put them? If the NFL had 4 more teams? Let's say the NFL adds 8 teams. They do 2 in Canada, 2 in England, and then they do 4 in the States. Where do you think would 4 teams fit? St. Louis would have another team again. You think St. Louis would get their team back? San Diego will get a team back. LA. The Raiders would get a team back. I'm sorry, Oakland. Yeah. Okay, so let's say of places that didn't have a team already. Let's say just places that don't have a team. That have never had a team. New Mexico would get a team. I'm sorry. New Mexico would get a team. New Mexico? Yeah, why not? I don't know, man. I don't know if you have a big enough population. Albuquerque, New Mexico? Yeah. Man. I bet you Albuquerque, New Mexico is not that big population-wise. Doesn't matter. Yeah, you got to have people to fill the stadiums. Well, what about Phoenix, Arizona? Arizona Cardinals. Oh, yeah, they do have the Cardinals out there. I didn't know if they were in Phoenix or not. Stupid me. Well, Tempe, Arizona. Yeah. I'm not sure if it's Phoenix or Tempe, but... Where are the Mormons from? Utah. Salt Lake City could probably have a football team. I think they would, but they would have, like, the cleanest team. They'd be like, you're not allowed to swear, okay? No makeup. They'd be basically the Green Bay Packers. They'd be owned by the people. Yeah. I'd say the Midwest for sure could use another couple teams, but you'd have to watch out for like the Tornado Alley and stuff like that. That's the hard part. Like you can't really put one in, right there in Oklahoma or something like that. I mean, Oklahoma's got college as well, which makes it even more difficult. Too loyal. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. That's a tough one. But I definitely think that if you're going to put 4 more teams in the NFL, 3 of them are going to be in those cities that just lost them. Yeah. Yeah. Nothing in Oregon. Again, Oregon football. I mean, what are you going to put another team, a football team in Eugene? Yeah, but okay, think about it like Portland? This: the way you're defending, you're countering it by saying that places that have active football don't want a pro team. They don't have enough active interest in football to support 2 teams. Okay, because those college teams. Florida has 3, and they have some of the biggest colleges
for football in the country.
Yeah, but the state of Florida though has far more people.
I think it would complement it more than take away from it, because you look at people who are fans of Tampa, they're also fans of fucking damn it, what's the college right there? Florida State. Yeah. Hand in hand. It goes hand in hand. It doesn't fight itself. It's hand in hand because they're on different networks, different stations. It doesn't matter. They're not even on the same day. I think it complements it and it increases your support for that area.
I mean, maybe. I look at population pool. That's really what it's going to come down to, and money. And Portland, for me, just wouldn't have enough money or population to really support an NFL team. I think they do okay with Portland Trailblazers. They're not fantastic. They do okay. I just worry that you're going to make too big of a commitment with a football team.
What's right above Texas? What do we got there?
Oklahoma.
And Oklahoma, Iowa, Idaho.
I think you could probably get away with having a football team in Oklahoma City.
You think so? Yeah. I can see that because it seems like a big enough population density. Yeah. It's already got the fandom from Oklahoma's college, OKC, right?
Oklahoma State too.
Yeah.
I think you probably, and Oklahoma's very big on football and like high school.
Yeah.
You probably can drum enough interest to have a viable franchise in Oklahoma City.
I still say that Alabama could afford a team. It doesn't even have to be near the Tide, just in Alabama somewhere. Same thing with Mississippi. I think Mississippi, you put a team in Mississippi, holy shit, stuff's going to go crazy there. And even, like, Louisiana has one team, yeah, but I think in that area there specifically, you can drop another team or two. Like, you could do one in South Carolina.
Yeah, South Carolina is a place you could definitely do one.
Easily. Charleston
could definitely be an area that you could possibly have a team. You're nuts, though, with having a second team in Louisiana.
No,
way.
You don't think so?
Other than New Orleans, where are you going to put it?
I just think the attractive. Well, look at fucking Foxborough. Foxborough's in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, but again, they draw from Boston.
They only draw from Boston now because it's a good team. But before it was just a dog shit team that was in Boston.
No, there's a lot of places, a lot more people you would believe than up in New England than there are down in Louisiana. Louisiana is a lot of swamp. And people there aren't necessarily. I mean, again, you got to look at the type of people. People in New England are uppity, middle, upper class, driving their Lexuses. They have the money to go to NFL games.
Well, then what about Kentucky and what about fucking
Kentucky is another place
Virginia?
Where I would consider possibly. Virginia, you got the Redskins.
Washington. Yeah.
You have a team right there, and that's where most of your Redskins fans are. So I think that'd be tough to have a team. Kentucky is a team that I could see. Louisiana or Louisville.
Yeah.
That could be a team.
Yeah, complement the college team really well.
Yeah.
Ooh-wee.
That could be an area.
I think the only other places you could probably put one would be like Illinois or, I don't want to say, but Iowa. Or Montana. I could see Montana getting it. Montana's got so much money.
Crazy.
Why?
There's not enough people.
Bozeman? Bozeman's pretty big. The little Bozites over there. Or even New Mexico. I will stand by New Mexico.
You're crazy.
I think you're fucking crazy. So, one of the ways that I like to end this is you kind of plug what you're doing, where you think you're going, what you think you're going to be accomplishing. Like, what are your plans and goals over the next bit of time? And then if anybody wanted to contact you, how would people get a hold of you? So,
well, my goal is to survive 2018 and be a better person than I was in 2017. What I'm doing, I am a hospital supply sales rep for Buffalo Hospital Supply here in Rochester. If you have any possible needs for something like that, in terms of latex gloves, med cups, or even equipment, feel free to reach out to me. My cell is 585-330-2727. Kind of up in the air as far as what I'm going to do as far as the political game. I'm not sure if I'm going to stay in the Canandaigua area or move closer here to Rochester.
Yeah,
so,
buddy.
We'll see about all that.
Start taking Rochester by storm.
Yeah, maybe I moved to Fairport and maybe I run there.
Oh shit! Yeah. Oh shit!
Yeah, we'll see.
Fairport, Parrington area, yeah, buddy, that'd be cool.
But yeah, that's about it for me.
Nothing else on the docket. No goals. No objectives. Anything like that.
Be better than I was yesterday.
Oh yeah. What kind of muscle car are you gonna pick up?
Probably something General Motors.
What are you thinking?
Another Camaro.
Oh, you fucker.
Yeah.
Newer or older?
Older.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You want it pre-built again so you can just get rid of it for $500?
Yeah. cheap, fast, reliable. You can only pick two.
I'm always so shocked by some people, like how they can just get those cars. I'm like, fuck. And one of the guys I was friends with in Florida had a 67 Mustang. That was his first car.
It's pretty sick.
Kiss my ass, dude. This is stupid. So, but, I mean, Thanks for coming on and bullshitting with me, chatting. I forgot my notebook, and I had questions and stuff that I wanted to kind of lead down the rabbit hole and get into the superheroes and the philosophy and
I forgive you.
The dig deep section. I'm probably going to find that it's probably sitting literally right behind me against the wall right now.
We can use it when we're at the gym.
Yeah, or we can use it next time you're on.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, Kyle signing off.
Bye.